At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, excuse me. Just finished eating lunch. Gotta let that digest a little bit. Peace, family. I hope all is well. Hope your Friday. Well, it's Friday here in Atlanta. It's Friday here in Atlanta. It's a little rainy, a little gloomy, but it's warm. So we're coming into spring. We are coming into spring. Hit that like button again. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. It really means a lot. I appreciate your guys' support over the years. It's a blessing. And so I just want to thank all of you. Shout out to Saeed Carey, who's in the chat room. Couple of announcements. We are rolling to Nigeria. That is August 4th through the 13th. August 4th through the 13th. We are rolling to Nigeria, and hopefully I think it's Air Peace. Air Peace just got cleared to fly direct between Lagos and JFK. Again, I believe it's Air Peace, not Eric Air. Eric Air used to have, I guess, the contract, whatever you want to call it, but they lost it. I want to say maybe back in like 2018 or 2019, where they will fly direct from Lagos to JFK. So now Air Peace just gained approval for that route. So I'm hoping, by May they'll come up with they'll have an official announcement on when they're going to start flying in between direct from Lagos to New York. Because right now, there used to be a direct flight on Delta between Lagos and New York, but now that flight is from Atlanta to Lagos. Again, Delta used to fly direct from Lagos to New York. I flew on that route before. Now it's just it's only between Atlanta and Lagos. So we need that direct route between Lagos and JFK. They'll make it a whole lot more convenient and more competitive. Because, man, right now it's expensive to fly to Nigeria. It's expensive because there's not as much competition. Now you can fly Ethiopian Airlines, which will take you from JFK to Lomé, and then Lomé to Lagos. Somebody said the same for Liberia from JFK to. I think there was a direct route from Atlanta too, out of Atlanta to Monrovia. I think there was a direct route from Atlanta to Monrovia. He said Ethiopian Airlines is trash though. You know what? It's all about at this point, it's all about getting there. So this is how your airlines operate. Okay? This is how your airlines operate. You have like your top tier. Emirates, Qatar, I want to say Singapore Airlines. Then under that, you have your Delta, your United, your American, your British Airways, Lufthansa. Then under that, you have everybody else. Royal Air Maroc, Air Senegal, Ethiopian, Air Brussels, Air France, which, some people maybe put Air France and KLM with with Delta and United, but nah, it's definitely down there. I mean, down Air France, Royal Air Maroc, Air Senegal, Turkish Airlines, you know, they're all down there. So it is what it is. You just gotta just Egypt Air. What else? Ethiopian. You know, they're once you get into that tier, they're all the same. They're pretty much all the same. Once you're in that tier, they're all the same, man. You know, so Ethiopian, Royal Air Maroc, Air Senegal, Turkish Airlines. You know, they're all the same. You know, if it's not Delta, it's everybody else. So it is what it is. Hey, they get you from point A to point B. They get you from point A to point B. So it is what it is. So we're rolling to Nigeria August 4th through the 13th. August 4th through the 13th. We are rolling to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. We are rolling to night. He said Air Maroc not that bad. And then just be extra. It's not that like I said, it's all like it's not that bad. I mean, Tyler, we flew. Shout out to Tyler. We flew on Royal Air Maroc to Sierra Leone, to Freetown, to Sierra Leone. I mean, it's not Delta, but it ain't, you know, it's whatever. Just get me there, get me back. You know, it's at the point now, and this is my honest opinion. If you're not sitting in business class or the class right under business class, like everybody's coach is pretty much the same, if you ask me. Again, everybody's coach is the same, if you ask me, except for when I flew on Emirates. When I flew on Emirates, their coach was off the chain. Emirates' coach was off the chain, but everybody else's coach is just the same. So if you're not in business class or what is it? Come on, guys, Comfort or Delta Comfort. It's all the same, man. You know, it's all the same. So we're rolling to Nigeria August 4th to the 13th, and then we're rolling to Zanzibar. We're rolling to Zanzibar, and that's going to be September 22nd through October 1st, and then we're going back to Benin as well in January for the Voodoo Festival. Again, we're going back to Benin in January for the Voodoo Festival. That's January 3rd through 12th. So visit Donfo.Africa to learn more. And if you're watching this, if you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, please go and support and buy the documentary In Search of Uhuru. When you go to Donfo.Africa, you'll see the link right there at the top of. Virgin Atlantic is cool too. You'll see the link right there on top of the website when you go to Donfo.Africa. Guys, please excuse me. I just finished eating lunch. All right, I should have just took like 30 minutes after I ate before I came on, but I'm like, I can't keep you guys waiting. We got to get this show going. Without further ado, if you live in any major city in America, whether it be New York, Atlanta, Los Angeles, San Francisco, St. Louis, Chicago, you should have no problem. You should have no problem traveling to Lagos, Nigeria. You should have no problem traveling to the south, southwest, southeast, Abuja. You should not have any worries traveling to Nigeria. Now, there are some issues in the north. Let me be clear. There are some issues in the north, but Nigeria is made up of 36 states. All right. Not all 36 are a problem. But if you live in New York City, if you live in St. Louis, If you somebody said put up the stats, I'm going to. If you live in Atlanta, if you live in Los Angeles, if you live in San Francisco, if you live in Seattle, if you live in Houston, if you live in New Orleans, if you live in Memphis, 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 you should have Chicago. You will be just fine. Stop being extra. Again, stop being extra and pretending like you're really concerned about your safety if you live in one of these cities when it comes to traveling to Lagos or traveling to Nigeria. Stop being extra. You'll be fine. If you can handle any of these major cities in America, you'll be fine in Nigeria, in Lagos, and in Osun, and Ogun, and Oyo. You'll be fine. You'll be fine in the Southeast. You'll be fine in the South. You'll be fine in Abuja. Now, when we get to the North, that's a different story. That's a different story. But let's jump into the statistics because people, in fact, I want to play this story first. Let me pull up the story. Let me pull up this story first.
Over 3 point.
And guys, this is at Nigeria. This is New York City. Again, this is at Nigeria. This is New York City.
6 million people take the New York City subway every day.
I'm always mindful of my environment. I'm always looking.
This morning, the National Guard will be checking bags after a rash of violent assaults on the nation's largest train system. One high-profile case, this horrifying moment, a woman smashed cellist Ian Forrest in the head while he was performing on a subway platform.
A lot of pain. I didn't know what happened.
The increased security, part of the New York governor's plan to crack down on crime.
These brazen, heinous attacks on our subway system will not be tolerated.
It builds on the 1,000 additional NYPD officers New York City's mayor ordered to patrol the trains last month after a reported 45% spike in transit crimes in January. The latest Gallup poll finds 77% of Americans believe crime is on the rise nationwide. But that perception is not the reality in most places. The FBI says violent crimes are actually on the decline after a nationwide surge in 2020. Still, some cities are facing big challenges. In Philadelphia, 8 teenagers were shot at a city bus stop, just hours after the transit police chief there pledged an aggressive push against all crimes on Philadelphia. 8 teenagers were shot, facing big challenges. In Philadelphia, 8 teenagers were shot at a city bus stop, just hours after the transit police chief there pledged an aggressive push against all crimes on public transportation.
We're going to target every criminal code on the books.
Despite the national trends, Washington, D.C. saw a historic spike in violent crimes last year, up 39%.
The bill's approved unanimously.
The D.C. Council passed a massive bill aimed to make the district safer, including increased penalties for some gun offenses and expanding the definition of carjacking. Here in New York City, Transit Chief Michael Kemper says the increased police presence on subways is a deterrent.
If anyone's thinking of coming into the subway system with a weapon, there's probably a good chance they're going to get caught.
Civil liberties groups here in New York City have called the governor's plan overreach and overreaction. Meanwhile, the NYPD reminds people millions of people take this system every day without incident. They do say it is worth taking their long-standing advice on how to stay safe. Watch your things and at least lower the volume on those headsets that you wear or take them out entirely, Hoda.
Yeah. All right, Stephanos, thank you so much. We take the subway a lot.
Almost every day.
Hold on, I got another one for you.
Kayak? No way. Why would I use kayak to compare hundreds of travel sites at once? Kayak. I like to do things myself.
Good morning. A lot to talk about here. First, why we're here at the courthouse today. 25-year-old Abdeli Mohammed is accused of following an MTA worker on the subway platform and then punching her, leaving her with a fractured eye socket. We're expecting him in court today as we're learning more about this new push for safety on the subway. This video shows the assault on the station agent. She was walking out of the platform trying to wake a sleeping man under a bench. He came out swinging, fracturing her face. You can see commuters there restraining him until police made the arrest. This is, of course, just one of a number of recent violent attacks on the subway. Yesterday at the 170th Street and Jerome Avenue station in the Bronx, another MTA train operator was smashed over the head with a glass bottle. Last week, a subway conductor was slashed in the neck. Since the start of the year, there have been 156 subway crimes reported in Manhattan. Numbers are also high in Brooklyn, where there have been 93 crimes reported. Yesterday, Governor Kathy Hochul rolled out a subway safety initiative. It includes random bag checks at dozens of stations. Also, you'll see the National Guard underground. 750 members called up to serve alongside state police troopers. Plus, cameras installed on trains across the city.
I can do something more immediate than a budget request. I can give you bodies right now. And I think that's actually puts us ahead of the game.
And we are expecting that suspect here later today to appear in court. Now, overnight, we got word of yet another violent attack on the subway, this one on a northbound 2 train. A man just getting off that train in the Bronx was stabbed in the hand after intervening. He says he saw two men harassing a woman, and when he intervened, he was stabbed in the hand. Those 2 suspects are still on the loose this morning, that man being treated for his injuries at the hospital. In Lower Manhattan, I'm Julie Millay, Pix 11 News.
All right, Julie, thank you.
This is the big dance.
All right, there we go. And I'm going to pull up some statistics because you guys say you want the numbers. You guys say you want the numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Murders in New York City in 2023. Here we go. Here we go. New York City. The NYPD released some statistics about safety in New York City. No, let's play this article.
See what went right and where the department can improve. The NYPD's Chief of Crime Control Strategies joined Eyewitness News mornings at 10 with a first look at the final crime stats of the year. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles in the newsroom, and she digs into some of those numbers for us. Darla.
Good afternoon, Laura. And as you mentioned, these crime stats will officially be released tomorrow by the NYPD. But Eyewitness News has an exclusive look at the gains and areas of improvement from 2023. Take a look at the big picture. Both murders and shootings are down to pre-pandemic numbers. Murders down 11.9%.
So 386 murders in 2023. So 386 murders in 2023, 974 shootings. And this is in New York.
With 386 incidents, shootings down 24.7%, with fewer than 1,000 incidents. In fact, in 2023, there were 400 fewer homicides in New York City for the first time since 2019. And the NYPD says this decrease is being seen in every single borough, and this trend continues to track downward across the city. The NYPD is saying it has been driving these numbers down by putting more officers on the street.
Hold on. Here we go. Nigeria had 8,000 murders last year. Guess how many murders the United States of America had last year? 18,450. So you guys are proving my point You guys are proving my point. The more you just keep talking. All right, let's keep going.
During our 10 a.m. interview with the chief of crime control strategies, Michael Petrie, he says the NYPD has been working closely with the district attorneys in every borough to address recidivism, the small percentage of New York.
Here we go. See, I think this is the issue, Risky Rob. A lot of you guys aren't exposed. All right. So Nigeria is a country the same way United States of America is a country, right? I specifically said Lagos, Nigeria, which is a city, and compared it to New York City, saying that it's safer in Lagos, Nigeria, than it is New York City. So you, for some reason, you brought up the amount of murders in Nigeria, the country, and I brought up the amount of murders in the United States of America. And you said there were 8,000 murders in Nigeria, the country, and there's 18,000 murders in the United States of America. And the population, because somebody brought up the population, population of America from 2021 is 331 million. Population of Nigeria is going to be about 200 million. 200, let's see here, 218 million. So it's roughly, I mean, it's safer. But let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. And this is for Lagos State. So this is including Badagry as well. All right. So in Lagos, we're looking at 163 people murdered. All right. 189 robberies. So that's less. That's much less. Again, that's much less than New York City. That's much less than New York City. That's much less than New York City. A lot of murders aren't reported everywhere. A lot of murders aren't solved everywhere. That's all over. But go dead and murder are two different things. Like I said, it is safer. Go ahead, Elvis. Unmute yourself, Elvis. Condescending, negative Elvis.
All right.
Go ahead. I know you got something negative to say. Go ahead. Go ahead, Elvis. That's your job to be negative. Go ahead.
Oh man, I don't know. I didn't know you looked at me like that, Dynast.
It's okay.
I just want to say,
it's okay. Go ahead.
you know, your statement is mixed with some truths and some falsehoods.
What's false?
You know, you have to look at things in a broader context, right?
Nope.
So everybody is saying.
Let's go ahead and overcomplicate it. Go ahead, Elvis. That's what you do. Overcomplicate it. Go ahead.
No, I'm not overcomplicating anything. Everybody is saying the obvious part in terms of data keeping and and data collecting in Nigeria and Africa as a whole is very poor. So a lot of crimes go unreported. A lot of murders or violent crimes don't get into the database.
You got any proof of that? You have any proof of that?
I'm an African, Dynast. I lived in Africa. I know how things are done there. And people who visit Africa, people who visit Nigeria, right? People who visit Nigeria, people who lived in Nigeria would tell you the same thing. It's like that for most African countries.
Do you have any
just
proof
going by?
Do you have any proof of that?
I'm
Do you,
telling you from lived
you have
experience. It's not a
Elvis,
it's not a it's not a
do you
written,
have do you have any proof that they
you
don't keep
could
track of murders, not just deaths? I'm talking about specific homicides. Do you have any proof of that?
no, I said it's not as accurate as here in the United States. So like I said, a lot of crimes go unreported, a lot of murders, a lot of robberies go unreported. Like for example, I'll give you an example, and I'm sure it happens in Nigeria and other African countries. People break into people's homes at night, steal their things, sometimes hold them at gunpoint, steal their properties, assault them. They may call the police in the morning, but usually that doesn't go into a database and say, okay, we're going to mark this as a violent crime.
How do you
Murders
know,
and things like
Elvis?
that.
How do you know, Elvis?
I'm telling you this, Dynasty, because most African countries have poor record, data
Do
collection,
you do
and
you work for the
Nigeria is in that same boat.
do
So
you
that's just
work
one of the points.
for
Hold on, Dynasty. Don't get so defensive.
no,
That's just
no,
one of the
no,
points that I wanted.
I'm just Elvis. I'm just asking. Do you work
You
for the
could you
police
could
department?
disagree with my assertion. That's my assertion as an African. You can disagree with me. That's fine. It's not something that we have to stick on. You can be right on it. I could be wrong on it. I will concede that to you, but that's my opinion of it. And then the second thing is the proliferations of guns. In the United States, first you can walk up to somebody and just shoot them. Because they have a gun that's easily and readily accessible to them.
Right.
Nigeria, you don't have so much of that. You may have guns with the criminals, but most citizens don't have guns to protect themselves. So the influx of violent shooting in this country is a lot higher than in most other countries.
So you just proved my
So
point. You just proved my point. You just proved my point.
no, what I'm saying is when you're looking about safety, it's not only just killings, of people shooting people, robbery, kidnapping, you know, you'll see that a lot more in other countries than you see here in the United States.
You have the proof. You have the
Because
proof to back. Do you have the proof to back that up? Do you have the numbers to back that up?
you're asking me for numbers, but you just show a number that show that in New York City there was only
No, no. But you said you just made
384
this,
murders.
Elvis. You just made the statement that it goes on more in other countries than America. I'm asking, do you have the numbers to prove that?
I mean, I don't have it at my fingertips, but these are things that I know. I've seen the numbers. I've seen reports on them.
No. Some people think Jesus is coming back. Some people,
No,
do you
Dynasty.
have the
For
numbers to
example,
back
when I
that
made a
up?
statement about shootings, right?
Right.
The rate of shooting in Japan or the rate of shooting in the UK is far, far lower than that of the United States. I can't. I know this for a fact because I've seen the data. I don't have it at my finger. When I'm talking to you, I'm on my phone. I'm not at a computer where I can, type this thing on Google and send it to you. But the fact is, number one, those countries don't have, freedom of quote unquote freedom of arms. So most people don't have guns in those countries. So if you look at the stabbing, crime in the UK and compare that to the United States, it's going to be far, higher than what we have in the United States. So those are just common sense things, but also data has been, out on those things, and if you look for them, you can find them. The country with the most guns is the United States. That's a fact. We know that.
So you just proved my point. You just proved my point.
Not per capita.
I live here, and thank God, I've never been robbed once. I've never had a violent crime meted out against me. I've never had an intruder broken into my home. But I have family in Liberia and Africa who every night there's people trying to steal from them. People have stolen from them multiple times in their homes. You think they go to the police station and report?
Elvis, where do you live?
I live in Minnesota. I'm telling you, I have family that I'm in constant contact with back in Africa.
Elvis, are you saying that people in Minnesota, just because of your experience of not being robbed or attacked, are you saying that people in Minnesota don't get robbed or attacked?
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm saying, Dennis. No. Listen to me closely. You're just trying to, make a point. My point here is, I have family members back home, right? A lot of my family members. Some of them are doing better off than others. We have a big old house and a tall fence, and have somebody guarding their yard, so it's harder for people to get in there. Then I have a lot of family members who live in, a decent little house, but it's not fenced in. And you have guys at 2 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, they're calling me. I had a family member who somebody climbed through the ceiling, broke through the ceiling and went through the house and dropped right into the bathroom and came into the living room. And there was a person watching TV. There's a lady, and she had a scream, and the person ran back outside. It happened twice in less than a couple of weeks. And this is not an isolated incident. It happens a lot.
Elvis, what's your point?
My point is that people in Africa go through a lot of things like armed robbery, theft, rape, assault, a lot more frequently than you have in the United States. And most of those cases go unsolved.
Do you have the proof to back that up?
When I first got here, I told you that the data collection for these things are very low. But people who live their experience, will tell you these things.
Just say no.
I'm telling you, Don, because you don't live in Africa.
But Nello, here's a guy that just came on here. Elvis. Nello Amachi. He just said himself that he lives in Nigeria, that he used to live in New York, and by far Abuja and Lagos is safer than New York City. And he lives in Africa too.
So let him tell you what crimes has been meted out against him in New York City.
Here it goes. Nilo Mitchell. I live in Abuja, and it's safe for me than I was living in New York or in London. Here you go.
Yeah, Abuja is relatively safe. That's like somebody saying they live in Chanhassen.
Actually live in New York.
Say that again?
Okay, I actually grew up in New York. I know everything about New York.
But you have to have experience in both places. So if you lived in New York and you live in Lagos, then you can compare and contrast accurately.
Elvis, stop, man. Come on now.
Elvis, stop it, Elvis. Just stop it.
You have to account for that, because you can't say one place is safer because you live there longer and you spend more time there, and compare it to a place that you go and visit for a couple of weeks or a couple months, and saying that place is safer than the place that you live for the entire life. You have more experience in one place and less experience in the other.
I have many friends from Nigeria. I grew up with them in New York. Okay. And you said earlier that America have more guns than anywhere else, any other country in the world. Yes, you're right, per capita. But per capita, the country with the most guns, and I cannot bring it up right now, but it's either Norway or Sweden, because the law that you have to have a gun in the house. It's some World War II thing that you have to have a gun, right? And it's automated gun. It's a high-powered automated military style rifle that you have to have. It's the law. It doesn't mean they go around shooting everybody. That's a fact. But from my experience with a lot of Africans, especially West Africans, especially Nigerians, they are the worst promoter of their country. I don't know why they hate their country so much, right? But it's so much negativity coming from them. This argument, Dinah, should be geared towards them, towards Africans themselves, especially Nigerians, because they put their country down.
They live their experience. They know how corrupt their government is. They know the crime rate in their country. They lived it.
Government corrupt. You see what's going on in Washington right now? Are you kidding me? There's no government more corrupt than America. That's
not even true. That's what there's an old African proverb that says you can never tell monkey that honey is sweeter than banana, because they've never had it. Look, the services that you receive in this.
What are you talking about?
Many you don't know corruption because you live in the United States. You don't know true corruption.
Man, get off. You don't know true corruption. Bro. Get off the platform, man. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know corruption.
You don't know true corruption. Have you lived in an African country where you don't get basic services? In this country, you can talk about Washington all you want, but you get basic services. You get paved roads. You get running water.
I'm not talking about that.
So what are you talking
Okay.
about? You can't compare the corruption
What
in
do
the
you-
United States, quote unquote, to the corruption in Nigeria. You
Corruption in
can't.
the United States is 1,000 times worse than anywhere else. Okay.
That's what I said. You can't tell a monkey banana is sweeter than honey is sweeter than banana.
Who controlled Africa for the past 100 years? Who controlled Africa? Where did they learn corruption from? Who controlled them? Are you serious?
Hey, Delaware, let Nigerian first. I'm gonna pass the AFR. Go ahead, Nigerian first.
See,
Nigerian. Hold on, Nigerian. Hold on, Nigerian first. Are you Nigerian?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so go ahead. Nigerian. Am I lying about Lagos being safer than New York City?
It is. See, let me tell you how crime is committed in Nigeria. When you are robbed or kidnapped, if the police do their investigation, it is always people that know you, that people within your circle, they gave you out. You don't just walk on the street of Nigeria and someone just put a gun on your head. It doesn't happen. Except maybe you are a loudmouth and you are showing to everyone you have money. Of course, people will rob you. I think Afro think tank just returned from Nigeria. He has been going to Nigeria. He has never been robbed once, and he live in rural Nigeria. Rural. Ekiti State is rural. So I don't understand what Elvis is talking about here.
Please
go ahead, Florence.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Florence.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
My bad, AFR. My bad, AFR.
Damn. I let you skip over me once, but not twice.
My bad, bro.
Let
Florence go. Let Florence go. Go ahead, Florence.
All right.
Hey, guys. I want everybody to listen to me very well, please. I'm a Nigerian American. I've been living in America for almost 30 years. I go home all the time. Okay, I go between Lagos and Edo State, which is where I'm originally from. And I'll tell you that Lagos is safer than New York. Listen, you know what's wrong with all of us here is the propaganda. Okay, the propaganda that we have. And like Dinah said, we Nigerians, okay, we hate our country so much.
Yes.
That we badmouth. I'm guilty of it too. But I'll tell you, and that's because of anger, the anger towards the government. But the country itself is not bad. It's the politicians that are bad. And then when we spew the hatred and all that stuff, it's towards the politicians, but not the country. So don't get it twisted. Now, back to the topic. You won't go to Lagos and get robbed on the street, kidnapped on the street, like the other Nigerian said. In fact, I'll tell you, you have the best time ever if you get into Lagos. If you're able to overlook, some other things like traffic, you have the maddest fun. Listen, I'm 53 years old. Okay, so I don't go to clubs or whatever. I'm just like an average. But my sons they're American born. My oldest is 26. They go to Lagos and they hit the clubs, they hit the beaches. I'm telling you, the wildest, best time ever. And I have a lot of men in my family who have been married to foreign women, British, Black British women, Caribbean, African, and they've lived there. They raised their kids there. And they said that's the best decision ever. Because, sometimes the kids have to come back to the US to go to college. But back to topic again. You see what's going on? It's like me, for example. I live in Newark, New Jersey. I've been here now for all the 30 years I've been here. Now, I work in corporate America. When I tell those people in my offices that I live in Newark, you see the fear on their faces. But nobody has shot me here, killed me here, whatever. It's propaganda. It's one thing goes wrong and everybody runs with it. It's the branding, So I believe that, eventually, if Nigerians are able to separate our anger towards our politicians in the way we communicate about what's going on in Nigeria, then people will not take and run with the words we say, and everything turns into like negativity about where we come from. That's not true. We have issues, yes, but please, I beg you in the name of God, if you go to Lagos, if you commit to going to Lagos, you are not going to get robbed, killed, or shot like we have here, where you go into the Come on, why don't we even talk about the dangers we face here, for example, where
You just said you live in notorious Newark and you've never been robbed. There's never been a crime against you.
No,
So you just
definitely
proved the
not. That's
point.
my point, though. Never been a
Right.
crime. Thank God for the hallelujah. That's what I'm saying. So it's the same way I'm saying. Don't just think when you think Lagos, you think about violence. It is so wrong. Completely misconstrued and a big lie. That's it. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, AFR. Go ahead, AFR.
Yeah, shout out to you, Dynast. Shout out to you, Nigerian First, and shout out to you, Del Rey. Elvis. Man, I was just trying to sit here and eat my Jamaican beef patty, and just chill and just listen to the stream. And it's like, dog, listen, everybody knows, okay? You got white men moving to Nigeria, okay? Happy as hell, jumping up and down with Nigerian flags saying, I'm a Nigerian citizen. There's thousands and thousands of foreigners that go to Nigeria for business, work, and pleasure. Okay? I have not, and I personally know two white people, one Asian that live close to where I live that have ties to Nigeria. They have not once ever said that they felt safe in Nigeria. But guess what they did say? Oh, they got robbed downtown Portland where we at. In the first world where no corruption, or whatever. Also, places are moving out of places like, businesses are moving out of Oakland. They're moving out of Portland. They're moving out of New York City. They're moving out of all these places because of the crime in great America, the best place on the planet. That you say Nigeria is the crap. Well, you didn't say that, but you were alluding to that. So it's just really, and this is coming from an American, okay, was born and raised in the tri-state area, really close to New York. I spent most of my childhood and early adult life there. Okay, so you can't tell me all that what you're telling me. Okay, the rational, non-biased people know. Okay, New York is on the decline. There's no end in sight because of the leadership, and people are jumping ship. More people are going. Okay, the only people going to New York and New York City are creatives, CEOs, people that already have capital and money, that already have some prior business, that can just sit down like a media executive. Okay, yeah, that's a perfect place for you in New York City. But everybody else is going to the periphery, or they're going to places like Lagos to build and not be robbed and killed, or not have the fruits of their labor taken from them. So I'll pass the mic, but
So
Elvis,
man, let me get 30 seconds to rebuff you real quick. Let me get 30 seconds to rebuff you. There's a correlation between poverty and crime, right? So when I first came to the United States, the state that I came through was New Jersey. I lived in Ewing, New Jersey, which is a suburb of Trenton, New Jersey. I lived there for some time. And true, my parents actually moved to Minnesota because they were afraid that we would probably, growing up as a young man, I'll probably get involved in some of these things. And my parents thought Minnesota was a safe place, so they moved us over here. And so far, it's been good. I had a cousin who left there, got deported back to Liberia, got in a lot of situation, got charged for attempted murder. When the exact route my parents didn't want me to go. So I thank them for moving us to a relatively safe state. But the point that I'm making, if you go to Lagos, there are certain neighborhoods in Lagos, places like Surulere and other places where you have, more poverty concentrated. You'll find more crimes in those areas.
Elvis,
same thing with the United States, where you have.
Okay, what place is known that's not you get robbed first? Lagos, Nigeria, or New York City? Be honest.
That's what I'm saying. You have to compartmentalize it. In New York City, if you're in Manhattan, hold on, brother. If you're in Manhattan, you're less likely to get robbed than if you're in Brooklyn.
AFR. See, I'm nice. I tolerate this shit, but I understand why Lumumba kicked them off. This is just how Elvis rolls, man.
You can disagree with what I'm saying, Dynast. You can disagree with it, but it's a fact. There are nicer, more safer area.
Okay, Elvis. People were
there's nicer, more safer areas in every city, and then you have the more poverty-stricken area that's going to be more dangerous.
That's the most guarded. That's the most guarded and spectacular area of New York City where you have the most cops per person in that city and people are still getting shot and robbed in that small area. Stop the cap. Stop.
Elvis, we're the most popular, as far as poverty-stricken area you believe in America. Where are they normally located? That you believe
in the poorest areas.
No, but where those cities? I mean, where? Like
you'll find more poverty in urban areas, of course. You know, in densely populated cities, you'll find sections where there'll be a highly concentration of poor people. That's a fact.
I'm going to tell you that from someone that work in about 37 states, the poorest areas in America are in the rural areas, the little tiny towns that's scattered across America. Those are the poorest areas. People live in almost huts. I've been there. I've worked in them. Those are the poorest. Those are the poorest areas that don't have no grocery store. They probably have a Dollar General.
We're talking about crimes, and those could be some of the safest areas as well. In the rural areas, we're talking about cities. You didn't mention the rural parts of Nigeria and the rural parts of the United States. You're talking about cities, highly concentrated, densely places where crimes.
The poorest area. I was saying the poorest area don't always bring the most crime. That's what I was saying.
No, and when it's highly, concentrated with people, you're definitely going to have a lot more crimes.
It's the culture, okay? Because there's plenty of poor places around the planet that they don't have shootouts and stabbings and all that. So the correlation between poverty and crime, it's not even agreed upon. And
it's not agreed. Are you kidding me? It's not agreed upon.
Elvis, stop yelling. And then the second thing I'm going to say is America, besides America, Yemen has the most firearms per capita, over 400 million firearms, and they don't even have the same level of crimes, and it's a conflict zone. Okay.
So could you tell me there's one place
what's the crime rate in Yemen? I would do a dynasty on you. What's the crime? No, don't say man dynasty, because you was doing it to me. So I'm gonna do it to him. What's the crime rate in Yemen?
But see, listen, like I said, I tolerate Elvis. I'm a nice guy. But like you see why.
And we appreciate you, Dinah. This is a free platform. People should be able to express themselves.
Let me go ahead. I'm gonna pass to you. Hold on, Delroy. Let me pass to Robert. I'll pass it back to you, Delroy. Go ahead, Robert. Unmute yourself.
Man, I just have to kind of agree with Elvis. I believe that, Lagos, Nigeria, it does have a lower crime rate, but it's because it has a lower poverty rate than New York City. The crime rate in Lagos is like 4.5%.
That's not true.
No, bro, look it up.
The poverty rate in Lagos is definitely worse than New York City.
Well, that's not what Google says. Google says that the poverty rate is 4.5%, and for New York City, it's 18%. So with that, you're going to have more crime.
Okay, so then you're proving my point that Lagos is safer than New York City, which is fine. Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
safer.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right. So Robert, do you agree from what you researched that Lagos is safer than New York City?
Yes. For a reason,
no problem.
But yes.
Okay, there we go. All right, Delroy, let me pass it to Quasi because Quasi's in Gambia. Go ahead, Delroy.
What's the other brother? I forgot his name. What's it? He was just talking about. He was just talking to Elvis. What's his name?
America's First Weapon, AFR.
Yeah, let me ask you something. Do you remember the European country? I'm gonna have to look it up. That have more guns per capita because of the law. They have to keep a gun. Is it Norway, Sweden? Do you remember?
I believe it's Norway.
Right. It's the law that you have to have a gun in the house because of some World War II war thing, right?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, and the reason why they don't have high gun crimes is because of culture. Everybody knows the reason why things are messed up because people got wrong culture. We can stop saying because people are poor, they're inherently bad, they're going to do bad things. We need to stop that narrative. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I say
let me
something?
pass it to Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna pass it. Go ahead, Florence. Real quick, let me pass it to Quasi.
Okay. So I just want to talk about a billionaire. I think he passed now. That died. His name was Fahim Saleh. He was a young, under 30 years old. He died a couple of years ago. He was killed by his PA. in New York. So what happened was he had gone to, he's a billionaire. He went to Nigeria to start a tricycle business, a huge one. And then somewhere within a year, less than a year of being in Nigeria, in Lagos precisely, the government decided to close that kind of business because it felt like there were too many accidents with tricycles, which we call Okada, motorcycles, that kind of transportation. It was too much. So he had to close his business. Well, guess what? He said, though, because he said that when he was trying to go to Nigeria to open this multi-billion-dollar business, he was told about security, but he went anyway. Well, guess what? He never died there. It was after he got back to New York, staying in one of those mansions.
Florence, if I can interject, Florence, if I can interject real quick, was this like he was like Indian, wasn't he? Or he was killed by an Indian, right?
Yeah, he's Indian. Yeah, Indian. I think he's Indian American. I think, I'm not sure, but definitely Indian ethnicity. His name is Fahim Saleh. He was brutally murdered by his own worker right there in his billionaire mansion.
In his apartment, in his apartment in New York City. I read about that.
Yes.
I read about that. Yeah.
The Nigerians went crazy when they heard about his death, because when he came to Lagos, all he kept saying was, guys, I was told that it's very risky to be here, but I still came to open up my business because I believe there is money to be made here, because I did my research and we have so many billionaires in Nigeria and in Lagos, blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, he didn't die in Lagos. He didn't have any one threat made to his life. He was interviewed when he came back. Okay, and the only reason why he came back was because, and all that. But he was killed right there in New York. Thank you.
What was that? What the hell's going on? What's that?
Elvis is a bum.
Garrett Gambino.
There are a lot of people.
He did that on purpose.
He did who want to hit something and give it a bad name.
No, I'm just moving around, man. I'm tired. I ain't do it on purpose.
All right, let me go ahead. Go ahead, Al. Unmute yourself, Al. Al, unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me now, brothers and sisters? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Basically, the statistic doesn't lie. My brother Elvis, Nigeria is way safer than America. Put Lagos aside. You don't have to bring Lagos to Abuja. And Nigeria, I currently have war. Is a war zone. But if you look at the statistic, how many people are dying of guns in America compared to Nigeria? For a developed country. And if you look at the security, what they got in America, like basically how many security personnel they got per human or per population. You look at the statistics. Also, it does not lie. Nigeria is a safer place to live, even though I hate to say this, even though Nigeria is a war zone, but it's a safer place to live than America.
Where do you live, Al?
I live in the UK.
Have you ever lived in the United States?
I've been America, a few times.
So what make you think Nigeria? Have you ever lived in Nigeria?
I went to Baltimore. Well, that's not the point. Listen, right, Elvis. Okay. I mean, we're both from Liberia and Sierra Leone. We know what it's like to be in a war zone, right?
Right.
Then Nigeria is currently, have some part of the country have war. No,
Diners excluded the entire part of the country. The vast majority of Nigeria. He said, don't talk about the north.
Elvis.
Only talk about the southern part of Nigeria.
Elvis. Hold on, Al. The topic is Lagos, Nigeria is safer than New York City, which it is. I agree. In the north of Nigeria, there's some stuff going on there. Like, I agree.
That's different.
Lagos, Nigeria is safer than New York City. Now, I'm going to say Lagos, Nigeria is safer than the majority of major cities here in America, period.
I would say I would go as far as Kaduna. I would go as far as Kaduna, where those kids were kidnapped not long ago. Dynasty. I'll go as far as Kaduna. That Kaduna is safer than New York City.
And
Where do you go when you go to Lagos, Diners? Where do you stay?
Hey, remember Elvis?
No,
The
Okay,
goalpost is put
Elvis.
back.
I go
The
all
goalpost is
over.
put back. The goalpost is put back, Elvis.
He continues to shift the goalposts. That's Elvis.
No,
He continues to shift the goalposts.
I made a
go
point, and most people.
I am
One second,
everywhere.
Diners.
I am
1 second,
everywhere.
Diners.
Like, everywhere.
Most people in the comments are making the same point, and I'm making that point, and you guys have to see the rationale in it. In Lagos, Nigeria, you have places like Ikeja. You have very wealthy places where you find less crime,
Oh shit,
and then you
Elvis,
have the slum places
Elvis,
where crime will be more
crap,
prevalent.
Elvis,
That's
no crap, Elvis. No, really, really, Elvis. Just like in
and that's what
Atlanta,
I'm saying. So it depends on where you are.
Elvis, just like in Atlanta, Elvis, just like in Atlanta, you have Buckhead, and you got the trap. Again, Elvis, the argument is Lagos, Nigeria as a whole is safer than New York City as a whole. I know there are certain areas that you might have some issues. And it was talking like I'm stupid. See, I understand why what's his name just kicks you off the show. You try to insult me. That's stupid. Hey, let me pass it to Go Hard Gambia because he's in Gambia. Go ahead, Go Hard Gambia.
Yeah, what up? What up, Diners? How you doing?
Good, man. How
I can remember. I'm good. I'm good. I made my first journey over in 2015, and when I came over, I didn't know what to expect. My mind state, my mentality was pretty much the same as most people would have. We have this fear of Africa. It's like this fear of the unknown, and I thought it was like blood diamonds over here, that every country that you went into, you had rebels and, you had child soldiers and things like that. And they were just kidnapping people all over the place. And, I remember I was like, hey, listen, I'm just going to go over because I want to be able to go to Africa and experience for myself. So once I came over in, 2015 and I got off the airplane in Senegal, the first thing that I noticed was that there were no law enforcement. There's not a law enforcement presence like you see in the States. In the States, not only do we have a law enforcement presence, they are now militarized. When you go into a lot of these big cities, you see that, they have, automatic, rifles. And we as a people, I was just thinking as I was listening to the conversation, my aunt has 6 sons and my mother has 3. So out of the 9 brothers and cousins that I have, 7 of us been shot. And, my brother was shot and killed after being shot on 3 different occasions over a span of, 10 years. 10-year increments. My brother was a thug. He was out there, but, all my friends been shot. I don't know how many times I've been shot at in our community. America, if we don't see it by now, and we watch the news stories and we hear about these young people now that are going in and they killing their whole families, their little sisters, the auntie, the mom, the uncle. You got domestic violence where, the men are shooting down the women and now the women are shooting the men. All you have to do is ask around. When I first came here, I used to ask, do you know anybody that ever been shot before? You understand what I'm saying? And they were like, oh, no, we never even heard a gunshot. I've been to here, I've been to Ghana, I've been to Sierra Leone. But once you come over and you start to travel around, then you're gonna realize that we are in a sick society living in America. It's always been a sick society for us. Our whole history there was based on violence against us. I was watching Rosewood the other day and how they destroyed hundreds and hundreds of cities where we were starting to build for ourselves. So we came up with that type of brutality against us, and it has been switched around and to a point to where now we do this to one another. You understand what I'm saying? You have to, you know, anybody that's out there looking, anybody that have children, you know, the illusion is over. America is finished. America is finished. You know, you got the whole mental health community running around with guns. You had a situation, you know, that what they brought 700 National Guard units into the New York subway system because of the crime and everything that's taking place there. A few days after they brought them in, you had the situation where there was a fight on, and then the guy took the guy gun and shot him in the head. Everybody on the subway car screaming. It's just it's way too many guns in the U.S. But as far as we as a people are concerned, we should already see that the devastating effects of a gun culture upon our people. The generations of our people have been killed and destroyed. All right, you know, we have killed more of our own people than, you know, accumulation of the wars over the past 30, 40 years, something ridiculous like that. Africa is definitely a better option than the U.S. in terms of, you know, safety and security.
All right, let me pass it to Jonathan Miller first, and I'll pass it to you, AFR. Let me pass it to Jonathan Miller first. Jonathan Miller, go ahead.
If the homicide rate in Lagos is 12.2%, and the homicide rate in New York City is 6.4%, and Lagos has double the population, how could Lagos be safer than New York City? And then to go ahead and add on to what the guy said earlier about unreported homicides or robberies or anything of that nature. In America, you can dial 911 and get a response. But if you try to call any of the equivalent numbers in Nigeria, 767-112, it might even just go beep, and that's it, and hang up on you. Why y'all up here pretending like that? Like what y'all saying is true?
I mean, you just
Thank
answered
you.
the question.
Thank you, Jonathan. I agree with you, my brother.
Okay, I'll play that game real quick. Look, here's the deal. Yes, we have services in America because of the systems we have set up. Great, that's great. Even though as of right now, they're all breaking down in all different types of fashion. That's number one. And number two, every major city has had a high level of crime for several years since the pandemic. They have come down, but they came down from pre-pandemic levels or whatever they're saying. It's still high levels of crime. And the thing about it is not only that is the policies America has enacted to make things easier for criminals. And that's the problem. So you can say, oh, America's safe. No, it's not safe. You know why it's not safe? Because just like Gohar Gandia said, we are a sick society. We think right is wrong, wrong is right, and right is wrong. Okay, stuff that's worked for millennia, we decided to turn it on its head. So this is the results. And the last thing I'm going to say, and I want to push back just a little bit, because Gohar, that was inspirational. Dude, you got my heart pumping off of your testimony. So God bless you on that one. Only thing I'll push back on is the gun culture thing. It's not necessarily the quote unquote gun culture. It's, for one, the Second Amendment is there for a reason. And I think other places like Nigeria would do well to take lessons, because if the Second Amendment was actually a thing in a culture in Nigeria, those school kidnappings would not happen. So that's just my opinion.
Can you refute what Jonathan Miller said?
I'm landing the plane, Elvis. Relax. You'll get your ignorant stuff out soon. And the last thing I'll say is Nigeria is still, like I said, every person you talk to on this planet, when they think of robbing and getting robbed and killed on the street randomly, they don't think of Lagos, Nigeria. They think of New York City, Memphis. They think of LA. That's what they think of all over the world.
Because that's what they know.
No, they
don't know about Nigeria.
Elvis, no. That's what it is.
That's what they're exposed to. Whether it's through movies or from YouTube, they don't see it.
Hold on, real quick. Jonathan, can you post it? Hold on, Al. Jonathan, can you post in the chat room your link that the homicide rate in Lagos is 12.5% or whatever you had? Can you post that in the chat room?
Most definitely.
He's right.
I still want
this, just looked it up.
American First Rifleman to respond to what I said, because what you went on to say is that, I mean, America's a dangerous country. I mean, I've been to a lot of countries. There's a lot of dangerous countries. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to the worst parts of Kingston. I wasn't robbed, but I was warned not to go there. Doesn't mean that you went somewhere and you survived or nothing happened to you, that changes the dynamics of the area. But I'm going to go ahead and post the information.
And
dangerous
can I
is
just
America. Sorry, not real quick. I'll interject and I'll shut up. It's dangerous in America in certain places. Most of the country is relatively safe. Yes, but he said, particularly, see, this is where y'all Negroes like moving. He said New York City versus Lagos. Okay,
And I
so
put out
that's
the stats for New York City versus
this is
Lagos.
what I want to say. This is what I want to say, and I heard the statistics and all of that. And we know how that the media works with that information. Where could you go in this world where you have generations affected by homicide? Like, you know, like we came up and we had to deal with the homicide. Then we had children that end up being victims of homicide. Then they have we looking at 2-3 generations where we have a history of homicide in our family. That's not even counting the people that are shot and maimed. And you know, in Atlanta, it's a couple things about Atlanta. When I was in Atlanta, they were having triple and quadruple murders. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, I got shot in Atlanta, got carjacked by 2 15-year-olds. This was after leaving Connecticut at the age of 29, went to Atlanta, changed my life, got married, you know, had kids. I'm about 6 or 7 years into, you know, me changing my life. And then, you know, these you know, our people, you know, our history, our plight. And these kids, they came and they carjacked us. They took the car. The
it's
guy,
okay
he
to
let
call
me
them
walk.
thugs. They're thugs.
You know, and that's just seemed to be the culture amongst our youth. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, go hard. You migrated from the safest state in the country to one of the worst states in the country. You're speaking from the perspective of a Black American, so you're going to have emotional ties to the crime that's happening.
You're speaking about the whole state. I'm speaking about where I'm from, New Haven, Connecticut, which is one of the worst cities in the nation.
Google it. Connecticut is the safest state in the country. It does it.
No,
but there are bad parts of Connecticut as well. Hartford, New Haven.
Both things can be right at the same time. But go ahead.
You know, AKA pistol waving New Haven. But if you know anything about New Haven, Connecticut, it has been up in the top 4 of the worst cities to live in terms of homicide. Okay, when I came up, I had my first gun at 14 years old, dropped out of the 7th grade. And that's how it was. And that's how it is at the core of our communities. And it's affecting everything. And, you know, I wanted to say this. When I went down to Atlanta and and changed everything around, I was like, okay, I made it. I've been shot at a whole bunch of times. I never got shot. You know what I mean? And I made it out the streets only to have, you know, our culture as a people come around and haunt me, where you had these 2 15-year-old kids come and carjack us. They both had automatic weapons. You know, the kid let me walk off before he started shooting. So he hit me one time. But when I got to the hospital, Dynas, you can still hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
When they rushed me down to Grady, the detective came and said, hey, you know, they got the guys who shot you. I was like, okay, they caught their ass. Yeah, and then he came back a few minutes later and was like, nah, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the guys. 2 weeks later, because they took my truck and jumped on 285, the state police had pursued them and they were able to get ahead and jump out the truck. But like a half hour later, while they were doing their investigation, they saw a kid walking down the street with his mom, got all his information. So I'm reading the report. I take the kid information, put it in Facebook. You know, this is about 9 years ago. And it was the kid that shot me. And when I called the detective, you know what he told me? He said, I said, I know who shot me. He was like, how do you know? I was like, well, I got the state police report and it's all in the report, this kid name. And I looked him up on Facebook. He said, oh, the kid, he said, yeah, he's 15 years old. So I was like, so you knew the whole time? You knew the whole time you're going to let these kids that just carjacked somebody and shot them just go?
Were you carjacked and shot in a relatively safe area or more of a dangerous area?
Well, what does it matter?
Well, that's a
You
that's a
moving the
great.
goalposts.
Yeah, Dynasty.
No. You're moving the goalposts because
It's
the
anecdotal.
argument.
It's
Because
anecdotal.
people stay away from dangerous areas, Diners. People try to stay away from places where crime is high.
Elvis. Again, the argument is Lagos is safer than New York City. That's the argument.
Okay, so you're going to put up this statistic that Jonathan said, right? So maybe you can disprove what he said.
Right here. I mean, Lagos is a larger city than New York City.
I want to.
163 people murdered, 189 robbers recorded in Lagos in 1 year. This is 2023. Here's the stats. I don't know where Jonathan's getting his stats from.
Jonathan, can you rebuff it? Can you prove your stats? Where do you get your stats from?
Okay, someone has fake news.
This ain't fake news. This ain't fake news. This is from Nigeria.
Jonathan, can you come in and give us where you got your stats from and what year?
Well, let me do this. Let me pass it to John Martin. John Martin, go ahead and bring Black Beauty on. Go ahead, John Martin.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
It's kind of muffled, but we'll work with it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll probably take my headphone off.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Is it okay now?
You're good. Go ahead. Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead.
A lot better. Go ahead.
Oh, crap.
John, go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Is it okay now?
We hear you, man. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just took my headphone off. I was at work. I came here specifically because of this Elvis guy. I think this guy is very, very stupid. This guy is an idiot. He's a retard. He's very stupid. People like this, when I see you, somebody like this, when I see you, I'm going to smack the hell out of you. You are very stupid. You shouldn't be a Nigerian. You shouldn't be a Nigerian. You should be,
I'm not a
Gambian or a
Liberian.
You are a fool. You are a fool, man.
He's Liberian.
You are a fool. I noticed one thing.
What did I say? What did I say that was so wrong? Tell me.
Dude, you are stupid, man. You are a fool. Sorry to say
what
this.
Did I say?
I noticed
what did
one
I say?
thing. Dude, just shut the fuck up and let me finish. I noticed one thing. Every time Nigeria is mentioned, every time people mention Nigeria, other African countries always have negative stereotypes towards Nigeria. For what reason, I don't know. They always try to perpetuate this negative stereotype against Nigeria. It's rubbish. Whatever stereotype you see that
I love Nigeria. I think it's the best country in Africa.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
You're being so emotional. Say what I said that made you mad. Express yourself effectively.
Whatever you were saying.
Hey, John, Elvis says he's correct because somebody broke into his auntie's house.
Somebody broke into his auntie's.
Into his auntie's house. So he's right. Somebody broke into his auntie's house.
Diana, I'm sorry to cut you short. I watch CBS, CNN. There's even I almost got away with it. These are crime. Somebody's Jeffrey Dahmer. These are criminals that have committed egregious crimes. Everybody knows this. People go into people's houses. Somebody's a creep. Somebody's a blood. These are criminals. But you don't see this every day in Nigeria. Somebody's killing the next person because of Jordan. Somebody's killing the next person because of you are wearing a blue hat. You never see this in Nigeria.
John, I agree with you. But per Elvis, none of that counts because somebody broke into his auntie's house in Liberia.
That's why I said this guy is a bloody idiot. He's a bloody idiot. Take him off the stream. Take him off the stream. He doesn't deserve to be here.
You're just going to write this guy up and give him a high blood pressure. What did I say that was wrong, Brother John? What did I say? I want to get this point.
Elvis, you said that New York City is safer than Nigeria because somebody broke into your auntie's house in Liberia.
No. I didn't make it quite as simplistic. I said that a lot of crimes. Hold on, Dennis. I said a lot of crimes go unreported in Africa, especially, and I gave you a few examples of some of those crimes that may not be in the statistic when you're talking about crime rates in these different countries or cities. The point here is this guy is saying that I'm an idiot, which could be true, but you gotta state specific things that I said and prove that it was idiotic.
Now the statement you're making now, let me prove you that you're an idiot.
Okay.
In the US, what you're saying now, there are people that kill people in the hood. There are people that rob people, and those crimes are never reported. Have you never heard of you don't snitch in the hood? We watch it all the time with Nigerians, with Africans. You think we don't see this?
You never snitch when the police come. You never say what's going on. I lived in Italy for years. Italians live like this way. When they commit crime, they never, even when the police come, everybody say, I don't know nothing. It happens to you in your little place in the US there. Some crimes are not reported.
You agree with me that a lot of crimes go unreported
Then
in
why are you
Nigeria,
so
right?
stupid and saying it's always particular to Nigeria?
No, we're
when
discussing Lagos, Nigeria. We're not discussing other
No,
other
we are not
African
discussing
countries.
Lagos, Nigeria. It was comparing Lagos, Nigeria
We
to New
are.
York.
This is
to
the
the
topic.
US.
Hold on, one mic. But what John is saying, Elvis, is that in the community we have the snitches get stitches code. So a lot of stuff goes unreported because folks don't want to snitch. He has a point because your argument, because Elvis, your argument, Elvis, is that a lot of crimes go unreported in Nigeria. We can say the same thing for in America because of the don't snitch code.
Hey Elvis, but they're so corrupt. But, I mean, hey Elvis, but remember you say, hey, remember you said they're so corrupt, right?
It doesn't cut across all society. It's just a specific
if someone gets killed,
society that does that. White people don't care about snitches.
Here we go. Jonathan, here we go, Jonathan. If I'm a dope boy, and somebody breaks into my house, a crackhead, and steals my shit, is that dope boy gonna go report it to the police?
No,
absolutely not.
Okay, so you can say the same thing about the United States of America. How shit don't get reported because because as per Elvis, shit doesn't get reported in Nigeria, but for some reason everything gets reported in America. But I know
that's not even what I said.
That's what you are trying to say.
We're talking.
No,
that's what I heard. That's the main reason why I came on this live stream.
That's not what I'm trying to say at all.
Because
that's not what I'm trying to
Nigeria,
say.
homicide could easily
people
not
don't
be
trust the
reported.
police in Africa.
That don't work in America so easily.
People trust the police less in most African countries than in the United States.
People don't trust the.
Are those goalposts heavy, nigga? Are those goalposts heavy?
Diana, please let me correct this. People don't trust the police in Africa. This is what I'm trying to tell you, that you are stupid. Nigeria, we have corruption in Africa. I'm not arguing that. We have corruption in Africa. Now look at the US with all the police force that you have, with all the security that you have. You still have a high level crime rate. As much as a huge amount of security that you have a high level crime rate to that point. We that don't have so much that in our own country, we are still in lower than yours. This goes to show that you are stupid.
No, we're talking about trust in the police. We're not just talking about crime rate. You think
that's what
you
I'm
say
telling
that
you?
Nigerians trust their police more than the Americans trust their police? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Hey, can I interject real quick, brother? Listen, okay, in Africa, you may expect one of them to be like, hey, give me a bribe or something like that, something small like that. In America, you can literally lose your life if you don't listen to their instructions. I don't know. I don't know.
If Africa is different from the US, then why was everybody crying for George Floyd?
Yo,
why was
look,
if you can trust the police, why was everybody crying for George Floyd?
We all have anecdotal experiences that we can recall. The fact of the matter is, we have to get
list of people that were killed by the police in the US.
God damn, we have to get the most accurate source of stats if we're going to discuss this topic.
As one hellhole, it's annoying.
Don't be too emotional, brother. We're just discussing.
Let me read the super chat. Spellcaster, thank you for the $5 Canadian dollars. When it comes to good safety is ranked Lagos, then New York, then Kingston, Jamaica. Thank you. Lagos is safer than New York. I know. I ain't crazy. All right, go ahead. Oh, Black Beauty. I'm sorry, Black Beauty. Hold up, Black Beauty. Black Beauty's up. Black Beauty. Go ahead, Black Beauty. Let me pass the Black Beauty.
Black Beauty. Welcome, sister.
Black Beauty, go ahead. See, Black Beauty, I done let you on and you quiet. Black Beauty, going once, going twice. Okay. All right. Let me
Dynast, my beef is with Jonathan Miller. Jonathan Miller is actually lying. He's coming here just to.
I know Jonathan's a liar. I know he's a liar. I know he's a liar.
Liar. Thank you.
Jonathan Miller's a liar. Jonathan's the same guy that they just.
I provide the statistics that I have.
Listen,
Now, if y'all
I
go
got
to
statistics
Google,
right here.
no, the crazy part is I'm looking at something right here. Dinus, you got something on the thing that says 163 people murdered, 189 robberies recorded in Lagos in 1 year. I
Yep.
really want to know, do you believe that?
I do.
Jonathan, Nigeria is safer.
Unless you can prove that it's not true, I do.
That's not true, Douglas.
Hey. No, I believe it.
Black Beauty, I just let you on and you weren't saying nothing. Hold on. Black Beauty, unmute yourself, Black Beauty. Unmute yourself, Black Beauty.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon. How's
Hello.
everyone doing here?
Yeah, we're better. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to speak, but I just feel like the energy went so high and I'm not willing to scream over people. But I'm a person who lives in both Lagos and New York City. I was born here in New York City and I've had an apartment and lived in Lagos for 2 years straight and still maintain that pace. So I would like to speak about both. And I've dealt with police in both, right? And they've been helpful in both places. Of course, I had to, do what I could in Africa. But I think one thing about Lagos is if you want a certain level of protection, you have to live in a certain area in Lagos. Like, I think that it really does depend on exactly where you live in Lagos. So if you're living, I'm sorry, but if you're living in certain areas on the mainland, don't expect much. If you stay in a place in proper Lagos where people actually regard the citizens that have property and, do what they do, you might have a better instance with the police. At least that's what I find. I find that if you live in certain areas, you will get better police treatment in terms of police being assisting and forthcoming and being able to assist you as a citizen. As opposed to like in New York, you will call the police in any corner of this place and they will come. So that is something to be thought about, because sometimes I even think that too, if something happens in certain areas that we hang out at in Lagos, there's no real way to call police for them to actually show up, except the place where I do live, the police are right down. The Morocco police are in walking distance from where I stay, and I'm inside the palace gates. So it's different for me. I find that the police are cool with me because they know I'm an American citizen. I've made myself clear. I've identified myself. They know that if something happens to Jackie, we got to do something for her. That's because I make myself known in that specific area. But when you go to the area where maybe my husband and his family and them live, like it's not really safe. And even when I have these conversations with him and I try to tell him, like last year, I was trying to tell him, "Oh, Lagos is safer than New York City." You know, he says, he goes, "Ha ha ha, Jackie, you don't know what you're talking." And to be honest, it's the truth. It could be very dangerous in Lagos. It could be very, very dangerous with those Yahoo boys, with the boys on the third mainland bridge, with the boys out there. It could be very, very, very dangerous. Not everything ends up in homicide, but some things do end up in homicide. And I know we talk about how there's not really guns out there, but you will be surprised who has them. Quite a few people have guns in Lagos. So I just think that this comparison is not good. I think both places are pretty fucking dangerous. If I had to choose some place to really post up in Africa, I probably wouldn't post up for the rest of my life in Lagos. Like, okay, that's great. I've repatriated my country, etc. My husband's from there. He's an Ikeja high school boy. I understand that. But like, we're thinking about going to a place like Kenya. I watched that show Crime and Justice. And I like Crime and Justice Lagos, but I think that they handle it better in Kenya. So if I was going to choose a place to like really be for the rest of my life in Africa, I don't think it's going to be Lagos. And even I live in a nice area. I live behind Access Bank headquarters. Very beautiful area. So it's disingenuous, this conversation.
Well said, sister. I agree with you.
Basically, what I think, my sister, the reason why we're talking about this is because I me myself personally, I'm not Nigerian, and I'm far from it. But what I hear a lot from some Nigerians, not all, and some Africans, and some people that don't know nothing about Nigeria, they always exaggerate the problems, the crimes in the country, and the killings. Yeah, and for me, that personally have been traveled to Nigeria. I've been to Kaduna. Yeah, and that's where most that's where your base is up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we have kidnapping and Boko Haram.
They just had it last week. They just had it last week.
Right? Pardon?
They just had
last week, right?
Last week.
Yes,
It's
yes,
horrible.
exactly. So right. So, but if you look at the statistic and the amount of personnel per population, the amount of resources Nigeria have that they have put out there that they can afford compared to America, you yourself know that because you said you lived in Nigeria in your ancestral home and you came from America. Nigeria obviously performed better than America, right?
What I will say is they do the most they
In
can.
what regard?
Hold on. Can I answer?
Yes
I would
or no
say
question. Is
they
that
do the
yes
most they
or no?
can with the little they have.
Yeah, thank
Say
you,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, thank you.
And I think that if you find yourself, like for me as an American citizen and someone who stands out, I made sure, like
Yeah.
you see them places where Dynasty be going, I can't stay in none of them places. Unless I want to get robbed. So I made sure to put
Also, you're a
myself.
woman. Don't
No,
forget
no,
you're a
no, hold
woman
on, hold on.
also.
I gotta mute you. I gotta mute you though. But nothing happens in those places I stay. Nothing. It's safe.
Because you have the connections there, Dynasty. You made
You
connections
want to
prior
get
to going
robbed.
there.
Dynasty,
It's safe.
you're a black man. You're a
You're
man, bro.
And
completely
you be there for
safe.
2
What are you
days.
talking
Yeah,
about?
man.
My
Makes
husband,
sense.
when I
And
told
women,
You're
him,
completely
when I
safe. What
told
are you
my
talking about?
husband, when I showed my husband and gave him the block of where that little hotel was on the mainland you had us staying, he said, I beg, why was you all over there? There's not even a gate to close off the street. I beg, why
There
were
is
you
a
there?
gate. It is
No,
gated.
there isn't.
Hey,
That gate.
Hello.
Your husband bougie.
Oh
Your
my
husband's
God.
bougie.
That
Come on.
hotel was
Please,
Your
gated,
God.
husband
Black
bougie.
people. Oh man,
Please,
y'all just
God.
being
My
A
extra.
husband
black
is
beauty. Your
no,
husband's
my
bougie.
Y'all just being
And
husband's
that's a
from
good
extra.
thing.
Delta State.
Oh
You
my
know that, don't
God.
you?
that's bringing it
Y'all
back.
just
No,
being
ASAP.
y'all just being
My
extra.
husband's from Delta State, and he know better than to put a pretty
From
American on
Delta
that fucking
State. He's
street.
not from
No,
Lagos.
no. What?
No, he
Sorry,
was born
Hey,
sorry,
in Asia. His dad and them is from Delta State, and they're worried. And
Okay,
sorry.
they were
Black Beauty. Hold on,
yeah,
hold on. One mic.
but
Black
he's
Beauty. If
born
you can
in
prove to
Asia.
me,
Born in
Black
Asia.
Beauty,
He
if you
went
can prove
to high
Black
school.
Beauty, if you could prove to me that somebody was robbed by that hotel or killed by the hotel, let's have the conversation.
All right, I go talk to the people. They talk though. So I go ask
Okay,
them.
right,
Now she's switching up. Now she's
Okay.
switching up her switching up her
Sorry, can I come
accent.
in? Can I come in, please?
Thank you, my boy.
Oh, can I say one thing? Can I
Hold
say
on,
one
one
thing
mic.
before you
Hold on,
start,
one
brother?
mic. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's just funny. Hold
Oh,
on.
can I just
Listen,
real quick?
I walk the night freely by that hotel. I walk. In fact, guys. Now we stay on an island. We stay on an island now. We stay on Victoria Island when we go to
I
Lagos.
wonder
But that
why.
hotel on the mainland that she's referring to, I walk the night. I get suya. So when you go out the hotel, there's like a little market. You can get suya. You can eat.
Yes.
They got all
You
your
be
fresh
big man, boy.
produce. Them folks are worried. Listen, these folks be
You
worried
strong
about
man.
making their
You're a
money.
strong man. That's why they see you and they don't fuck with you. Look at you, Dynast. Come on, let's be honest now. It's different from you.
Sorry, can I come
Yeah,
in?
plus
Dynasty, didn't you play
Dynasty
Okay,
shit
D1
shit
wait,
football?
hold
talk
on, hold on.
that
Hey
protects him.
guys,
Probably huge.
I wanted to interject just real quick, and I'm gonna jump off. So more Africans can speak. Look, Black Beauty, I rock with you. I'm always on team Black Beauty, but I think the reason why you're kind of having this opinion is because I think you're a little classist, which is not fine, not bad. I think we need more bougie Black people, but I think it's just a class thing.
Damn right.
Yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
Listen. I live in one of the nicest. I don't live in Lekki because sometimes I find they don't have cash in the ATMs on the weekend. So I live in Victoria Island in one of the nicest estates by the Obas Palace by Ogunyemi, and I love it. Oh.
Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it.
Should. What I look like coming from New York
Absolutely.
City? I live in a nice neighborhood in New York. What
Yeah,
I
I
look
get
like
it.
coming from a
I
nice
get it. But
neighborhood?
you're kind of putting your sensibilities. You're but you're putting your own sensibilities on the place. That's the only thing we're saying. You're putting your own sensibilities on the place.
But I'll even
Your neighborhood, your neighborhood in New York has nothing to do with
Live
that.
in safer
Hold
neighborhoods.
on. This is Black Beauty being disingenuous. I'm gonna say why. Because the majority of people who work in that area and work those markets were all women. They were all women.
Right.
Dynasty, please let me say something.
They don't live there. They live in Yaba.
Dynasty, please let me say something to this lady. Madam, hello. This is the first time I'm having this conversation with you. I usually listen to the podcast and I hear you speak all the time. It's nice to meet you to start with. Number one thing you said, beautiful from New York or whatever. You are coming to Nigeria. There are people that are more richer than you.
Yes.
You have to humble yourself wherever you go.
Yes. They do.
Your
They
pride
live
don't
in
mean
better
nothing to
states than
anybody.
you. Yes, they live. So
Why this guy always trying to fight with somebody?
but let me just say this
Let me
to you.
finish
It's
what
not
I'm
about
saying. Let me finish
hold
what
on.
I'm saying.
Let me say this
If you
part.
get
It's
to a
not about
certain,
more richer. It's about knowing, like, for example, when the rich Europeans come, they don't live over here in Brooklyn where I live. They stay in Manhattan. You got to know where you fit in. I
Right.
can't go risk my
yeah,
life.
if you know where you fit in, but don't try to look down on the people.
I
Don't
do
try to
look
look
down
down
on
on
the
the people.
people. I don't.
Because
What?
from the way you talking, you speaking higher mighty and stuff like that.
No, I think that's your own
Yeah,
perception.
she can afford to live in a wealthier, safer environment, so she does that. She doesn't go to the slums because
Yeah,
she can afford to
I'm
live
not
in a nicer,
I'm not
more
arguing
secure
that.
place.
I hang out in Mushi. I
Black
hang
Beauty.
out in Ishodi. I hang out in the slums with my husband. He gangster.
Have you been to Nova?
Yeah.
Have you been to Nova Nigeria?
I
Have you
like
been to Nova?
Okay.
You went to the Nova.
slums. Yo, I'm Jamaican. I love the slums. They have the best parties, the best food. I love it. But I can't sleep there. Come on.
Yeah, I understand that you can sleep. I
I don't look
understand that
down
you can
on
sleep.
them. All of my friends in Nigeria, none of them are American. All my friends are
Okay,
like
you are
none of them are
welcome to Nigeria now. You are welcome to Nigeria.
I'm just
Brother
saying,
Dynasty,
when they hear this
Hold
Can
on,
I
hold
say-
on, hold on, one mic. Hold on,
when they
Black
hear
Beauty.
this voice,
Black Beauty, hold
voice,
on,
I
Black
can't
Beauty.
stay on that street where you be. When they hear this voice, I can't stay on that street. I'll get robbed.
Black Beauty. Nobody, Black Beauty. Brooklyn is completely gentrified. What are you talking about?
Yes, this is lease or buy Bed-Stuy now. Yes, it is. That's a fact.
It's completely gentrified. So you talk about white people don't go to Brooklyn.
No, but I'm saying that when the richer white people come, this is not their first preference. They could afford better. I'm serious. Even
Exactly.
Brownstones in Brooklyn are starting off at $1 million. What do you mean richer white people?
Okay,
Stay over there.
This brownstone that I'm in, it appraises for 2.6 mil. But what I will tell you
I know.
is that
I agree.
but they be coming with 5 and 6 and 7 mil ready to spend, and they go to Mercer Street in Soho. I know what I'm talking about. Brooklyn Tower just opened up. If you want a studio in Brooklyn Tower, which is downtown Brooklyn, it overlooks the Brooklyn Bridge. The studio starts at $950,000. This is not very. This is cheap for certain white people that come from Europe. They come here and okay, they'll hang out in Bed-Stuy, but guess what they'll do? They will buy on Mercer Street. Y'all know I'm right.
Okay, so what are you saying? The poor white people live in Brooklyn that only afford $1 million?
It's not about looking down on nobody. It's about, God damn it, when it's time for me to go to sleep, I'm happy to be inside of the Oba's gates, man, for real. I'm not sleeping on that street where you had us sleeping, bro. I'm not doing that. You trying to get me killed. Sorry.
Nah, it feels like you're projecting a little bit, Black Beauty. You're projecting. Yeah, you're projecting.
This is exactly what I've been saying before.
That street was horrible. I was afraid.
No, ain't nobody worried about you. Oh my gosh.
Why didn't you have armed security? Why didn't you have armed security?
It's not about money. It's about the
Okay, if it's not about money, why don't you have armed security, Black Beauty?
I do have home security.
No, armed security with you to defend you if it's so dangerous.
Where I live at the security's down the block and they know me. I don't have to have them armed.
Down the block.
They're outside of the gate.
Yeah, they're gated communities and they're guarded by security guards, so you don't need armed security.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not looking down on the people because when it comes for me to hang out, I hang out in the hood because I like the hood. I really do. That's how I.
Oh,
hold on, you
Lord
like the hood, but
Jesus.
It's not an
you worried
issue.
about
What
getting
I'm
robbed,
saying
but you like the hood.
perception of this. My
Dynasty.
action is this.
Nobody worried about you, Black Beauty.
Can I say,
worried about you.
Dynasty,
Nobody worried about you. Oh my God. Nobody worried about you.
We have to respect her perspective because she's a Pan-African. She's someone who has repatriated back to Nigeria. So when you're listening to a black woman from America say the type of thing she's saying, usually she's saying that there's not enough white people around, so she doesn't feel safe. But when Black Beauty says that it's from a different lens, you know what I mean? Like, so she might have.
Some of my girlfriends.
I tend to believe her.
I even have a girlfriend. She stays in that really nice estate in Ikoyi. What's the one called? Right there when you pass the bridge. She stays in that really nice estate. And even like some of the places I hang out in, she won't even go with me. And that's an Igbo girl from Nigeria. Like, that's my girl. And she
y'all are
she won't even go certain places with me.
You guys are
Yeah, go black. Go black.
Yeah,
go black to Africa.
again.
Go black to
Yeah.
Africa. Take your ass back to Asia. Get out of here, fool. I don't like that
Hey,
fool. Anyway,
no. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, no need to
Listen,
disrespect the man, man. He just made a comment. You can disagree with
we're
him.
not
Don't disrespect him.
doing that. We're not doing that. Everybody is welcome on In Search of a Hoover. Let me read his
Go Black.
comment. Black
He's right there.
Black Beauty is a woman. Why are the men arguing against her fears? That's the energy of a female. I agree. That's real female energy. Oh my God, I don't feel safe. Oh, Black Beauty don't feel safe. Yeah,
And I'm gonna tell you, on the island, there's a lot of Black American women living on the island. And I always say, where do they be at? Because I never see them outside. But you know when I see them? When I do my late night runs and my husband take me to go get some late night food, and I'll see them coming out of their car with their driver late at night. They be hiding. I'm not gonna lie. That's how it is. One of my best friends, she's been living there for 5 years, 3 years before I got there. And she's from Jackson, Mississippi. She came out there to play basketball. Beautiful light-skinned girl. She don't be out in these streets. She don't go to no hood spot. She don't like to hang out where I hang out. I hang out in Ishodi. I hang out in Yaba. I hang out in Muji because my husband makes her. But I be honest, but they don't like it. The Black American women, they only go to like 3 clubs. They only go to certain spots. They only hang out with
they are extra.
I mean, they want to.
And people probably warn them to be careful about their surroundings, so they're very cautious.
Dynast, wouldn't you want your wife to feel safe where she lays her head?
But there's my girl in Nigeria is just fine.
Is she from Nigeria?
This is some bougie Western shit. Black Beauty's on right now.
I'm bougie. Hey.
See, she just said she bougie.
Yeah, well,
this is some bougie. Those are the air shit she on right now.
Well, Black Beauty, we're not. Look, we understand safety is paramount.
Most people aspire to be bougie when they can afford it.
Well, hold on. There's nothing wrong with being bougie, but what we're saying is your fears aren't adding up to reality. Like, we're not trying to argue you down, but we're just saying like this is just not true because there's so many people with experiences, and the thing I'm looking at is the white, and people can get on me, the white folks and non-Black people that have gone there. I've gone off of what they said, what I see on the internet and all that. If Nigeria was really on something like that, the first people that would be saying it, spamming it all over the internet, would be white people saying, don't go to Nigeria, worst place in the world. But there's white women literally there's white women biking across Africa on their own.
Why is everything determined on the Beckys? I don't give a damn. I'm gonna give you examples.
So if security, okay.
From last year, let me give you one example from last year. I was waiting for my husband to come back from the mainland to pick me up from the gym, and you know what happened to him? His car stalled on the 3rd mainland bridge, and the boys came and fought him. They tried to beat his ass. He got them niggas.
That happened in Atlanta too. It happens in Atlanta.
It brought 11 o'clock in the morning.
It happens in Atlanta. What are you talking about? It happens in Atlanta. It happens everywhere.
Okay. It happened in New York too, but we try our best. I don't know.
I'm just saying, Black Beauty. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm a security expert by trade, and I will let you know, especially bougie. You can laugh all you want, but bougie white people that I have worked for, they take their security real serious. So if they have those fears that you're reiterating to us, they like bougie people on your stature that are white, they won't even think about. They be like, hey, well, I'm gonna have a dude with a gun right next to wifey. Not even a thought.
AFR, we have to be able to differentiate between white people. Like white people that go to Africa may not necessarily be the hypersensitive Karens. You know what I mean? So they aren't.
I mean, a lot of Europeans have.
Hold on, so let me interject. So you brought up a good point. So are you saying that a lot of the sisters that go to Africa have replaced the hypersensitive Karen?
No, because the estate that's right next to me, the estate that's to the left of my estate is all Lebanese, and they don't fucking play. And they don't go nowhere unless it's Lebanese, and they don't hang out in the hood either. And they're the ones who run a lot of business right in PI. So I'm just saying, just caution is all I'm saying. It doesn't mean I won't come to your house party. It doesn't mean I won't come to your wedding out there, wherever it is on the mainland. I just can't stay past a certain hour. I got to go.
Yeah, man, listen. Guys, hold on, AFR, hold on. Like, literally, these areas, you want to know what goes on at night? Women are out there selling suya and pounded yam and a goosey.
And they ask,
like just
and selling their ass right on Admiralty Way, too.
No, they not. Minding their own business. Trying to make a living. They're not worried about you.
On Admiralty Way. They be
They
selling
not
that ass
selling
every
their
night.
ass. Oh my
On
God.
Sanusi Fafunwa, they be selling their ass on Sanusi Fafunwa every night. They be selling their ass on Amaralty Way
Why are
every
you
night.
bringing up prostitution? Like, we have a
Yeah,
prostitution
no,
problem in the
prostitution
West.
is
Like, most women
everywhere,
are
so
prostitutes
it's
in the
not.
West
Yeah.
now. So I don't know why you're
Well,
bringing up women selling ass.
American First Rifleman? What is wrong with you, bro?
What,
Most women are
I'm just saying,
prostitution now in
she's moving the
America.
goalpost.
Is that what you're
No,
saying?
hold on, hold on.
Is that your
Hold on.
experience?
Listen, hold on. She literally went from they're they're not safe out there to they're out there and they're working, like or Dinah's trying to correct her, like, no, they're out there actually working, trying to earn money, and she's like, yeah, they're selling their ass, and I'm just like, is that like a bad, like, and I'm like there's women selling ass down like a couple miles from where I'm at. I live in a great neighborhood.
AFR, they even cleaned up Times Square in New York because it's an eyesore to have bitches outside all night. You know it.
Yeah, I understand, but we still got prostitution.
That's a long time ago.
Go ahead, Delroy. Go ahead, Delroy. I'm gonna pass it back to Florence. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Delroy.
we got so far from the subject. We were talking about safety in Lagos and then New York. How we got this far? I don't understand.
Let me pass the floor. Go ahead, Delroy. Let me pass the floor.
Real quick. As far as safety, like I said, I've worked in many cities across the United States. I had to get escorted once in a white area in Louisiana. Escorted. The customer told me to wait at a gas station. She'll come pick me up because if I go any further, I might get hung. Okay, these are my experience, and she had to come and escort me with her shotgun and bring her to her house, and then bring me back to the same gas station so I could drive out out of the town.
What year was this?
You let that lady fearmonger you, bro.
What year was this?
This was about 10 years ago.
And where in Louisiana?
I don't remember the town. It's a small town in Louisiana. Ain't no maybe one or two black people even live in the damn town.
You have, bro. She got your ass up out of there. Is what she did because she doesn't even want to see you. Come on, you gotta be smarter, brother.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, that did also make it sound like a believable story. And you didn't go to the police?
Stop. Go to the police for what?
Well, hold on. Repeat that again, Delroy. Repeat that again, because again, the whole argument is they don't report crime in Nigeria, but for some reason they do in America. Right. And I'm telling you, they don't report crime in America too.
We're talking about as far as safety. Now, first of all, that's what she wanted to do. That was her instruction. I have my gun right on me, so I don't care. You see what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what happened. Right now, and I've worked in New Orleans after Katrina, right? And black people thank me for coming around there because none of the white techs, anybody want to go around there. Even a lot of the black techs want to go in those areas to service those areas.
Yeah, that's because people were getting taken out in that zone. That's why Katrina was a shithole, war zone, especially where the black people were.
And I've worked right here in Atlanta, where there's gunshot around me, and I had to go in my truck, grab my shit, chill for a while, wait till all the shooting stop, and then go back and do my cable. This is so much I'm used to all these things. Right? I've gotten stopped by police all the time. Right? And I'm not saying how it is in Nigeria because I don't know. I've never been to Nigeria and got stopped by a cop. But every time I get stopped by a cop here, I have to wonder, okay, what's going to happen? How do I have to act? Right? And that type of fear. You see what I'm saying? So these are all the things that have to be discussed. Right?
Has a cop ever fleeced you for money in the United States?
Oh, come on, man. Jesus, bro. Who's worrying about money, bro?
No, Elvis is trying to move the goalpost again.
Sometimes I wish that was it. I wish it was they needed a $10 or $20 from me. That'll be easier than a gunshot in my head.
Or $500 fine. I would gladly pay an American police officer $10 so I don't have to pay a fucking parking ticket or speeding ticket.
Okay.
I wish they would do that more.
That's because you're morally corrupt. You rather bribe somebody rather than pay your
I'm
fine.
just honest. I'm just honest.
No, it's because you're corrupt.
So BLM is full of shit, and George Floyd deserves to get killed.
BLM
But
is
now
full of
we're
shit.
okay.
BLM
But
is
now,
full of shit.
but now we're
BLM is
afraid
full of
of
shit.
getting. Now we're afraid of getting shot in the head by police for no reason.
That's just the reality.
Let's don't be hypocrites.
That is the reality.
Nah, the cops ain't out there deleting us like that. I'm sorry, they're not.
And that's
maybe
true.
20 years ago, it'd be more believable, but not 2024. White cops ain't even joining the police force now. Like they used to.
I said cops. They include the black ones too.
Well, yeah. If you fuck around, you gonna find out. I don't know what. Why do we not know this lesson in America?
If they pull up your license and see that you have a criminal history, especially a violent criminal history, they're on more, alert. They're more cautious when they approach you.
And plus, I get pulled over, and I have guns with me all the time. I have never had one situation with a police officer, and I'm talking about rural Podunk, sundown town in the middle of Montana, Idaho, and all these states that is nothing but white folks, and I still have not had my brains blown out.
Yeah, but you don't work all over America. I do.
I've worked
have
in
you
all
ever been
the
accosted by the
whitest
police?
places.
Delroy, have you ever been mistreated by the police in your entire life?
No,
so what's your point? You've never had the experience because probably you never did anything.
Listen, I'm not saying there's not police brutality. Yeah, there's definitely police brutality, but just like a black lady, and I'm using her as an example, how her fears were overblown about her security in Nigeria. Same thing with black people in America. We like to overblow racism.
I'm not overblowing shit, bro.
I didn't say you were. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I'm not saying
you live your whole life in this country, right? Or most of your life. And you've never had a bad.
No, actually,
I've
lived around the world. I lived in different parts of the world.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Dora.
No, I didn't.
Right, Dora?
I didn't see it. I was falsely arrested already.
For what?
I believe it happens.
A fight.
Okay, a fight.
Yeah.
I will say one thing about the Lagos police though, because they did help me get some money back. A girl, she tried to in Ojota, she tried to sell me a fucked up fridge for my Airbnb, and they found her ass. So I will say they do work. If you could get them to do something for you, they will get things done. So I'm not gonna lie, they're sharp individuals if you can get them to do something for you.
That's the same thing in America. Listen, my car got broken in, my laptop got stolen. I'll call the police. And to be clear, my laptop had one of those tracer things where they know exactly where the laptop is at. I call the police. The police, they tell me, oh, we see it, but we got to get a warrant. I'll call back. The officer that was handling my case, he got transferred. The new officer was just like, yeah, whatever. And nothing ever happened. So, I mean, it goes both ways.
That's true.
You think you would have had a better chance in Nigeria had your laptop gotten stolen, Dinas?
God, Elvis, so stupid.
Yeah,
shut up, man. I'm talking to Dinas. Just be quiet.
Elvis.
I'm just asking you a question, Dinas.
You want to know something, Elvis? There was actually in the precinct when I had went one time, there was actually some business person who was able to retrieve some of their cell phones that were stolen. So it could happen because a lot of times they know who takes it. It's like the same set of people all the time. It's different here where it could be some randoms, but like out there, I find that it's like a same ring of youngins that be taking shit. So they actually found their cell phones. I was surprised to hear that. But they work well if you could get them to do something for you. You know, might have to cost you something. But they do work well.
You know, I don't want to say it because everybody's going to say, "Oh, there we go again." But
no, Elvis, go ahead and speak because I realize they're being a little unfair. Every time you speak, it evokes an emotional response. I don't think the panel should be like that. So,
like, and again, it's not for every African country. You know, I come from one of the poorest countries in the world. In Liberia, for example.
But Elvis, it wasn't.
Don't go there, Dynasty. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Let me just make my statement. Let me just make my statement.
But we got to be specific on why is one of the poorest.
Oh God, Dynasty. It's my fault that the coup happened, right? It was my fault that the coup happened. The point here is, and again, I'm sure it happens in other parts of Africa. Maybe less so in a state or a city like Lagos where they have a little more resource. But if you go to the police station, in most cases, They want you to buy paper to file a report. They want you to put fuel in the generator so that they can do their work. So just going to the police station, you actually have to pay money to get things done on your behalf. In this country, yeah, sure. In certain neighborhoods, cops may not respond as fast. They kind of, may lollygag on your case if it's not a violent crime, so to speak. But you don't have to pay them anything. And if they're doing any work for you, it's because you pay taxes. And taxpayer money usually pay the police to come to your rescue.
My
and help you in
taxes
certain
pay for
cases.
people's
But in most
pensions.
African
That's what my
countries,
tax
sometimes
money
you have
goes
to pay
to.
the police to do their job.
Okay.
Elvis, do you know about the drug ring that the police was running in Brooklyn in the 80s? Do you know about that?
I know there's a lot of crooked and corrupt cops. Yeah,
They
everywhere.
find police drug rings every couple of years all over America.
But
I got another one for you. The Rampart Division in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, but Elvis, do you talk about police corruption? Do you know about? Did you ever heard about that? This was big. This was FBI, CIA shit. Do you know anything about it?
Look, like I said, there's police corruption here, where they're selling drugs, they're shaking down people, but that's not the norm in this country.
No, not shaking down, bro. This wasn't shaking down. This was hitman drug, high profile shit. They have assassins now right in Brooklyn that are Russian police and Italian police that are trained assassins. Do you know anything about them?
I would do one
Makes
dynast
sense.
for you. How do you know this? How do you know they're Russian trained assassins? What proof do you have?
Okay, hold on. Hey, Elvis, let me. Hey, Delray, let me have this. Let me have this.
Hold on, right from there, it's a conversation
I'm
between
answer this.
Delroy
Hold
and
on.
myself.
Hey, Delroy, let me.
First of all, I spent about 35 years in Brooklyn, right? I know some of them goddamn mobs.
Thank you.
I met some of those
Thank
mobs.
you.
Now I am telling you, they got police hitmen that's hired by the mob, by the Italian mob. I went to school in all those areas over there in Lafayette High School over in the Coney Island area. Is run right now today as we speak by police gangs. Okay, and they are big into politics and everything. Right? These are the type of corrupt. The little $20, $10, $3 that you have to give to Nigerian police or any police in Africa when they stop you. That ain't nothing. We're talking about hardcore criminals.
And Delroy, what do they want with you though? You can't get assassinated.
Well, hold on. Before you talk over me, I did want to add to what Delroy was saying because he's 1,000% correct, and here's why. And I'll add some caveats to that. Number one, and I grew up around this in the early early 90s. Because of the fall of the Soviet Union, they got an influx of a lot of people from Eastern Europe, directly from Russia and places like that. And at that time, the Italian mob was on a decline because they were getting hit by the feds and all that stuff. So they were on a decline, and the Russians just moved in because they didn't give a F about the law and all this other stuff. They came from a whole different school of existence. So they were way more bloodthirsty. They were throwing Italians off of overpass. I could tell you right now a story where they came to the black drug dealers, and I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey. The Russians went to the spot, said, "You work for Ivan now. Don't worry about Tony. If you don't do what we say, we're going to come back and kill you." Correct. And about 3/4 of the niggas complied because they were not stupid. And the other 25% that was loyal or not smart got thrown off of overpasses, killed. Yep. And I was walking to school one day and I saw some nigga eyeball on the ground, courtesy of Moscow. And also on top of that, there's been conflicts from Georgia to Syria to, that Russia's been involved in. And also Italians, obviously, they've been in the U.S. military fighting the global war on terror. And so they have these connectivity, or they have the spheres of influence where they have, an Italian second, third, whatever generation or Russian that was in the military or immigrated from the school of hard knocks and became a cop or went into the military and have these skills, and they put them to use for their people. Like, I don't know how y'all don't know this.
AFR, these are great. These are great anecdotal stories, but
they're not anecdotal.
Assassins commit assassinations, and an assassination is the murder of a public figure. Most of us here,
I got you, Robert. I got you, dog.
Most of us here aren't public figures, bro.
We're talking about police corruption.
You're moving the goalpost. No, y'all are moving the goalpost.
Here we go. And you have to live the experience. You know what I'm saying? You have to experience it. Okay? And I've experienced it. Okay, I've seen it. Even the in the 80s when they had the shower posse, the Jamaican shower posse, right? And them boys was bad as hell. Some of them was my friends. You see what I'm saying? They couldn't act with the Russians. Them they got a little bit even with the Italian mafia, but the Russian mob, and they deliberately put these people to become police. Okay, this was deliberate, right? And them boys don't play. We're talking about corruption here. And
they want Delroy.
Construction and everything. Don't tell me I don't know, man.
Delroy, stop, Robert, stop being like that. Delroy was not talking about people assassinating him. So stop it.
Talking about that. Who's talking about that?
Robert's just trying to be a douche.
Who's talking about people assassinating?
Here we go. Y'all were talking about assassins, bro.
Yeah, but I'm talking about corruption. We're talking about corruption. That's why I had to throw in. Do they really know what type of corruption police are in over? They ain't in to know. Give me $10. Let me buy some gasoline or whatever.
Exactly.
That's maybe Girl Scout shit.
And we're just trying to give examples to our people so they understand what's going on around us. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? You want some like trying to dismiss what we saying. Like, that's weird.
I just think the goalpost was moved.
Let me read this real quick. Prevalence of white supremacy in law enforcement demands drastic change. So again, Alvis, just this idea that American police force, the department is just so great, and Nigeria is so corrupt. I mean, and this is just well documented. Well, Elvis is on, but here we go. So yeah.
Delroy, one second, Delroy. You said when I asked you the question if you had any bad experience with police, you said you had one that you've been, wrongly arrested. So all of these things that you're giving, these are not things that happen to you, right? So if you witness a crime, why didn't you tell, that these guys were corrupt? Why didn't you report it?
Report it. What talking about report? Who was corrupt? What are you talking about? You
said these Russians cop, that was corrupt. They were assassins. They were brutalizing people, and you didn't report it.
You see, report the mob, bro. Where do you live? Are you crazy?
You're talking about cops. You said they're in the police force, right?
We live in a country of law and order.
Report it to who? Report it to who?
The police.
So the mob is more powerful.
Oh, so the Russian mobster, that's the police officer. He's supposed to report them.
You're saying report the police to the police? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, police pull other police over all the time.
You don't trust the police at all.
The world. You crazy?
Hey, Delroy, let's drop the conversation because it's
Are you stupid or something?
Bro, yeah, let's just drop the conversation with them because they're trying to draw us out into something that's we're not trying to say.
Police pull other police over. You can report the police to the police.
Man, where do you live? What are you talking about?
I live in America. I live
in
Florida.
America maybe if you're living in Jamaica, you won't do that. You live in Africa, you won't do that.
We live in America
you can do that.
Get your throat cut. Are you crazy? Report what?
You get your throat cut for reporting a police officer who's been saying that's corrupt.
Okay.
How do you think most of these corrupt police officers are caught?
You can report that. Bro, stop.
Okay, can I just say this one last thing? And I think we should put the conversation down and just move on from the whole police corruption thing. One thing I will say is that as of right now, and I'm generally pro law and order, and so therefore I'm okay with the police existing, but I cannot look over the fact that as of right now, they have documented gangs in police departments in especially California that they know about, even though they say they're not supposed to exist. So so when you guys say this, that like we have a better standard of police and better service, yeah, we can say that marginally better, but at the same time, we are still at the behest of, or we're still in danger of the same corruption that plagues Nigeria, just at different levels. I don't know why y'all are trying to conflate and talk. Delroy, am I talking crazy right now, or?
Delroy said that $10 is nothing. In Nigeria, $10 could be a person's whole day's pay. So when a police officer asks for $10 US in Nigeria, it's a lot of money.
Well, I'll glad give him the $10, bro, so I could go on my way.
Yeah,
most of the time you don't have it in Nigeria. You don't have it.
So Lagos is safer than New York City. So Elvis, so you're sticking by that New York City is safer than Lagos?
Well, like I say, I don't have the statistics. Jonathan came here and
go off your gut, buddy.
Let me respond, please.
Go off your gut.
Let me respond.
Go off your gut.
Okay, now you're just being a clown. My
Well,
point
you
is,
said you don't have the stats. Okay, so you can't go off of stats.
no,
since you don't
and
know
that's what
them.
I'm saying. Jonathan came and posted a stat. I know he's been on, but he's not talking. So I would have liked him to buttress that stat, where he got it from, if it's a reputable source, and then he and Dynast can juxtapose the statistics that they're posting out. My point here is, I'm an African. I live in Africa. I was born there. I have family members there. I know what we deal with on a regular basis. I don't know about Nigeria. I've never been there. I don't know people from Nigeria. So usually when I speak about Africa, I try to go to where I know and where I've experienced.
I don't know. I don't hear about shootouts at the railway station in Nigeria.
Well, you hear about kidnappings. You hear about people whole family getting murdered. You hear about people, being gang raped.
In America.
It happens in America.
A nigga just deleted his whole family yesterday.
You're saying it like, Africa is immune from heinous crime.
Nobody said that. Nobody ever.
You're saying you don't see shootouts, but I'm telling you, a lot of people die from gunshots in Nigeria.
You can ignore the part about shootouts. I got
they don't have the same level of
Jonathan, I wanted you to come on because I want you to buttress that.
Students getting shot up at university campuses.
Right.
You ever hear about that?
Look, if we're just going by gut feeling,
there was a shootout about it last year at Morehouse and Spelman. What are you talking about?
Thank God you went to last year. I'm talking about this month. Do y'all hear about it?
Hear about what?
If there's a shooting at a university in Lagos or anywhere in Nigeria, Benin City, do you hear about it?
Of course not. It doesn't get us reported. Like America.
That's because they'll be on social media if there were shootouts. If there were shootouts at Lagos University,
Nigeria, if you have a lot of friends that's in Nigeria, not only do you get to see the body of the person that got shot because Facebook doesn't block it. In Nigeria, they don't. In America, they block everything. That's the difference. Y'all got a really sheltered ass opinion. Do you hear about the churches? People walking inside churches and just shooting up people all the time. Do you hear about it?
Yeah, I heard about that happening in Oshun. I think it was Oshun State where these Islamic terrorists went to church.
And guess what? There are about 2 churches in the last week that got shot up in America.
Bro, you talking about Islamic terror?
Jonathan.
But that's also a sense of insecurity. I mean, what are you saying? Are you saying you shouldn't consider it? There's a sense of insecurity as well.
Oh, stop.
Have any of y'all ever traveled throughout Lagos State or in Nigeria at nighttime on the roads?
Okay, Jonathan, let me
Have you ever drove? Have you ever done it before?
I have.
Jonathan,
on the road, Jonathan, how many times have you done it? How many times do you ever get into a situation in which the cars are literally just stopped up, hundreds of cars, and people over there like, we can't go no further, there's robbers on the road.
Every time I'm in Nigeria, I'm traveling throughout Lagos at night. Every time.
Brian is trying to get it. I want to hear what he has to say. Maybe he disagree with you, Dynast.
I just put the link.
No, Brandon is gonna agree. But I think he's gonna agree because he tends to be truthful. If I'm just going by gut feeling, since we don't have real hardcore sources that we can go off of, I think Lagos may be safer than New York City, just plainly because the poverty rate is lower than New York City's poverty rate. That's all I can really go off of right
What?
now.
The poorest,
I
the
looked it
poorest
up,
person.
brother.
No. What I'm saying, like for example, so if you make
There's no shanty
$24,000,
towns in America.
Let me.
Right.
Can I explain why criminality is a little bit reduced in Lagos? Is that there's this barbaric act by Nigerian citizens. When you are caught stealing, there's what we call jungle justice. People will perform jungle justice on you. You will be killed and burned alive. So that puts fear upon people. So they don't want to, they know when you are caught, you'll be. They don't wait for the police at all. They deal with you immediately.
I vouch for that. It's never reported to the police, and you can still see it on social media.
See, you know what they do? They take up the criminal, and the police will come and pick the body.
All right, let me pass it to Brandon. Let me pass it to Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon. Unmute yourself, Brandon. Unmute yourself, Brandon.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I would have to say I'm unmuted.
We're hearing you. Go ahead, Brandon.
The delay.
Yeah, Brandon on his Obama phone.
Is he in Kenya?
I don't know, but he's on his Obama phone. Brandon, you gotta call back in. You're on your Obama phone, Brandon. Yeah, he just dropped off.
But Jonathan, what is that stat? Because I think what you posted was interesting. It debunks Dynast theory that Lagos is safer.
It did not.
Where you get the
I
stats
got
from?
the facts directly from Lagos.
Jonathan, where you get your stats from? Jonathan, be quiet.
Posted it in the chat.
It's this versus link. That's not the states. That's not what the stats from Lagos say.
Now, the interesting point is the thing that you were showing earlier when it was said only 100 and some people got robbed and got killed in Lagos. If you actually go to the Nigerian government website, it debunks that thing that you showed.
Right.
No, it was recorded by a local news outlet in Nigeria. And they have been in business for 30 years. I don't think they will be reporting fake news.
Jonathan, can you post the Nigerian government link?
Brandon's back.
Hold on, come on, Brandon.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Obama playing around with the phone service. I honestly, I would have to say, I think that there's really no. I think it's a false equivalency. Like, there's really no way, in my opinion, I would say that Lagos has to be safer than New York, because at least in Lagos, criminals know that there will be consequences for their crimes. At this point, New York is a wasteland. They're just letting people out. Like, you got people catching cases while they're out on no bail on other cases, robberies, attempted murders, and all that type of stuff. So I would think, as far as lawlessness being condoned, I think right now you have a greater chance of something real heinous being done to you in New York City than Lagos, Nigeria. But also, on the other hand, I know in Africa, there's no real 911 system or nothing like that. So how many crimes are actually being reported, right? There's probably stuff happening that's not being reported. People probably getting stabbed, killed, whatever. And I don't think Nigerian police are doing, paperwork, really writing down, occurrences. But as far as Lagos in New York, Lagos has to be safer, because New York right now, that's just a land of lawlessness. The criminals know that they will not be brought to justice in any real way for the crimes they're committing. So you could thank AG Letitia James for that.
I know it was going to be a political angle to it.
There's always a political angle to this stuff because that's what's causing the situation. When criminals don't believe there will be any consequences for their crime, it emboldens them. So, like the kid who fought the cops on the subway, that kid was fighting those cops while he was out on bail for a string of robberies.
Yeah, Brandon is right. Trump mentioned some Asian country, I think China, that literally has no drug problem because it's a death penalty.
Singapore.
That's Indonesia and Singapore.
Indonesia and Singapore.
Yeah. So
they should kill people for smoking marijuana, huh? They should hang you.
Bro, don't move the goal. Come on,
Elvis. They should hang you for being a.
I don't smoke.
No, for being intellectually dishonest, bro. Like you just say anything to try to be a contrarian, bro. You know.
No, you said they're killing people for drugs. So I'm saying in the United States, should we adopt that? That's what you're saying, Brandon?
You have no kids. You have no people who the reality is you're a liberal, so you don't give a damn about nobody else except for you. So when you see how drugs destroy people's lives, when you got people, you're losing people to fentanyl and stuff, people's kids who don't even know any better are getting hooked on that stuff and dying from that stuff, overdosing on that stuff. You will understand why somebody will want the death penalty for a drug dealer, the death penalty for someone who's bringing drugs into the country. You're just selfish, Elvis, at the end of the day.
Elvis,
I want to ask you to get your point. You're saying there should be a death penalty for drug dealers?
No, Elvis.
For drug dealers and Liberians.
Yes.
Automatic death penalty. Drug dealers and Liberians. Send them straight to death row.
That's Brandon's opinion. I was just using an example as to why politics does play a role in the crime rate. That's all I was doing. I wasn't saying everyone should die for everything.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I knew he was going to come at it with a political angle.
If you bring drugs in that have the potential to give somebody an overdose where they die, you deserve to be convicted of attempted murder because know.
But what about personal responsibility, Brandon? Republicans, they cry about personal responsibility. I've never taken a drug in my life. Nobody is pushing down my throat. If I took $20 and I went to look for a drug dealer, that's my choice.
Nobody's
coming to sell me drugs. I have to go look for them to buy it.
You'll argue personal responsibility for a little kid, a young kid who gets hooked on drugs, but then you'll make every excuse for why your country is a crap hole. Okay, so you're gonna have to pick a side, bro. Why can't adults in Liberia? I'm talking. Why can't adults in Liberia acknowledge personal responsibility instead of blaming the U.S. for all of their problems? I'm talking about somebody.
You are not acknowledging personal responsibility. You're blaming the drug dealers rather than those who are seeking the drugs.
Responsibility is something that adults have an obligation to exercise. You got kids, 17, 16 years old. I would go as far as
the vast majority of drug users in this country are adolescents.
Yes, and guess I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But what I'm telling you is people who put people's lives at risk, like people selling fentanyl and stuff like, bro, you don't even have to use fentanyl to die from it. All you gotta do is come in contact with it. So personal responsibility means that the drug dealer should get the death penalty, and then the person who's using drugs, they're already getting the penalty because they're damn near going to kill themselves. Do I think weed should be illegal? No. But the other hard drugs, yeah, that stuff needs to be made illegal. There's no benefit to any society allowing it.
Brandon, you finally said something I agree with. I'm surprised.
Well, there's no use for drugs, man. When Elvis's daughter is turning tricks, trying to get a hit, he'll understand.
You're closer to that situation than I am, brother.
No. That's the point. Can I say something real quick? Wait, hold on, AFR. That's the point, Elvis. You only speak based on your own.
Are you afraid that your daughter's going to start turning trick and get hooked on drugs? Are you afraid of that?
I'm afraid for your daughter because you're not afraid for her.
No, I don't have a daughter, number one. And number two, if you're a good parent, you never have to worry about that.
So you should
because that's what personal responsibility comes into play. If you're a good parent, you're going to raise your child in a way that they will never have to go on drugs.
You only talk about personal responsibility when you're trying to get me with a gotcha moment, and it's not going to work.
Because that's your political talking.
Nobody should be bringing drugs into this country, period, because drugs don't have any benefit to anybody. And someone, if they try a drug, Addiction is a real thing.
Nobody is saying
Elvis.
that drug has benefit. I'm not a
Listen,
drug user. There's nobody in my family who's a drug user. So this whole
addiction,
point that you're making, that like I'm in favor of drug use, I'm not.
Addiction cannot be summed up to personal responsibility. You're addicted to it. That
Actually,
means
it can. Brandon, what are you talking about?
How
It's a
so?
medical condition.
You're
sir.
not. You're not a crackhead because you are responsible enough not to go do crack. It's a personal responsibility that you took upon yourself. So what are you saying?
No, because I know people who have gotten drugs by that being laced into stuff. There's people who have.
Yeah, that's because they know what they're doing. If you're taking a puff of weed, if you're smoking a blunt,
People
it may
put
be laced
crack-
with something. You're already doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Oh, so now you're saying you shouldn't
It's
be
a
doing
personal
it.
choice.
So you just
It's a
argue
personal
against your-
choice.
Listen, weed has medicinal purposes, medicinal uses. If someone laces your blunt with crack, that's not your fault. You didn't know what was in it, bro. So many people have gotten addicted.
That's why
by
then
that.
you buy your own weed. You know where you got it from. You know it's safe, and then you
Oh
smoke
Lord Jesus!
You smoke it. That's a
there's
personal
people-
choice. You don't
there
just
are
go see a
people
guy
who will
smoking
spray-
weed and say, "Let me
there
hit
are
that, bro.
people who
Let me
will
hit that, bro."
spray
That's
weed.
a personal choice that you make.
There are people who will spray weed with other drugs just to make it more potent, and people get addicted to it, bro. You don't know what you're talking about, Elvis, as usual.
But Brandon,
Can I interject real quick? Well, I want to interject really quickly. This just a caveat to Elvis's selfishness is like he doesn't realize just in my local area alone, I think 10 to 12 infants have died just from fentanyl exposure, and not crackhead parents, mind you, them going to other places like an Airbnb or something, and their kid crawling on the floor and getting exposed and dying. Okay, this is what you're all about, Elvis. And also the last thing, Singapore and Indonesia
be
is nice because
simplistic.
they don't play around. Because
Don't be a
listen,
simpleton.
okay,
I've never been around fentanyl in my entire life. I've never been around it.
Okay, but listen,
and I'll probably never be around it. It's a personal choice that I make. The life that I lead will never allow me to be around fentanyl.
Elvis,
So
Brandon exposed you
don't say
because
that.
you need to be fearful for your family and your future children because of your logic. Your kid is going to go in a third party place and get exposed to something that Paco left them. That he
No
should
one
have
is
been in the country.
reproducing with this dude, bro. Let's be honest, bro.
So you just don't get it. You just don't understand. You know, he didn't even get offended or your daughter turning tricks. He's literally telling you the choices you make are literally leading
personal
to
responsibility. That's the key point that I was making.
Invading
Your
our country,
personal choice
people
decides
invading
whether or
our
not you
country,
become a drug user
people
or a drug
invading our
addict.
country,
Nobody
and
come and infuse
exploiting
drugs
our
into your
children.
body and make you a drug addict except yourself.
Oh boy,
That's the
okay,
point that I'm
whatever.
making.
I'm done.
It's a personal choice.
Next.
And now you guys know why Liberia is a shithole, because this is how people like the people
Say
from
what you
Liberia
want to
think.
say. Stay on topic, Brandon.
Your
It's a
kids,
personal choice. A
kids
person
are
don't become a drug addict by accident.
innocent. No, kids are innocent in this, bro. Dude,
Well,
listen.
yes, kids are innocent, of course,
Before
but
you got
most
to this
drug
country,
addicts are not
Elvis,
kids. Most drug addicts are not kids; they're adults.
Bro, drug addicts go to jail for using drugs, bro. I'm talking about the dealers. And listen, there's a drug addict to jail for life. I wouldn't care. Let's get the entire element removed from our communities. America would be better off because the drug addicts wouldn't be able to expose their kids to it. Because I honestly believe that people quit drugs when they decide to quit, right? I'm talking about the kids.
Personal responsibility.
I can't talk about what an adult chooses to do. My aunt is a drug addict. Lock her ass up for life as far as I'm concerned, because all she's going to do is damage her kids as they try to grow up and rationalize or make sense of their mom being an addict. Get the dealers and the users off the street for good, like Dr. Umar Johnson said.
Well, Brandon,
was it your auntie's personal choice to become a drug addict, or did somebody force her down?
Was a crackhead for 20 years.
Exactly.
Hold on. My mom was a crackhead for 20 years, and I was so for locking them up because you know why? She made my life so much harder, me trying to be an honest person. So I am all for locking these people up. She snapped out of it. Now she works at Home Depot somewhere at a minimum wage job in a subsidized apartment. Congratulations. But you know, guess what? I would have much rather
damage was done. How much damage was
already done. Yeah.
Right. So get the drug dealers and the users out because they probably both basing, as Brother Ali said in his song. But It doesn't matter. Drugs needs to be an element that's removed from American society. Weed is cool. That has a medicinal use. We understand that. But there's no need for heroin. There's no need for crack cocaine. There's no need for regular, powder cocaine. It's just it's just that people who are in high positions are benefiting from it. That's why it's allowed to seep into the country. That's it.
But Brandon, you forgot about, it's not only cocaine and those other drugs. What about the drugs that's prescribed to you? Those also.
Well, they have a use. They have a reason why they have it.
No,
they have a reason why they have it. Tell me what prescribed drug. Tell me what prescribed drug needs to be outlawed.
I'm agreeing with you. That I forgot the name of the drug, but this thing have the small towns strung out on it. I forgot the name of the damn drug, but they have
no. Listen, when drugs are prescribed, right? There's a paper trail. You can find the doctors who overprescribe drugs, and you can hold them accountable. Like, I'll give you an example. I messed up my elbow one time. It wasn't structurally messed up, but for some reason, the pus sacs in my elbow. I got bursitis in my elbow real bad. My doctor, he loves to prescribe medicine. So the guy gave me a 90-day supply of like oxycodone, right? When I went to the freaking pharmacy to fill that prescription, the pharmacist was like, what the hell is this guy giving you 90 days worth of this for? Like, he's like, I'm going to be honest with you. It looks like you're trying to sell this on the street. Now, my doctor made one phone call and got that guy and set that guy straight, because he was like, they're racially profiling you, because if you were white, they would have just handed it over. But at the same time, I'm a person who can get a 90-day supply oxycodone and never take it, because I never took it, right? But I did have somebody in my family who didn't have health insurance, and they had a really bad accident where they messed up their knee and they needed pain pills, and I gave them like 8 of the pain pills, right? Which is illegal. So if you want to call it in and get me arrested, that's fine.
Okay, Brandon, let me get 30 seconds.
But wait, Elvis, wait a minute. Elvis, listen, what I need you to stop doing is trying to interrupt valid points with your nonsensical argument. But what I'm saying is this.
So this is a conversation. I thought you was done talking. So
my doctor has a medical license. So if he's doing something that goes against the Hippocratic oath that he took, now he can be tracked. So it's not so bad about medical drugs, like prescribed drugs, because I know people who are in real pain and can't even get.
And that's why I want to rebut your point, Brandon. Let me come in here quickly. You look at Purdue Pharmaceuticals, the Sackler family. They've been sued to the teeth, and they've been liable for billions of dollars for oxycodone, because they knew it was addictive, even though it had some medicinal benefit, but they knew it was highly addictive, and they still put it on the market. And they've been sued. They're almost going bankrupt. The point here is, these pharmaceutical companies know what they're doing, and they've killed a lot more Americans, even rivaling that of illegal drugs. And the point I was trying to make, hold on, let me finish my point.
Your point is
Let me finish my point. Look,
your point is nonsensical. Sugar is addictive. Sugar is more addictive than any drug, but you can't sue CNH.
1 second, Brandon.
You can't sue CNH because you misuse sugar.
I went to the hospital for a backache. They tried to give me Vicodin or whatever it's called.
Bro, you stop getting your back blown out by them dudes.
Because I refuse to even. I'm definitely afraid of getting hooked into any drug. I'm definitely afraid of getting hooked into any drug. So I don't even take drugs that I know can be addictive. Vicodin and all of those hard painkillers. I refused it. So just how you right. So I'm not in favor of people getting addicted to drugs. I made a personal choice to stay away from drugs.
If you were in enough pain, you would take Vicodin.
I had a sciatica in my back.
Sciatica is nothing, bro. Sciatica is nothing.
It's painful. You're
weak. You're weak. If you complain about sciatica, you can go on YouTube and get stretches that will.
Whatever you had in your elbow is nothing.
Listen,
you're weak.
You're just ignorant. You could go on YouTube.
No, you're weak. You should have
minutes.
went to the hospital for that pain that you had in your elbow. You're weak.
I had sciatica. I looked on YouTube 5 minutes. I found a stretch that totally relieved my sciatica. You're just
good for you, Brandon. You're very strong. Yeah, good for you, Brandon.
I know.
You're very strong. You're the strongest black man I know.
That's true. That's true.
They got pain that you have to take drugs, bro. There's no way around it. They have that.
No, Brandon's saying we're weak.
If you get shot up, if you get a real injury, you will need those oxycodone, bro. That's for use. the point is, these medicines can be traced. There's a paper trail. There's doctors prescribing them who can be held accountable. Drugs, street drugs, there's no party that can be held accountable once someone gets killed from overdosing on fentanyl. No, Elvis, we know you want to make America look like your crap whole country, but it's not going to happen as long as
You
black
say
and
you're
Nigeria are
against
around.
FBA, but you're doing the same thing, Brandon.
No.
You're using the same talking points.
This is a
You're
fact.
using that same talking points. Look,
Hold on,
let me tell you something.
Me interject. Hold on, Brandon. Let me interject real quick, Brandon. But Elvis, you have nothing positive to say about Liberia. Nothing at all.
That's not even true, Dennis. You don't. That's because you don't even know me. I'm on a weekly. I'm on a platform.
Elvis, you never came on here and said anything positive about Liberia.
Dynast. If you go to Kenya, wait, let me tell you. Listen. I call his country. Somebody needs to mute up because you got background noise. I call his country a crap hole based on comparing it to other African countries. If you go to Kenya, you can get any prescription drug across the counter with no prescription. You could get Viagra, whatever. Just walk in. I want this. They give it to you. Give them money. You do not see the drug abuse and the ridiculous situation in Kenya that you see in Liberia. So what does that mean? Liberia is just a crap hole and Kenya is just a better country. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just telling you the truth.
No. That's what you're trying to do, but you don't, because I agree with you. There you go. I agree with you, Brandon. You're right.
So why are you getting offended?
I'm not getting offended. Have I ever been offended? No, I never did. I
if
never did.
Liberians weren't so damn double-minded, that's how I know you guys are related to regular Negroes in America. Just the double-mindedness is just it'll drive you insane.
I'm not. Look, I can say the truth even if it's embarrassing. I can say it. I'm not somebody.
Let me pass it to Trey. Let me pass it. Go, Trey. Let me unmute you, Trey. Go ahead, Trey. Unmute yourself.
Appreciate it. Thanks. I get one point I was going to throw out is if you notice how they treated during the opioid crisis versus how they treated the crack epidemic.
Hey Trey, you got a lot of background noise.
Boys, you at the airport or what?
Oh shoot!
You got
Can
a
you
lot
hear
of
me?
background noise.
Is this any better?
Go ahead. We'll work through it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's better.
Go ahead. Oh, cool. I was saying, I think we need to keep in mind how they treated the opioid epidemic versus how they treated the crack epidemic, and make sure that, because when they treat them, like they get them the treatment that they need. As soon as like they created the opioid epidemic came up, they gave them the Norcan or whatever that is to help revive them. So they treated them way more humanely, and I think that we can adopt that behavior as far as the drug dealers and the people that are putting fentanyl and like killing people wholesale. Like even if you go to Michael Jackson with the Propofol and then the Matt Miller, like they held the drug dealers more accountable. I think you need to handle the source more than you handle the people who are strung out on these streets, and I think that's okay. And like you said with marijuana, there are benefits to that shit. There's benefits to that we can keep in mind, and we can, there is a distinction between those two things. But the bigger thing is sometimes I don't have any problems with Africans, but when we're having discussions about Africans and FBAs are the ones that are accommodating. And because if I were to go to Liberia, I would like sit back and let them, however they do things, it's kind of like I wouldn't like try to push. So it's just kind of like when we have foreigners come here and then try to dictate the way things should be, it's just very disrespectful.
Oh God! Where's my violin? Where's my violin? Let me get my violin. Oh God!
So we should just
where's
be
my
disrespected.
violin? Oh
yes, you should be. Listen, Trey.
Fentanyl is a way different drug than crack, bro.
Wait a minute.
A crackhead will clean your house at 100 miles an hour, sounding better than Mariah Carey.
But look,
fentanyl is killing people.
Okay, let me back it up.
And make you some biscuits.
Crack get treated better. Look at
Trey, the reason why that is because when white people get busted for crack use, they usually get busted with some crack dealers or white people. Well, no, listen, you're wrong, bro. Because black people were getting freaking whatever it's called, Prop 48 or whatever that stuff was, where all they had to do was say I'm a user, and they got sent to rehab instead of jail. The problem was
we saw Biden on a Congress floor saying, with this little bit of crack, you'll get 20 years, and then they did the 3 strike laws too.
Yeah, and black people and Trey, guess who begged Biden to write that legislation?
The
Black
Congressional
people
Black
did.
Caucus, the old
No,
black people.
no.
It
The
was the
black,
old ones.
the
The
black
black church.
residents. Listen, the black residents and representatives of neighborhoods where people were prisoners in their own home and could not even go out the house. You saw the movie Paid in Full.
Look, that's the
You
old
saw
ones
the
though.
movie.
That's what I'm saying. I
You saw.
hold them accountable. Those are the
Listen,
old
you saw the
generation.
movie.
That's
You
what
saw.
Brandon wants. He
You
wants them
saw
to
the.
be tough on crime, and they were.
Yes.
You're
I
right.
have
So
no
you
problem
agree
with
with
the
it. Say it.
94 crime
Don't
bill.
bury that. Yeah, you agree with it.
Wasn't right.
Listen, my dad is a victim of the 94 crime bill. That dude got 25 years to life in prison for one of his crimes was violent, but he got struck out on the 3 strikes law, right? Over something very minor as his third strike. Do I think he deserved to be in jail? Hell yeah, keep his ass in. Actually, he's
But
gonna
that
get
only
out.
applies to black people though.
He's
That's
gonna
what
get
I don't
out in
like
6.
about the old generation,
Listen,
man. You allow us to be brutalized and treated unfairly,
I
and you
don't
think
allow
it's
you to
okay.
be. I don't allow you to be
They don't treat
anything.
white people like that. They only treat black people
I
like
ain't
that, and
worried
you think
about
that's
white
okay.
people.
No,
If
I
I
want us to be
listen,
treated
listen,
fairly.
let me
Trey,
tell
you do
you
a lot of
something.
crime, brother. I saw you on
Trey,
another show. You were doing a lot of complaining.
Trey, let me ask you a question. Trey, let me ask you a question. Are you safer around 10 black crackheads or 10 white crackheads? 10 white crackheads and 10 white drug dealers, or 10 black crackheads and 10 black drug dealers? Where are you safer?
That doesn't matter, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
you
does.
No,
feel
I'm
like
guessing Brandon's going to say you're safer around the white people, right?
I think it's the same. It's the
I'm gonna
same
ask Dynas
regardless.
because Dynas is the only person who could be honest here. Dynas,
Go ahead.
are you safer around 10 white drug addicts and hey Trey, can you mute? You know you got a lot of
Yeah, Trey,
background noise, bro.
You got a lot going on in the background, Trey. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this dude. Listen, are you safer, Dynas, around 10 white drug dealers and 10 white crackheads, or 10 black drug dealers and 10 black crackheads?
I can't answer that question. I'm not trying to be around any
I'm
black
just
person.
saying. Let's
Man,
be honest. Let's be
can't answer
honest.
that question. Brandon,
White people sell. Listen, white people sell drugs in the trailer park just like black people sell drugs in the hood. The trailer parks of America are not getting shot up. The trailer parks in America are not crime infested. If you go to any trailer park in America with white people, you are not going to see crack whores standing out in front of the trailer park.
So what do you account for that, Brandon? That black people is inherently more violent? Is that what you're saying?
Black people, listen, this is what I want you to pay close attention to this with those Liberian ears and that Liberian brain. Black people who know better are more listen, black people who know better, who are responsible, are more tolerant and permissive of degenerate behavior than white people who know better. That's the difference. It's not even the people doing the crime. It's the people who are victims of the crime, tolerance for being the victims of criminal activity. White people, it doesn't matter how poor they are. There's a point where they draw a line in the sand. They will call the police on their own people if they are making their neighborhood unlivable.
Everybody listening, this is the smart man.
Listen,
this is the man who thinks he's smart. Saying stupid shit like this.
Black people will sit up and know there is a criminal element in their community, killing people and selling drugs. If you mention the name of the criminal
It's all
element,
that stupidity and fat and fast food that went to your fat head, Brandon.
if you mention the name
Your
of the
brain is
criminal,
swollen.
if you mention the name of the criminal element in the black community, they be like, "Hey, that's the homie. I went to school with him." Dynas, am I lying? Am I lying, Dynas?
Brad, it's the no snitch rule. It's a no snitch rule.
No snitching, baby. That's the homie. Free my N-word fast. Free my N-word
this
fast.
guy is dragging the
Your
conversation totally
Your
off course.
N-word got 10 bodies, and they all look like him in a 2-block radius. And you talking about that's the homie and free my N-word fast. You don't see that in the white community.
Brandon,
he's right, Elvis. There's a. Go ahead, Delroy.
Brandon, I disagree with you.
Elvis, I don't care.
This is not Elvis, it's Delroy. You got smoke for me, Brandon.
Free my N-word fast, Dynas. They wear a t-shirt.
Brandon, I got to hold on. Delroy, let me interject. So I'm in Atlanta. You got the YSL case going on. You got folks walking around talking about free YSL, free. I forgot the name of the main rapper. I can't think of his name right now. Free him. You don't see white folks doing that. Brandon got a point.
Bro, you got AKAs.
That's not true. Show me the white
you have white people doing the same thing for Trump.
Thugger, Young Thug, wait, Young Thug, Free Thugger. They talk about Free Thugger.
Show me the white person. I will give you $100. Let's go to the white neighborhood. Show me the white person rolling down the street. Wait a minute. Show me the white person rolling down the street, bumping music made by a white person, talking about, I just killed the ops, got an AK, and smoked 12 people, and I'm gonna kill you if you do this. You don't see that. Now, white people might be listening to black people talking about doing that to other black. Show me one black person in America with white ops that they saying they gonna go kill.
After you get through with your diatribe, can I just say, hey, I'm Dave. I just wanted to say, I've been watching Dynasty pretty much for years.
Dave,
like,
are you the dude? Dave, wait a minute. Are you the
man,
dude?
can you? No, you wait a minute.
Brandon, let Dave talk, man. Let Dave talk.
Is Dave the guy telling me he'll give me a
Dave talk, man. I want to hear Dave talk.
Dude.
I want to hear Dave talk.
I ain't emailing you. I don't even know you. Pause.
I know you.
Say, I love your channel. You know what I mean? It's good to listen.
Dave, don't mute yourself.
Damn, look at God. Got his ass up out of here.
No, Dave, go ahead. Dave, let me mute yourself. Go ahead. I'm trying to listen. Go ahead, Dave. Brandon, chill out. Go ahead, Dave.
Something.
Dave, go ahead. Dave, you there? Dave.
He's changing his mic.
Yeah, it keep going in and out. I got to change this mic. But if it give out, I'm going to drop off. But the topic was the two cities, and I'm kind of looking at it like, well, what's going on in New York now? That subway, man, that's a portal to hell, But everywhere, I just think both cities got their problems. I've never been to Lagos or anything like that. I'm in Chicago, so you know how it is. And y'all were talking about corruption, and I'm looking at it like, man, we got everybody beat on corruption. I mean, from Lagos and New York City, we can do it better than anybody in the world. But I wanted to make this one point. I think that, and I'm glad Kim Folk was saying anything he's saying. The difference is when everybody looks at African Americans and uses those type of diatribes is that you're looking at 100% of the population size. This is not a sample size. All African Americans, Negroes, whatever you want to call them, FBA, we all inside of America. So you get a full distribution bell curve. You get your left tail outliers, you get your right tail outliers, and you got your median. Now, you got 5% of these people from all over the world here in America, and you're comparing your selected 5% sample size against a full population size, and you're comparing apples to oranges. If you want to compare our group to anybody else in the world, you have to include the full population size. And once you do that, I think everybody will look at it differently and be like, you know what, these people ain't doing that bad at all. So I'll mute for a little bit, let you digest that, man.
Most Africans are peaceful. Most Negroes are degenerates.
Okay, you're not in tune with world news with the amount of wars. You couldn't be with the amount of wars and chaos and everything going on in the war. There's no way you could be reading all about war. If you name any group,
can I just
and
say
I'll
this,
tell
bro?
you what's really going on in their country, bro.
Can I tell you? Listen. This is why I'm telling you what I'm saying is right. If you look at why people are killing, somebody got to mute up. Trey, bro. Come on, bro. Listen, if you look at why Nigerians are killing each other in northern Nigeria, right? There's a reason. Religious division. These guys want to steal land. There's a reason. There's like a line you could draw. This guy killed this guy because of this. Go to the black neighborhood. There is literally no explanation for why these dudes are killing each other other
That's a
than
lie.
This is my ops.
And I don't like doing this, so you don't know about cults in Nigeria, do you?
Listen, What I'm telling you is this.
Okay, no, you listen. I'm asking you a question in direct relation to what you're talking about. But
Okay.
it's obvious you haven't done any type of research about any different type of people.
All
Because
you gotta do is
everybody has gangs.
all
Everybody.
you have to do is
Every
look
single
at the
culture.
all you have to do is look at the death rate, bro. Even if you count the deaths at the hand of Nigerian cults, Nigerian Muslim extremists, all that. That pales in comparison to
No,
the
it
deaths
doesn't.
committed.
They had a
No,
whole
it
Yes, it
doesn't,
genocide,
does.
fool.
No,
Yes,
it
it
does not.
does. Okay.
No, it does
How
not.
many
You're
people
saying
died
yes.
last year? All right, all we gotta do is look
You
it up.
can't. Well, you
All
look
we
it
gotta
up.
do is
You
look
the
it
one
up.
using it as your facts, and you haven't even looked it up.
Bruh, if you look
You
at the
see what I'm
facts,
saying? You see how
no,
silly this
what
is?
I want to tell you is if you
You're
look at the
saying it as facts started, and then I'm saying
fam,
it's not, and you're
fam,
saying, well, you look it up, and it's like,
fam.
bro,
No,
but
no,
you're
I said
standing
we
on it
no,
as your fact,
no,
which
no.
means you
I said,
should be having the research
brother,
references for it.
brother. I said all we gotta do is look
No,
it up,
all
bro.
you gotta do, because it's what
Listen,
you
okay,
think.
that's fine, that's fine. But listen to what I'm
Brandon,
telling
you're
you.
wrong.
No,
You're
I'm
wrong.
not wrong. I'm not
Kim
wrong.
You
the
are.
I'm
hater.
gonna
How's Brandon wrong? I agree with
wait,
Brandon.
Dinus,
I agree with Brandon.
Dinus. Let me say this, Dinus. Let me say this. This is why I'm telling you we're especially degenerate. We know we're gonna go to jail for life if we do it.
Who
And
is
we
we?
still do it. The guy in
Exactly. This is
Nigeria,
crazy.
there's a good chance that he'll do it and get away with it if
Have
he's
you
out in the
been to
rural.
Nigeria?
Can you let me finish?
Have
The
you
guy
been
in
to Nigeria?
Nigeria, the guy in northern Nigeria knows if he kills these
He
farmers,
hasn't even been to Nigeria.
if he kills these
I've been to
farmers,
Nigeria. I've been to
yeah,
Nigeria.
exactly. If he kills these farmers, he knows that there's a good chance that they will never find out who he is and he will walk away scot-free. Pookie in the hood knows he's gonna get caught, Dinus. He knows it's gonna ruin the rest of his life. He knows the kids he had out of wedlock gonna grow up without a daddy. He still
Hey, man,
doesn't.
you gotta
That
do it
No,
for
takes
it's
the
a
not
hood,
Pookie.
man.
It's
That's
you.
for the
You
hood.
black. You
that
right?
takes a
It's
For
all
the
black
special
hood.
people.
level. That takes a special level of degeneracy, bro. When you know you're gonna
Brandon,
be in a box for the rest of your life.
Brandon, I gotta
This
push
is
back a little bit. I think
absolutely
it
nuts.
does take a special level of degeneracy, but I think it takes a special level of motive also. For someone who knows what's his consequences going to be, you have to ask yourself, wow, he must really be murdering this person for a reason. So I don't really agree
The
with the
only
notion that black people are
This is
out
Brandon said
here
I
as
don't
bro,
say anything
serial
these
positive
dudes
killers.
about
are
my
killing,
country. You never
bro.
say
These
anything
dudes
positive
are
about black
killing.
Americans.
These dudes are killing.
Right.
Listen, I
It's
was
just
in a
weird,
gang.
dog.
Listen, I
No,
was
you
in a
weren't.
gang.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Which one?
Dudes in gangs.
Which
Dudes
one?
in gangs.
Which one,
Bro,
bro?
could you
Which one?
stop for a second?
Which one?
Listen,
Which
you're
one?
sounding
Which
like a
one?
woman right
Which
now. Which
one?
one?
Which
Which one?
one, bro?
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Dudes are killing in
This
gangs
Nah,
guy's
bro.
over.
a
Answer,
serial
dog. I
Dudes
liar,
gotta
are
bro.
answer that,
killing
bro.
in
You
gangs.
lying?
He's a
Dinus, I'm from
serial
LA.
liar, dog.
Dinus, I am from
He's a
LA.
serial liar.
Dudes from rolling 60s are killing dudes from 8 Trey and vice versa over a death that
This guy
happened
is
before they were
watching. This
even
guy is
born,
40
Dinus.
watching
years ago.
Dinus,
rap
listen to me.
30 years,
videos
30,
Dinus,
and
40
listen.
acting
years
like
ago.
this
He
stuff
did.
is
Dude,
real.
listen.
Look,
Okay,
there are
so
tribal wars in
okay, you're
Africa
talking
because
against
of something that
you're
happened many,
talking
many years ago,
Dinus. You
Brandon.
were
No, he
trying to
wants.
confirm what I'm
He
saying.
dragged the
You're
conversation
trying
this
to
way
confirm
so
what I'm saying,
it
and
can.
they're trying to interrupt you because they don't want the truth to be known. You have dudes from 8 Trey
Dynasty's
gangsters
dragging your conversation
killing,
towards
and
negativity
that's
so that
fine.
No,
we
but
can
he's
Let
be
me
right.
and
getting
He's
back.
right. Listen, he's
listen.
right. Brandon's
The
right. Go
truth
ahead,
is
Brandon. Go
not
ahead.
negative,
Cook,
bro.
Brandon.
The truth is not negative. A pregnancy test can be negative. The truth ain't negative. Listen, you got dudes in
And
gangs.
you're not the bearer of truth, bro.
You got dudes in gangs. I'm the bearer of truth today, right here, right now.
No, you're
You got
not.
dudes in gangs.
You're in this
Listen,
shiny polyester
listen.
suit,
Uncle
bro.
You
Ruckus,
have
bro.
Who the fuck
listen.
are you?
You have gangs. You have gangs. What's wrong with polyester? What's wrong with
Bro,
polyester?
that's
What's
why
wrong with
you
polyester?
challenge. That's why you
Wait,
ain't
wait,
got no
wait,
growth, and that's why you challenge,
It's
wait,
dog.
wait.
You ain't
polyester
got no
going to your
drip.
head,
I got a
Brandon.
real
Leave Brandon
question.
shoot alone.
I got a
Leave
real
Brandon shoot
question.
alone.
I got
Leave
another
Brandon
question.
shoot alone. Hold
Trying to
I'm
tell
on,
fresh.
somebody what it
Look,
is.
I got a real. Listen, I was hosting,
hold on.
Dinus.
Hey,
I
y'all
was
leave
hosting.
Brandon shoot alone. Y'all leave Brandon.
Hey,
We supposed
I
to
was
listen to him?
hosting. Listen, I was
This is what we
hosting.
supposed to listen to?
I was hosting an event that
I ain't
night,
even gonna
and I
lie.
had
I
to
got
wear
a suit
something
just like
shiny.
that, same color, everything. So I'm
It
not
was
gonna.
You
I'm
need
New
to
not
do the
gonna
Year's
lie.
same
Eve.
thing he
I
needs
look
to
good
do. You
in
need
that
to
suit.
burn it.
It was
I
New
look
Year's
good in
Eve.
that suit.
Oh
No,
yeah,
you need to
yeah. Let,
burn
let
that
Brady
suit.
cook. Go
Listen,
ahead, Brady cook. Brad, I'm
listen.
gonna
You need
mute
to go
everybody. Cook, Brad. I
outside,
mute
put
Hey,
some
everybody.
mute these
I
gasoline
mute
niggas
on it,
real
and
quick.
everybody. I
burn it.
mute
Can I say
everybody. I
Jigaboo?
mute everybody. Go ahead,
Mute
Brady.
them all.
I mute
Listen,
everybody.
listen. That suit is fresh, and I'm looking extra handsome. Anyway, dude, listen.
Is that
You
platinum?
got dudes in LA, you got gang members who are literally killing each other over deaths that happened before they were born of people they don't even know at all. At this point, gangs aren't even killing each other over those deaths. These dudes get high. They do freaking fentanyl. They do that, what they call sherm, and they start feeling like they just on top of the world, like they Macho Man Randy Savage, and they go commit murders. There's no motive. There's no real dude. I had a friend, right? I'm not gonna say his name. God bless his soul. They put him in jail for life, and thank God for that. This guy, I would give this guy a ride home, right? He say, bro, I stopped giving him a ride home. He said, one day he told me, he said, bro, I thought he was just misunderstood, Dynas. I said, this guy's a cool dude. He just got a bad rap. One day I'm driving him home, right? He say, bro, let me out right here. I said, bro, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Why you want me to let you out on this random corner? He said, bro, because I still got some bullets left in my gun, and I want to go empty them out on these the rival gang's derogatory name real quick. They hang out over here right around the corner. That's when in my mind I said, this dude is psychotic. This dude is a degenerate. He's gonna go kill. He's gonna go kill just because he has extra bullets left in his gun. Dude, this is not the same as a dude saying, look, I hate my government. I hate these Christians or whatever because I've been radicalized. I've been brainwashed. Now I'm going to go kill. This guy literally just wanted to get high and go commit murder, bro. That only exists in Black America and Jamaica and in Haiti.
Brandon, shut the fuck up, bro. You's a dumbass. Are you serious?
I said
That was a kid that really just said that was a made up story.
No, that's a true story. That's a true
you
story.
lying all the way through. Cali
No,
ain't
that's
never
a true
rocked
story.
I got some extra bullets. Let me shoot the
No, I promise you to God.
You never seen the dude from
I put that on my daughter, bro. That is a true, bro. I have a friend.
You shining brighter than
have
the
a
street
friend.
lights in that picture. Cali ain't never did that, man. You lying.
Listen, I have a friend. Listen, I have a friend.
You have no friends.
I have a friend. He got a listen. He took a 22.
I came on and you talking about, hey, did
He
you
took
email
a
me? You don't
22
have any
rifle.
friends.
Listen, this is a true story. I have a friend. He took his grandpa died. He found a 22 rifle under his grandpa's bed, right? He took that 22 rifle, got on the roof of an apartment building, and just started shooting at random people down crossing by on the street. He really did that. I mean, he's in jail now, thank God.
Maybe you have mental health issues.
I'll tell you this dude name. I'm not even gonna say it. Let me stop. I have a friend who got out of jail, bro. He had me pick him up from jail. He said,
"You were wearing that suit, and he thought it was an alien walking down the street."
I picked this dude up from LA.
You can't blame him,
Listen,
man.
I
Take
picked
that
this
stuff
dude.
and burn it.
I picked this dude up from jail, bro. He said, "Bro, can you take me to McDonald's?" I said, "No problem, bro. I got you, bro." I took this dude to McDonald's. We in a drive-through. Bro, see somebody with a Rolex chain and a Rolex bracelet on his arm.
We can see
This dude jumped out the car and was like, "Nigga, this 20 crib." Punched the dude girlfriend and stole that dude chain and his bracelet and ran down the street, bro. I didn't see that guy again. I saw that dude posting on Facebook from prison. That's the next time I saw that dude. This dude is, you just got Black people a lot of us are just criminal minded, and a lot of it is because we grow up in homes without fathers.
Wait a minute.
So we walk around with no accountability.
A lot of
That's where it was going to end up. That's where it was going to end up. Right
It wasn't us in the shiny suit gang. It was you.
Well, we know you gotta reduce it down to a joke, but it's facts.
You talking to a bunch of law-abiding citizens about your criminal history, bro. We can't relate, dog.
It's not my criminal history.
I can't relate.
I'm just telling you what I thought. Dynas in Sacktown, I know you done seen some crazy stuff. Stop.
I've never seen a guy in Sacktown
bro,
with that type of suit on.
I went to Brandon, hold on, one mic, Brandon. I went to private school. so I wouldn't see no crazy shit. But I did see one man get shot one time in Sacramento. But that's about it. But outside
Okay,
that, like I wasn't around.
most
Like,
white kids never see that. Most Asian kids never see that. You only see that when you hang. And I bet it was a black person shooting a black person, wasn't it?
Of course it was.
There you go.
Right, because of the vicinity that you are. You're around a lot of black people. You see crimes committed against a lot of black people. It's a simple logic.
Not as much as we gonna see going to Liberia.
Brandon, you're not gonna get a response out of me. You know, so you can keep going.
Because you know it's true.
Brandon, what about the people that chop each other up just because they're from a different ethnic group?
That's in your dusty country, Delroy.
You talking about Nigeria? Because I
He's
know
talking about Jamaica.
Genocide. Wasn't there a war there in the 60s, 70s?
Jamaica, they chop up their own kind, then go buy food from a Chinese person.
Brandon, you ever lived in Jamaica?
We got
Diners, don't condone this, diners. You gotta be neutral.
This is just the
I'm
truth.
being neutral. I'm not saying nothing.
You're laughing at his food.
Brandon, nobody can talk serious to you because you just a joke, boy. I swear.
All y'all do is blame the white man for problems that y'all bringing on yourself.
Man, you got me agreeing with the African, bro. That's crazy.
That's okay. Come together. If hating me brings you guys together, I'll be that.
African.
The reason why I started saying that he reads no world news is because he's neglecting that every race on the planet is at war with each other.
I'm not worried about every race on the planet. I'm worried about my race.
You keep saying all these other different things, but
the Bible says, listen, the Bible says, do not be a busy. Listen, I'm quoting the Bible. You gotta be quiet. The Bible says, do not be a busybody meddling in other people's affairs. Why are you worried about black people? Always, Diners. What's the first thing black people say? They always in our business, but it's really us who be in a business. Trying to rationalize and justify.
Nobody was talking about any of that. It's you that
Is degeneracy inherent to African Americans, Brandon?
Yes.
Man,
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Ever since the plantation,
Brandon.
Listen, the white man used to breed the most degenerate slaves.
Brandon, what happened to the Houthis and the Tutsis chopping up each other? What happened there? There's about 1 million.
I'm sure black people in America have something to do with that. They were following our example.
Daddy, stop it, man. You're condoning.
Look at the blood. Listen, Diners. The 1980s in Black America taught the whole black world how to kill each other. That's why it happened after that.
Brandon, it's a joke now. Forget it. You're just
This ain't no joke. This is
It is a joke. Now you realize it. It's all
Bloods and Crips, dude.
Comedy for you.
Bro, you either a troll or you special needs, bro.
I'm not trolling.
You know, Brandon's been traumatized. You know, he's a descendant of somebody who.
I watched those videos of Liberia, and that's what traumatized me.
No. Your daddy's in jail for 25 years. You know, you're traumatized by that.
Okay.
I'm sure you are. You grew up without a daddy. And that
I mean, maybe I am traumatized, but my dad did crime, and he should do the time.
Right. So you're talking about personal experience. A lot of people here, their daddies are not in jail. They came up in a decent family. They became successful in life.
Bro, nobody knows anything about your family, Elvis.
No. I'm saying not just my family, but a lot of black people, a lot of black families are like that.
How do you know?
Your family was a degenerate family means that it's a reflection of all black families.
Yo, you live in, bro. You're from a whole degenerate country. Trying to talk about one degenerate family.
No, yeah, you is kind of degenerate.
My dad, listen. Right. My dad.
Your auntie's on crack. Your daddy went to jail for doing violent crimes and selling drugs.
My father, grew up in a two-parent home.
You're giving rides home to potential murderers. Come on, man. You live in a degenerate community.
Bro, you come from a country of potential murderers. So who's really traumatized?
Yeah, I'm not traumatized.
Yes,
You're the one that's traumatized.
That degeneracy is in your DNA, bro.
Trauma tends to flare up later in life. I haven't been involved in any violent crimes. I don't sell drugs. I don't use drugs. I'm a productive citizen. So no, I'm not traumatized.
You don't sell drugs. You're definitely traumatized in the stuff.
No, you're traumatized, Brandon. Look at the way you talk about your people.
So
you talk about your daddy, how he's in jail for 25 years. And
you mean because I'm being honest?
Your auntie is on crack or she was on drugs. So your daughter being on drugs.
Listen,
those are family trauma that you're
Yeah,
dealing
let
with.
me
You
man,
need to
let
tell
it
seek
you.
out,
Let
therapy,
me
man.
tell you.
Brandon.
Wait.
You
Let me
need to
tell
seek
you
Right,
therapy.
Dave.
something.
I'm not saying this to be
Let
mean
me tell
spirited. I'm
you
telling you
something, bro.
as a
Hair,
real
Let me
opinion.
tell
Go
you
seek
something.
therapy.
African
Please,
people,
therapy.
bro. It's okay.
African people try to hide their dirt. Okay, I've been around plenty of Africans. I dated some Nigerians.
No, Africans
Dude,
can be
all you
traumatized. I'm
guys
not saying
do is
Africans
sweep
are
it
None of
under
you
the
immune from
kids
rug.
have
trauma. I'm
dated
not saying
somebody,
that.
man. We
I'm
don't
not saying
believe
Listen,
it.
Africans
We
are
don't
immune
Dinus,
from
believe it.
trauma.
Let us
Instantly, I'm
know.
not traumatized,
Dinus,
but you
Let
are.
I did a
us
show,
And you need to
Dinus,
seek help for it.
Let
You need
me
to
Dinus,
seek
go
help for
ahead.
it.
Dinus. I did a show where I was talking about family trauma, right? To Niger, all these Nigerians called into my show. They literally started asking me for advice on how to get over family trauma. Africans simply sweep their trauma under the rug and pretend like they are fine, bro. We know what y'all do. That's why y'all stuff is
And we
messed
telling
up
you the
like it
same thing. You
is.
need
This
to sweep your trauma under
No,
the
I don't
rug
sweep
too,
nothing
because
under
this
the
is a
rug.
middle
full
ground,
trauma
y'all.
never go full
Like,
trauma,
Listen,
man.
you
yeah.
can't heal unless you talk about it. Elvis, did somebody touch you, Elvis? You can't heal unless you tell me about it live on this show.
You see that, and I'm glad you're talking about this, Brandon, because I
Did
think
they
it's going
touch
to
your
help you
booty?
heal. I
I
think it's
won't
going to
judge
help you
you.
heal, Brandon. I
Listen,
think it's
bro.
going to help you heal. Look,
Yeah, it's gotta
Listen,
I'm not the
carry
one
Brandon.
who is obsessed with a man and make a video on him every single day.
Diners.
Even have
Now,
to take you to
look,
court
see,
to
you know
start
I hurt his
stalking him.
feelings. You know I hurt his
No,
feelings.
you didn't hurt my
I
feelings because
did.
the
I
point
hurt
is
your
you're
feelings. You
projecting.
bringing up
All you're
three,
doing is
bro.
projecting. When you
Diners.
talk about trauma, when we examine you, you're the
Diners.
one that has
He
trauma. When
literally
we
brought
talk
up
about
three.
being
You
a,
know his feelings is hurt, bro. You know
no,
his
when you talk
feelings is
about
hurt.
being gay, you're the one that got taken to
Listen,
court for by
listen.
another man because
This
you've been
guy, hey,
stalking him.
listen, bro,
So
you
you're
got touched.
projecting. I'm only telling you you're
You got
projecting,
touched, didn't you?
Brandon. No,
I
I
think
didn't
you
get
really got
touched.
touched.
I'm just saying you need
No,
help.
yeah.
I'm only trying to tell
Yeah.
you to get the help, Brandon.
Whoa! I
You're
didn't know none of
traumatized.
this. I need to
Get
start
some
Hey,
help.
talking to
did
dude.
you listen? Everybody on this panel and in this audience, Elvis, just purely based on your response to what I just said, you just exposed that you might have got touched when you was younger.
No. You made that
Rob,
statement.
Rob,
You made
am
a
I
similar
lying, Rob?
statement earlier
Rob,
about my back being hurt, and
Rob,
I
is it
ignored it.
facts or
But
not,
now
Rob?
that I understand that you actually do have trauma, like you just admitted, that's what I'm
Rob,
telling you. Don't project.
okay,
Seek help.
Elvis,
It's the
let's
best
ask
thing to
Rob,
do.
a
Seek
neutral
help.
party. Let's ask a not neutral party. Rob, based on his response, do it not seem like I might have struck a nerve in him, Rob?
Can I cash that $5 and get him off the stage? How much
I
would that
didn't
cost?
hear what he said. I know he said something about getting
If
touched,
you,
but
no, it's not. Shut the $5.
If y'all want me off, cash app $20 and I'll leave right now. Cash app $20, I'll leave right now.
What
Let's get
about 10?
Diners from super chat because y'all
Brandon,
acting
how
so
many people?
crazy.
What
How
about
many
10?
people in your family use
Stay
drugs
on, stay on,
or is
Brandon.
in
Stay on,
prison?
Brandon. It's about
That I
what
know
about
of.
10?
That I
Yeah.
know of. Just my dad and my aunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you a
Yeah.
crack baby?
No, my mom never used drugs.
Oh, okay.
I think my mom was a stone cold alcoholic at some point, but she never used drugs.
That could bring trauma too.
That's fine. At least I'm man enough to talk about it. You hide what happened to you.
Do you think it's healthy to project your trauma onto
Yeah,
the
that's what I said. He's
collective?
projecting, and that's the thing. People who are that's why you see people like you become bullies because they're traumatized at home,
Diners.
they're being
So,
abused at
Diners.
home, and they're
Hurt people
externalizing
hurt
on other
people.
people.
Diners. What
And
they
yeah,
don't
hurt people, man.
Hey, what these third
And
world
that's a fact.
What these third world brothers don't understand is in America, they make something called a police report. So all we got to do is go look at the recorded instances of this stuff happening. You can't say somebody making that stuff up and deflecting and projecting. It's recorded, bro. They literally had to stop responding to crimes being reported in the black community so they could artificially bring crime numbers down.
You got health insurance, man?
I do. Why wouldn't I have health insurance?
He wants you to
You
go
know,
see a
mental. They
therapist.
got mental.
Yeah, they got mental
You
health
know,
for you. That's
it's
what he
included.
wants.
It's like part of your checkup, like when you go for a
Yeah,
regular
you
checkup.
need it,
Health
You know
Brandon.
what I'm
insurance?
saying?
You said health insurance?
Yeah, like you
Try to
know,
get
Blue Cross, Blue
try to get a
Shield, something like
therapist, a
that.
good
Yeah, I have
therapist,
a
and get
job.
some
I
help,
have health
Brandon.
insurance. What's the listen? Y'all can say whatever, but y'all have not produced the information to counter my argument. Black America is a degenerate group
And
because
you have that viewpoint because you've been traumatized by your family.
No, you
Elvis,
have that
don't
viewpoint
Elvis.
because that
I
shiny
know
suit is too tight,
I
man.
know
You
it's
gotta
true.
breathe, bruh.
I
We
No,
know
trying
it's
to
that's
help
cheap.
you.
That's
know
cheap.
I
Don't
know it's
reduce
true.
don't reduce his perspective to how he grew up. If you have an opposing argument, then I feel like you should give the opposing argument.
We
Don't
did
just be
give an
like,
opposing argument. We
damn,
said
who
that
hurt you, bro? Who
Listen,
hurt you,
black
bro? That's how
people.
y'all sound,
No,
bro.
Listen, bro.
no, he
Really
I
put
did.
everybody
And then he
together.
don't want to listen
He's
to
admitted that he's
no facts.
traumatized. He
Dinus,
admits it.
Dinus.
And people who are traumatized
Dinus,
tend to try to hurt other people because they're
Go ahead.
insecure
Dinus,
themselves and they're
Dinus.
Go
traumatized.
ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead,
Listen.
Brandon.
I'm traumatized, right? But normal, quote unquote, normal black people went into the streets, marched, and destroyed our communities over a drug addict dude who held a gun to the belly of a pregnant woman who died at the hands of police, right?
Say free Officer Chauvin then. I know you want to.
Listen, I stayed at home. I said, listen, that guy may have been a victim, but what he did and what happened to him is not worth me destroying the community that my children have to grow up in safely. Those are the people who are traumatized, Dinus. The people who are traumatized are the people who see something is wrong. And the Bible says that
Now,
God
can we
hates.
deal with that
Let me
topic?
finish.
Exactly what you just said.
He said Brandon Cook. He said Brandon Cook, not you, Dave. Listen, the Bible says that God hates a person who calls a bad thing good, and that's what black people do. We try to make something that is bad, we try to turn it into something good, or by blaming it on somebody else.
Nobody
The
said
white
Floyd
man
was a
didn't
hero.
make
So
you
you're
smoke
saying
crack.
George Floyd deserved to get killed like that? Is
I
that what you're
said that.
saying?
No, what I'm saying is our children don't deserve to have their community destroyed over George Floyd being
Let's
killed.
stick to that
That's what
topic.
I'm saying.
Exactly. That's what he's saying. Now, my response is so you're saying that this happens nowhere else in the world.
I don't care about everywhere else in the world. I'm talking about what happens to me and my group. That's your problem.
You said
You
we the
think
worst. So
okay,
that means you're comparing us to the world.
Dave, what about
listen,
is cheap?
Dinus. Down the
Because that's
street,
what he was. That's
Dinus,
what his inference was.
But that's what
Brandon,
about
it
is.
wasn't a
Look, Dinus,
one-off situation. There had been a string
You
of black
really
people
want to
being
know
killed
my
by the
opinion
police.
on everything.
It was
Hold
exacerbated by
on.
George
I'm
Floyd's
trying
death.
to hear Brandon. I'm trying to hear Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
I live in a gay community. If you go 5 blocks over, there are bars where gay dudes meet every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever.
Projecting again. Call me gay when you live in a gay community.
Because
All
those
right.
gay dudes, listen, Dinus, am I gonna rationalize doing some LGBTQ stuff because the guys 5 blocks down the street do it? No. So why would I rationalize degenerate activity happening in my community because someone somewhere else does it? I don't live in a third world country. Listen, this is your issue, Dinus. This is your issue, you guys' issue. I live in a place where just a few blocks over, whites, Asians, and Hispanics live peacefully. Why would I accept living in a damn war zone when I know it is possible to live in a peaceful community? It doesn't make any sense. I know the community is the way it is because there
I
is
had
an
this
acceptance.
conversation yesterday.
There is an
You're
acceptance.
equating race with class.
What I know,
This is the weirdest thing ever.
what I know.
So basically, are you saying that there's no blacks on the same level as you?
No, I'm not saying that. Show me the peaceful black community.
So why are you worried?
Listen,
Okay, you're
bro.
black, right?
Listen,
You're black, right?
Listen. Can I ask you a question? I'm asking a
You're
question.
living in a peaceful community.
Are
correct?
you safer? Let me
So
ask you a
there's
question.
nobody else like you, black
Dinus,
person like you in America.
I have to go to Dinus for Dinus. Do you think what happened to PNB Rock in a black neighborhood in Los Angeles would have happened to PNB Rock in the most racist city in America?
Not at all. Not at
You
all.
can live next to the Grand Dragon of the KKK as a black person, and you will be safer than you will be in any black neighborhood in America.
No, that's theoretical.
bro. There's a
That's not even true.
No,
That's
the
not true, Brandon.
grandmaster of the cake, bro.
There are wealthy black neighborhoods where people are very
what you
safe,
say, Rob?
and nobody's committing any crimes.
Brandon, I don't think that's true. If you're sitting next
You
to
just
the
hate your own people, bro.
grandmaster
You're
of the
traumatized.
KKK,
I'm sorry.
Real tough.
Rob, there are videos on YouTube. There are videos on. There are videos on YouTube where these black YouTubers have gone to the most racist cities in America. and they walked around. Someone might have yelled the N-word out the window, but those dudes went there. Some of them stayed days, met up with the mayor. There's a white racist dude who they go interview all the time. He's like, I don't like black people, all
this
that.
conversation
Yeah,
was
but
about New York
those
City
same
versus
people,
Lagos, and you're
if
the
I
Diamond,
only
sit if I
person
sit
that
next to the
Diamond,
grandmaster of the
take
KKK,
those same people and send them to Atlanta, to the worst neighborhood in Atlanta, to the worst neighborhood in Detroit, the worst neighborhood in Memphis. There's a good chance that those dudes will get deleted, bro. They are in the most racist.
Brandon, I got to interject, Brandon. I'm gonna pass it to Dino. I'm saying I'm gonna pass it to Dino. AJ Niger brings up a great point. Trayvon Martin got killed in a white neighborhood.
Oh shit! Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, but hold on, Dino.
Hello?
Let me let Brandon respond. I'll pass it to you. Go ahead, Brandon.
Trayvon Martin got killed in a white neighborhood. This is true. One black guy getting killed by a racist white dude. It was a 1-for-1. Trayvon Martin. If Trayvon Martin had got slaughtered in his own community by another person who looked like him, no one would have even cared. Dynasty. Trayvon Martin happens every day in black neighborhoods all over the country at the hands of other black people.
in this one.
No, I'm
but is he? But Brandon, in fact, I'll give you an example. So I'm in a group of black alumni who went to SEC football games. I mean, not SEC football games. Who went to SEC schools, right? So they were upset that Kyle Rittenhouse was speaking at, I think, the University of Memphis a couple of days ago. They were outraged, completely outraged. So I saw video clips of the actual his Kyle Rittenhouse's speech or whatever there, and the so-called fake mad, fake outrage, Black Lives Matter, they showed up, of course, yelling and screaming and grandstanding. And somebody asked
all
the question,
gay dudes.
Hold on, Brandon. Somebody asked the question. With all the murders that are going on in Memphis, why aren't they saying anything about that? But they're worried about Kyle Rittenhouse, a white man who killed another white man that was yelling the N-word. Excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, even though I don't want to say, I don't like saying the N-word on my channel. This white man, or one of the white men that Kyle Rittenhouse killed, was yelling nigga, was yelling shoot me nigga, kill me nigga at a Black Lives Matter rally.
Bro.
It's because there was no justice for Kyle Rittenhouse got off. That's the reason.
What do you mean no
justice? Bro, you're not even making sense, Dave.
Degenerate murderers aren't being able to speak at the University of Memphis.
Bro. That's not
Wait
me.
a minute, Dave. The dude shot at Kyle Rittenhouse first.
I didn't say
wait
anything,
a minute.
bro.
Wait a minute, brother. If so, you telling me that Kyle Rittenhouse got off, someone shot at him first, and he shot back?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they
Nobody
did.
nobody shot at him.
They did.
Because he was in fear of his life.
Go back.
One mic, Brandon. They didn't shoot first. They did. They drew first. You got.
They shot first, Dynas. Go read the transcript.
I know what happened, man. I know what happened. Didn't dude shot himself, right?
Yes, he shot at Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, but that's neither here and there. Go ahead, Dino.
How y'all doing today? I just want to say, first off, I actually agree with my man Brandon. I mean, y'all can give me, pushback if y'all want or whatever, man, because, I grew up in the inner city of Boston, Massachusetts, and I mean, I literally seen a lot of degeneracy and dysfunction going, when it came to, brothers beefing with each other, literally living across the street from each other. Then, some of these people were even related to each other. You know what I'm saying? So like, these are things that I've actually seen, but in comparison to like, cities like Nigeria, and we're doing a comparison between Nigeria, like Lagos, Nigeria, and New York. Some of the things that I know that are definitely different compared to the difference between those two different cities, or I would just say the type of people there, is that like in Nigeria, like they're really connected to their families. Like, even if you had a criminal back there, up in Nigeria, like a lot of them, would think twice before like offending like their moms or something. Like, they still have that element of like, before I do something wrong, like how's my parents are gonna look at me? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like here in America, there is that disconnect between the youth and the elders.
We'll sell crack to our mom.
You know, so I mean, it's you know, so that right there is something that we got to definitely take into consideration and think about, though. You know what I'm saying?
Who is we though? Because people, it's
Would,
almost
would
like
you sell crack to your mom, Brandon?
Yeah.
I know a dude who was pimping his
I'm
own mom
tired of
out.
everybody. No, it's about you, personal responsibility. Will you sell crack to your mom?
I know a dude who was pimping his mom out, bro.
Will
It's
you
like a
sell
fat
crack to your
girl
mom or
talking
pimp
about
her
a
out?
relationship market. You don't speak for all women. You speak for fat women. Like you have a different experience than all women.
You speak for fat women. What do you mean?
Who I speak for fat women?
This is crazy.
I speak for fat women. Me?
That's
It's
what
like when
Trey
a
said.
fat
Trey
woman
said you
talks.
speak for fat women.
Like when a fat woman talks about the dating market, like you have a different experience than the collective. You
Right,
can't
yeah,
speak for
yeah.
yourself. You can't speak for the collective, bro. And I
Right.
understand there is a problem there, but I don't have that problem. So when I hear people talk about we as black people in my whole circle, we're doing well, and a lot of them try to get back and do the best. And when I hear people say we will sell crack to our mama, it's like, bro,
Right.
speak for yourself, dog.
The reason, Dynast, you know what's funny here? The thing about people like Trey is not that they're doing good. It's the fact that they doing good, but then they will try to excuse someone doing something
I'm
degenerate.
not excusing the hood. I'm just saying it's not all of us,
Wait,
bro. I'm just saying
you
don't
had
speak
your
for
you
me.
had your you had your chance to say
You've been
something.
hogging the mic for
Dynast,
over
let
an
me say
hour,
this, Dynast.
man.
Let me say this,
You're
Dynast.
the dynasty,
Dynast,
you have
You
to
telling
if
white
you
people
go
I'm
to
a criminal, man.
hold on.
Chill out.
If you go to a look,
No,
Dynast,
man, you've been
if
talking
you
for
go
a straight
listen,
hour.
if you go to prison, Dynast, and talk to people in
You
jail.
need to
Hold on,
realize
bro.
that you're not
Hold
going
on,
to
Dave.
destroy
Dave,
ghetto.
hold
You're
on,
not
Dave.
going to destroy
Listen,
ghetto, bro.
listen.
You're saying that you're a different
Criminals,
breed of everything.
Low
Why are you constantly
self-esteem,
worried
dog.
about something
Dynast,
that you're not?
Dynast. Criminals have
This
more.
is crazy.
Listen, criminals have more accountability in a Black America than Black professionals and so-called well-rounded Black people.
Because we're not criminals.
No, listen, wait a minute.
Brandon,
If
you
you go,
don't even know that.
listen,
You're not in that
if you
class. You're
go
not in
to a
that group. Are you a
criminal,
black professional?
Dynast,
Do you know how black
Dynast,
professional acts? Or
Dynast,
what responsibility they take to their community?
if a gang
You don't.
member get, if a gang
Guys
member,
just talking
listen,
about
if a
Yeah,
if a gang,
Let me pass it. Hold on,
understand
Brandon.
this.
Hold on. Let me mute Big Black. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Big Black. Pause. Big Black. Unmute yourself. Pause. Go ahead.
Hey, I just want to say that the whole thing about Kyle Rittenhouse, the reason why that was a big thing is because it set a precedent, right? Because the guy, he went across a couple of state lines with a legal gun and then shot somebody. So
Well,
he wasn't even.
that's not what was found though. I mean, in the
It was,
court.
but the
That
gun
was
was
it.
illegal.
And it wasn't registered.
The
It
doctrine
broke
of
all
clean
type of
hands. You
RICO
can't go to
laws.
court
When
asking for
Nigeria
respite
will
when you broke the
sacrifice
law.
their mama and their baby
y'all
in
clear,
hopes that
y'all
they'll get some
clearly,
money. Y'all
they
talking
clearly
about
didn't follow. They
y'all
clearly
crazy.
didn't follow the case. You clearly
Yeah.
didn't follow the case because if you had, you would know that Kyle Rittenhouse having that gun was not illegal. There's a law the only way that would have been illegal is if the gun was sawed off because they have a law that was passed. Listen, the gun was legal because he is registered as a person who actively hunts and
Under his
competes.
parents.
And
It
wait a
was
minute,
under his parents, bruh.
and competes in
Oh,
shooting competitions. That made him possessing that firearm legal. Know your facts before you start
No,
making
but
arguments.
in the state,
We sick,
you're not
boss.
allowed to have that gun. It's not
Brandon, they charged
He
him
actually
for the
really
gun.
know it.
They charged him for the gun.
No, they did not.
Yes,
You
they
don't know what
did.
you're talking about,
Yes, they
Elvis.
Let me look it
did.
up.
I
Go
did a
research it.
show
They
on
charged him
this.
for the gun.
Let me look it up.
I
Let me
did
look
a
it up.
show
Go
on
ahead,
this.
let Diane look it up. He's the final decider.
You take
Listen,
Let me
take
look it
your
up.
gun and go to Minnesota.
I
and
did a
think it's
show.
legal.
I
And
did,
show
well,
the police while you're riding.
That is
They'll
crazy.
lock your ass up.
listen, bro. I wouldn't be caught in a crap hole like Minnesota. So there you
I
go.
understand.
Anyway,
These laws are by state, and the state.
listen, bro.
It wasn't Minnesota, by the way. It was
I'm
Wisconsin.
telling
It was
you.
Kenosha, Wisconsin. It wasn't
I
Minnesota.
am listen, I'm telling you, based on the court case, based on the show that I did, they tried to bring charges against Kyle Rittenhouse for having a firearm illegally, and it was found that he was within his legal right, bro. You can't argue with the law. You just
had a show
making something
defending
up
Rittenhouse?
No,
emotionally.
they ignored the law, but legally
They
he
did
wasn't supposed
ignore
to
the
have that
law.
gun.
You're ignoring the law right now.
No, legally he wasn't supposed to have that
The
gun.
only person saying legally, even though they are ignoring the law, is you, Big Black.
No,
So
what I'm
should
saying
that police officer went to jail for Floyd murder?
Now you moving the
Hey, hold
goalposts.
on. Let me hold on, guys.
I just want to know:
does
the law apply?
Dave, I'm talking, Dave. Let me read this real quick. So Brandon is right. Hold on, let me read this.
As usual.
Hold on, let me
You
read
got to go
this.
by Wisconsin law.
God
Here
dang,
we
can
go.
I read it? Can I read
Go
it?
ahead.
God, chill out. All right. So what happened? Hours before closing arguments began on Monday, Judge Bruce Schroeder granted a defense motion to toss out the weapons charge. Rittenhouse attorneys Mark Richards and Corey Cherufasi pointed to an exception in the law that they said allows minors to possess shotguns and rifles as long as they're not short barreled.
Linus, why am I always right? Because I'm always talking to a bunch of ignoramuses who are emotional. I'm not smart.
So do you
I'm not
agree
smart. I just go in.
I said they charged him for the gun, and he was charged, but the charges were dropped. So they charged him for it.
They threw it out.
They charged him for it.
Now they're being like, listen,
they threw it out, but they charged him for it. You can be charged with murder and it gets thrown out, but you're still charged with it.
Black men are
Yeah, so I never think he's guilty of the charge, but he was charged with it.
I deserve to have the floor because I was right. Let me make my my victory speech. You guys are like women. You don't care about the facts. You just care about how you feel.
George Floyd,
you only care about how you.
Do you agree with the police officer going to jail?
I have the floor, Dave. Dave, if you would have told the
you
truth, you
agree
would
with
have the
that?
floor.
I wasn't even in that conversation. I didn't say that.
Dinah, you tried to deflect and change the mood to go for
I'm asking you a question. Do you agree with the verdict?
Only in our community, Dinah.
Do you
only
agree
in
with
our
the rule of law?
Dave, let Brandon finish because y'all.
Dinah,
Brandon was
only
right.
in our community. Here's the thing, guys. This is what I want the whole audience to understand.
Do you agree with the verdict?
Listen.
Yes or no?
Look to the audience.
Do you agree with the verdict?
To the audience.
Yes or no?
To the audience.
Dave, let the man finish.
Listen. Every last person who says something, Dinus, knew that they had not done their research on this situation, but they still argue like an emotional female. That's what's the problem in our community. A black man just can never just say, you know what? I don't know enough about the situation to speak on it knowledgeably. This dude sat here and argued me up and down like I was arguing with a project.
I didn't say nothing about that except for dude was a minor.
Then maybe
That's
I'm not
all I
talking
said.
about you, emotional
okay, you gotta
guy.
be specific.
Maybe I'm not talking about you. Anyway, the only time I have this situation is when I used to work security at a damn county building. That's when I had to argue with emotional females who didn't have a leg to stand on, who was just arguing for the sake of being disagreeable and hoping that I would just yield, I would just capitulate to their illogical demands.
Did you wear that suit when you wore?
I want an apology, Big Black. Apologize to me for arguing with me, even though you knew you hadn't done your research.
You made a whole generalization and said that we
Brandon, you're a roast breadfruit, bro.
Our mothers. You made a big generalization, and you was like that was like kind of whining like a little bride.
Brandon,
Do you agree with the verdict on Floyd, the Floyd case?
With the cop? Sure, why not? Yeah.
Okay, that's all I asked. That's it.
Brandon,
Do I agree about the cause of death? No, but lock his ass up. I ain't caring about a cop going to jail.
That's all I was asking is if this whole I agree with the law goes in ways which you wholeheartedly agree, and somewhere it's like, I wouldn't,
but
as long as it's consistent, that's all I was making sure.
Yeah, am I pro cop? Hell yeah, I need the cops to protect me from your kids when they try to rob me in 20 years.
Not my kids. Why you keep saying me?
Because your mindset. You have an unaccountable.
Do you have kids?
You have an unaccountable feminine mindset. That's why.
Are you talking to me? Because I'll heat up on you, dog.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's not even necessary.
No, I'm
sounding like a straight up weird. I know you ain't talking to me. I can see his neck swinging in my imagination.
It's
No, as
the
soon as I
you're a
got
growth
on here,
spread
you
fruit.
started saying that I email you while you would do, and then you was saying some type of shit,
But he
man.
lives in a
You're
gay
lost,
community.
dog. What the fuck is wrong with you? You dog, man, go somewhere else with that
I could
stupid
just
shit.
see this dude. I can see
Brandon
this dude's
tries to
neck
poke the
swinging right
bear.
now.
No,
Ponytail
Gucci
going
trying
side
to
to
poke the
side.
bear. Don't
why
let
are
him
you
poke you, Dave.
visualizing another
Don't let him
nigga?
poke you, Dave.
What
Don't
This
let
is
him
is
poke you.
visualizing
Dynasty
another
said
nigga.
the N-word.
Hey, say
Dynasty
pause,
said the
Brandon.
N-word.
Hey, whoa, Brandon. Say pause. You talk about visualizing
I'm
other
not
niggas.
saying
Say
pause. I'm
pause.
not saying
Jesus
pause.
Pause.
Christ.
That's
This
it.
Listen,
guy
Pause.
lives in
look,
a gay neighborhood, Brandon. You think
I'm
he
I
cares
don't
about
tired of
get it,
black
man.
people. Dynasty,
And then he wants to talk about me.
Dynasty,
I'm just trying to have a
Dynasty,
civilized conversation.
Dynasty.
This guy is
I'm
off the
tired of
hook.
black
My
people's
daddy's
double.
in jail.
Listen,
I have no nuts.
Dynasty,
I have no
Dynasty.
my
kids. I
aunties
have
on
no
crack.
girl.
Listen, dude.
But I'm a
Listen,
pimp in a shiny
Dynasty,
suit. Like, man, go
Dynasty,
relax, man.
Dynasty,
And
Dynasty,
Brandon is a product of his environment and his
What is
neighborhood.
Dynasty,
wrong with
You know,
you,
that's
man?
what
Dynasty. Listen, my
But all
father.
of a sudden,
Listen,
black
not
person
from that
generation.
neighborhood. He said, I'm
Dynasty,
not from
I'm
that.
He's
Dynasty,
traumatized, man.
Dynasty. Listen.
The
My
hell is wrong
dad
with you, man?
has been in jail for 25 years.
We
I'm
don't
pretty.
care about your
Hey, listen.
derelict
Wait a
family,
minute.
bro.
Let me say what I gotta say. Let me
We've
say
been
what I
told
gotta say.
you to go get no. We're tired of it.
Dynasty,
We've
can
been
I say what
saying
I
get
gotta say?
therapy, man. We asked you
Can
if
I
you
say
got
what I
health
want to say?
insurance. You said yeah. We're not your therapist,
Dynasty,
bro.
can I say
We
what I
don't
want to
care
say?
about your problems
Hey,
with your
hold on,
family.
bro.
You're
Okay,
grown.
Brandon,
He
hold
said
on.
we're
Listen.
providing
You're
therapy.
grown with a polyester suit, bro. That's on
Brandon is a
you. I'm
real
not talking
spread
about your parents. You grown.
Listen. The next swinging
At
of the
least your
black
daddy had
man.
enough balls to have a
Brandon,
child.
some of
You over
this
here
talk,
45
Brandon.
Listen,
You
years
talk
old
dude.
too
talking
much.
about a
You
community ain't done
talking
the
about
first
my
thing.
dad, dude? My dad has been watching soap suds drip down the crack of another man's ass for 25 years, and you
Oh
compare me
man,
to him.
I gotta
Oh
go,
my
man.
God!
I'm
Look, this is
Brandon.
And you calling him tough. And Dynasty,
It's the
keep calling
product
him
of
tough.
living in the
you
country.
been
Keep
in that
calling him
gay
tough.
neighborhood too long, bro. It's time
This
to
is
move
what
out, bro.
Dynasty. This is what the black man thinks is tough. Watching soap suds drip down the crack of another man's
Oh my
butt.
God!
Nah, bro. Nah,
This is
bro.
what we view as masculine. See what I'm saying? This is the problem.
Brandon, you
Black
are
people
roast
think going to
breadfruit,
jail
bro.
makes
You
you
are
tough.
roast breadfruit. Oh my God!
I'm telling you. I'm
Brandon
telling
is
you,
a
bro.
roast
He said
breadfruit.
your
I'll give you
dad
that,
got
Brandon.
more balls than
You
you. Yeah,
genuinely
you
made me
bet he
laugh
does.
today. I'll give you that. That's a plus.
Listen,
Brandon, you should do comedy, bro. You should go into
all I
comedy.
know, you can tell masculine energy when it presents itself to you. Only females argue points when they have no facts and then get emotional
You win.
when they
I
get
can't
proven
go back.
wrong.
I'm not finna cross over to your
This
people,
is
bro.
the
You won.
facts.
You won, bro. You won with
Dinus,
the
they was in here neck swinging
Came
over
in
Kyle
hella.
Rittenhouse.
You
Hey,
win.
Brandon.
Dinus,
You win. I'm
Brandon,
Dinus.
happy.
please do me
They
a
was
favor,
over
though.
here neck
Do me a
swinging
favor.
over Kyle
Get
Rittenhouse.
it.
They got proven wrong
Get a
and they got
therapist, bro.
mad.
Get a
They got
therapist.
upset.
You'll be a better man for it. Trust me, you
Brandon,
will.
are you
Get a
wearing a
therapist.
masculine suit?
What you say?
Are you wearing a masculine suit?
I look
It's
nice in
called
that suit.
it's called a shimmy. A shimmy suit.
Jimmy?
The shimmy suit. No.
The suit is a product.
Titus,
They
stop it,
called
man.
your suit
You
P.
ain't
Diddy.
play me out of this shit.
That's the take that suit
Take that.
from
You
the
like
P.
that?
Diddy lineup.
You like
You wearing that in the gay
That's
neighborhood,
the
dog?
Sean John limited edition. Take that suit.
Take that. You like that?
Hey, listen, Dinus. You guys could listen, Dinus. You guys can all laugh at me, and I'm okay with it. These dudes cried more over Kyle Rittenhouse getting acquitted
I
than
didn't
I'm
even say
crying
nothing
over
about
y'all.
Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't
You
even
did.
know
You
about
literally
dude,
brought up.
man.
This guy literally brought up Kyle Rittenhouse. Now he want to
I
lie.
did
You
not.
are
This is
truly a
the guy with the
female.
D. This is the guy with the D. I did
This
right
man is
there.
a female. He lies, man, bro. Neck swinging detected, bro. Neck swinging detected.
Oh man, she was
Dude, I
crazy.
swear these dudes be out here dying. These dudes be out here reproducing and be softer than the women they reproduce with.
Oh man,
This is the
You
fact.
You
sound like a
just
And this is
love to
coming. And this
project.
is coming
You
from a
love to
guy that
project.
actually
Dinus,
produced
Dinus,
shit.
we go, Dinus,
I
Dinus,
mean, his
Dinus,
daddy
Dinus. Let
even
me
used
say
his
this.
nuts.
You just said my dad was a tough guy. You just said my dad was
At
tough.
least he had you. You haven't
To
had
you,
anybody.
listen, Dynas. I trained MMA for 6 years.
Who? Not you?
Listen, every other race comes in the smallest Asian,
Are you
Dynas.
talking about
Wait
your
a minute,
MMA?
bro.
Please
Let me
say
finish.
you're not MMA,
Dynas,
man.
listen, Dynas.
You gotta
I
be
trained
retired. You look like
Dynas,
Marvin
listen.
Hagler in that
Dynas,
school. Talking about
let me
your
finish. Dynast, let me finish, D. Let me finish, Dave.
Man,
Listen.
stop calling Dynast every time you got to
See,
stop.
you know how women won't let you
Only
get a word in?
females look for
Dynast, you know
affirmation
how when
from
you
another.
argue with a female, they won't let you get a word in?
Please let me keep talking.
Is that true,
Please let me
girl?
keep talking.
That's true, right? Is that true?
Okay.
That's what you're doing with Dynast, Brandon.
Dynast.
Hey,
Listen,
Paul,
Dynast. I trained MMA for 6
No,
years.
you trained running
There was
away in that
one
goddamn
group.
John John suit.
There was one group. There was one group.
Videos, those are
Dynast. There was one group of men who had the lowest
No, there's
representation.
only one group of men you shot from, and that's Sean John.
All right, I'm gonna let you talk.
We
I'm not
know.
gonna say nothing else.
Yeah, I know
Dave
you
can
are.
talk. Go ahead, Dave.
He shut Brandon up. That's an achievement. You won, Dave. You finally got him to shut up. That's good. I give you kudos for that.
Tired of that polyester drip.
Look, all he can do is talk about the suit. The guy got no
what
facts.
am I supposed to talk
No
about, man?
argument.
Everything else feels like I'm abusing. I can't
Dynast,
be fair,
this
man.
is the black man in
What
America.
else am I
Has to reduce
supposed to say?
everything down to a joke. He
What am
has
I
to
supposed to
reduce
say? You
everything
said
down
your
to a
family
joke.
is
That
horrible.
his
You said your
insecurity.
life is horrible.
Listen,
You said
just like
everything
listen.
about you is horrible.
There's two.
Like,
There's
what
two.
am I supposed to
Two
talk about?
people
Your
got exposed
dysfunction? No.
today. Three
So I'm
people got
cracking
exposed
jokes.
today.
I'm cracking jokes about your suit to
Three
not
people
make you
got
cry
exposed
about your
today.
dysfunction.
Elvis, Big Black, and Dave. When
What
you
got an
you
Elvis
know,
suit on?
Hey, Brandon, when you say Big Black, you got to say Paul.
I'm not saying Paul.
But he's
Get
not
listen.
going to say Paul because he
With a
likes
black Dynast,
Oh my God! He
Dynast.
said he ain't finna say
One
Paul.
thing we know that a black man does when he's scared and when he's not smart enough to be in the room, start cracking jokes. Am I wrong, Dynast, or am I right?
Why are you asking
Why
for
you
Dynast
keep asking him,
affirmation,
man?
bro? Why do you need his affirmation?
Am I wrong, Rob? Let's ask Rob. Rob,
Why you keep
do
asking
black
anybody, man?
Rob?
Nobody else
Do
is
black
doing that.
people not
Make
start
You
yourself
always
cracking
look for
jokes
people that
when
size
they
with you.
know they are not smart enough to be in the conversation?
You weren't smart enough
Oftentimes,
not to
yes,
buy that suit.
that is a way to feel comfortable, to make
And
themselves feel
what does it
comfortable.
mean, Robert, when people keep asking other
Hey
people
man, I'm your
for
friend, man. We need to go
affirmation?
find who sold you
What
that
does it
suit.
It's a
mean?
Let's kick his
defense
ass.
mechanism.
'Cause
When
they
a
did
black
no.
man knows
That
he's in a
defense mechanism.
No, when you have
when
a
a
weak
black man
argument,
knows
you
he's
need people to
in
back you
a
up.
space
When you have a weak
with an
argument, you need people to back
intellectual
you up. So you keep
superior,
asking
he
for
starts
reassurance.
cracking. You
Right?
can
Is that
Right?
suit waterproof?
Dynast,
when
right?
a black man
Robert, right?
when a
That's what you
black
do.
man
Is that
knows
suit
Because
he's
your argument is
waterproof?
weak, so you
when a
need people
black
to back
man
you up.
knows that he's in a space with his intellectual
Are
superiors,
you
he
really
will often start cracking jokes.
Brandon,
He
Hey,
will
is that
often
suit
start
waterproof,
cracking
man?
jokes.
That's all I want to know.
African American? Because some
This
guys
is
Is
the
it
truth.
polyester mixed with rubber?
Listen,
Brian the
Is
Rooster,
that
listen.
do
why
you
you
like
mad
any
at
black people,
Africa?
bro?
When a
Because
black
Africa got all the
man
rubber
is feeling
and they sold you.
insecure,
You
he
feel
will
like they overcharged you
oftentimes
on the rubber
start to
portion of the
crack jokes.
polyester/rubber suit.
Listen, and
Where
he's
your people
proving my
from?
point. You're
Man,
proving my
y'all,
point,
can
Dave.
y'all please, can my African people
When
please
you have a
apologize
son,
for
you gonna say,
overcharging them on
son,
that
when you the
rubber for the
dumbest person in the
polyester
room, just
suit?
start cracking jokes.
This is
Be
what he
like
just
your
talked
daddy.
about. No, you
Be like
said
your
your
daddy.
daddy.
Just
Brandon,
start
the
cracking
only
jokes.
thing I'm saying is you're traumatized. You have
Yeah,
daddy issues, you have
you
auntie
got
issues, you have
everything, man.
family
You
I have
got
issues.
daddy
so many
issues.
red. You're a walking
Yeah,
red
you
flag,
do.
man.
Okay.
You do.
You honestly, man, you're a bandit.
You
Like
you
them
you
girls
you
be
Listen.
saying. It
fantasizing
sounds
about your
like you're a
daddy being in
bandit.
jail
Show me.
watching silk
Okay.
run down another man's ass crack. That's what you're fantasizing about. You think that's what your daddy
That's
see on a
stuck
daily
in
basis?
Elvis's mind.
You think that's what your
Elvis
daddy
had a
see
whole mental
on a
picture of
daily
that one.
basis? You just said it. You said that's what your daddy
Hey,
has
he's
accomplished
literally
because he's in jail watching stuff
Elvis
go
gonna
down
beat
another
his
man's
meat to
butt
Like
that
crack.
I don't
tonight.
even
That's what
know
you
if that's
said.
the street light
He
shining
gonna
or
beat
it's.
his
Right.
little
That's what
Liberian
you
meat to
said.
that
That's what you
tonight.
said, Brandon.
You
That's
love
what your
that when
daddy's
I
saying.
said that. You had a
And you
whole
imagine that.
fantasy.
Hey
You had a
man,
whole
the
fantasy
My
street
about
mind
it.
don't even go to it because none of my family members in jail.
energy,
None of my
man.
family members
And
on
we can
crack.
get off of
I haven't
oil
been
with that.
traumatized
What
by it.
material is that
So I
made
can
from? Because
laugh. I'm
we
in a
can put
place where I
real
can
oil.
laugh. I'm not a
Hey,
tough
you
guy. I can't
gotta
laugh. I'm always
Put in
listen.
funny.
suit.
They
because
were
your daddy,
defeated
If I can put that suit in
intellectually.
my gas tank
guys,
and Swear to God, I don't
Dinus,
need
all of
anything
us,
else.
man.
Dinus,
Brandon.
observe the Negro.
I
He
just
was
needed
defeated
food and a
intellectually,
map.
so he had to start cracking
And I
jokes.
swear that can make my car run. We
He
don't
was
need no more
defeated
oil.
intellectually, so he had to
Strap
start
out that
cracking jokes.
goddamn polyester
I'm gonna need
and
y'all to
this
pick a
butterfree,
struggle.
man. We could save
Pick a
trillions in
struggle.
America.
We apologize for your
And you
dad.
admitted that you
Listen,
live in a gay community,
Dinus,
Brandon. Why are you living in a gay community? You feel
Dinus,
do you feel
Dinus,
safer in a gay community?
Hell
Dinus.
yeah, with a suit like that on, he definitely
Dinus,
got to feel safe
if
there. They the only
if
ones that
hating
accept
me,
him.
if hate,
He got his fashion
Dinus, can
sense
I
from the
just say
gays. You
this?
can tell.
Can I say something, Dynasty?
Hold on, y'all. Let Brandon say what you got to say. Go ahead, Brandon. Let Brandon say what you got to say. Hold on. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
This is what you're not supposed to do.
Hey, I'm gonna need all the bad wenches to be silent for a second. Listen, these guys, if hating me can get you guys to stop blaming the white man for all your problems, I will be your sacrificial lamb, dude. Hate me. I can take it. I was built for it. You dudes are feminine. I was said to your face, and y'all would do nothing about it. That's what I know. You guys are feminine, female-minded, probably raised by degenerate mothers who didn't even care about you. The only word y'all remember from y'all child is "mommy be back" or something like that.
What was your daddy when you was growing up? Was he in jail? Was he in jail?
What it is.
Was your daddy in jail when you was growing up?
My dad went to jail when I was 11.
So who raised you?
Till I was 11, my mom and my dad.
No, who raised you after your daddy went to jail? Your grandma and your mom?
My mom for 3 years, then I moved in with my grandfather.
Because she was an alcoholic, right?
Right.
No, my mom was an alcoholic at that time. My mom was an alcoholic at that time.
Brandon be making shit up. He's making all
Yeah, Brandon, you need help, brother. Your childhood trauma.
No,
you need some help.
I moved with my grandfather because I decided it was time for me to leave my mom's house. You know what I'm saying? I was like, when I was like 13 or 14, like I wasn't about to be getting, whoopings and shit like that. Like I just was like, Mom, it's best for me to dip.
So your mom was trying to put some structure in your life, and you wanted to be structureless. So you went to your granddaddy's house, who probably was,
my mom, your mom, when you get a certain age, your mom be trying to like hit you and stuff because she knows she can't really hurt you. So she tries to get more aggressive. And me, nobody's going to just hit me and stuff, and I'm just going to accept that. I'm not a slave. So I just left. I went to my grandpa's house. What's wrong with that?
Is that when you started game banging?
No,
So you said yeah?
No, it's not.
When did you start game banging? When you saw like your homie get out of the car and then just kill somebody?
When your homie got extra bullets and he wanted to kill someone.
That happened when I was 18. That happened when I was 18.
So
stop blaming your mama for trying to stop you from wearing so much polyester. That's why
your mama wanted you to go the right way. You're probably going the wrong way. So
you refuse.
Nah,
they
my
were saying
mom was
it's not normal.
My mom was being a typical. Listen, my mom. Listen. My mom was being a typical single mother, but as a masculine. See, that's the problem. As a masculine man, I understood this is not the best place for me. My mom is highly emotional.
You got to do a solo zoom in.
My mom is. I'm just explaining it to you, bro. I'm putting it in words for you.
I just want to know: did your grandfather lead you into gangs, or did
Brandon,
you do that on
that's
your own?
cap. At 11 years old, you don't have the wherewithal to understand what's masculine energy and feminine energy.
I said I left my house when I was like 13, going on 14. So you need to listen better with those Liberian ears. Anyway,
I'm not the one that live in a gay community and got a polyester shimmy suit on.
That's okay.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with them to keep him around. Just as an example, what not to wear.
Listen, it's all good, man.
This guy, man, we got
it's all good
over here to keep everybody on code.
Here's the situation.
Suit wearing, nigga.
Even as
Sean John shimmy limited edition.
Diamond, they just don't understand. You guys just don't understand. You guys just don't understand,
man. You camped out for that. Take that suit. It was
you guys
like that.
They have to start cracking jokes because their minds can't comprehend a black man who really is intellectual and got some sense. So let's crack jokes. That's okay.
When white supremacists say we're monkeys, this is what they talk about. When white supremacists say we're monkeys, this is literally what they're talking about.
AFR, do you remember when I was
AFR full of self-hate when he
AFR, do you remember when I would listen? AFR, do you remember when I would read that quote from the Jungle Book, and I would say that quote when they were talking about the monkey people in the book, the Jungle Book. Remember when I used to read that quote?
Reading level
and that quote.
Hey, we can't use the N word on here.
I'm sorry.
Dynast. There is a quote in the book, The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling.
Thank you,
where
Risky
he,
Rob, for the super chat. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
listen,
Who's reading The Jungle Book at
there's a quote.
45?
Who's reading? See what I'm saying? These dudes are
No,
worse
you're
than slave masters,
47
dude.
years old and
He
you're
said,
reading
"Who's
The
reading the
Jungle Book.
He
Jungle Book?" He didn't
criticized
say
me
who's
And you
for
have
reading.
reading.
no kids.
What
What is
Dinus,
wrong, man? Something's wrong with this.
he said I don't have any
He's
kids.
got no kids and he's
No,
reading The
he had
Jungle
a
Book
daughter.
at
He had a
50.
daughter. You don't.
Oh
He had
my
a daughter.
God, no way. Oh my God.
Dave, how long you been married, Dave?
Them Liberian
Oh my
ears.
How
God.
long you been married, Dave?
That wasn't even me. So
I
you
was
see,
married
there you
Dave,
wrong
how
again.
long have you been married?
I was married for 8.
Oh, so you're a degenerate who can't keep a wife. Now I understand everything.
I'm divorced
Yeah, that means you're a degenerate.
because I'm
Was your
divorced.
parents
Yeah,
married?
what the, this dude's gonna
Brandon,
shut
were
down. Wait a
were your
minute. Wait
parents
a minute.
married? Were
Dinus,
your
I
parents
need the
married, or
floor.
were you born a
Dinus, can I
bastard?
get the floor for 30 seconds?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
I'm more
Dinus,
interested, Brandon.
you telling me
you quote from the Jungle Book, man. Come on,
hey,
man.
hey, BBC, dude. BBC,
So
give me
you reading The Jungle Book,
BBC, man.
saying
Let
this
me.
to your
There
kids?
you go again, Brandon.
Pause,
Projecting.
Hey, listen,
See,
man.
the sure fact that you guys are jonesing on reading a very, very actually good author, Rudyard Kipling. He has some of the
I didn't know
best
you had
works
kids.
This
in
white shiny,
Can I get the
this
floor for
white
30
shiny guy on the
seconds?
platform.
Dinus, can I get the floor for 30 seconds?
A white shiny Arthur.
Dinus, let me get the floor for 30 seconds.
All right, Brad, you got 30
I mean,
seconds.
how many
Brad. Go
times
ahead.
you gonna
Dinus,
ask for the floor, man?
Dinus,
You've been asking since we
Hold
started.
on,
Hey,
Dinus,
man,
this wasn't
they
Dinus,
keep talking over me, man. Can I get the floor again?
listen.
Go ahead.
We're listening. Damn, how many
There's a
times?
reason this country, this great country called America that we live in, has never had a president that wasn't married. Because everybody who got sense know that a man who cannot manage and maintain a household is not a man who's equipped to lead anybody anywhere but into hell. This guy is divorced. He can't
Come
say
on now with
anything
that
to
marriage
me.
SBE,
You
bro.
can't
Don't.
tell me nothing ever. Ever, because you couldn't even convince your wife, somebody who you was laid up with every night, to stay married to your dog ass.
She leave me. I left.
Even more feminine. What type of man walk out on his family?
Your daddy did. I went to
No, he
jail.
didn't. He went to jail.
God damn.
He went to jail. Bruh,
You know,
yeah,
I'm
if
just
you
letting them
get-
do that, and I'm leaving
Listen,
them alone.
if you
I
go
really
to
talk
jail,
about him. He
that's
ain't gonna do
fine, bruh. But to physically
Oh,
walk
it's fine
out
to
on
go
the,
to jail.
bruh,
It's fine to go to jail. That's
what is
neglecting
the
your family
thought
as well
process?
by your own act,
So you
by your own
never
Dinus,
actions.
talked to a
Dinus,
divorced man
let's
before?
consider. Dinus, let's consider.
So you've
Dinus,
never had. So you don't know about divorce. No,
Dinus, let's
this is new to
consider
you.
the thought. Listen, Dinus, you live in your damn house. A man's house is his castle. What on earth can make a man get to the point where he's like, I'm gonna walk out of my house, out on my family, and out on my
I didn't
wife?
walk
This is all
on
my
Bro,
shit.
I walked out on
Brandon,
some.
this is something that I toss in my head all the time because I just recently got married, and sometimes when I'm alone, I think what would actually make me divorce my wife. But if I walk in the room and I see her getting back shots
Nah, it
from a
wasn't
dude,
nothing like
like
that, man. It wasn't nothing like that. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
walking out, bro. Like,
Get back shots from Big Black. Pause.
you know.
Nah, it wasn't nothing like that, man. So wait a minute. So explain this. So you don't know anybody that's divorced or nothing like that. You ain't never heard of no man getting married and divorced.
Yeah, I heard of that, but I don't respect him.
You
Was
don't
your daddy
respect
married to your
anybody.
mom when they had you?
No.
So your dad is a degenerate, right?
Yes.
So you have more respect
So you're
for that
traumatized by your
than
degenerate
a
father.
dude who
That's why you're
has
I
kids in
projecting.
acknowledge he's a
wedlock.
degenerate. You was over here applauding my dad, talking about at least your dad. You was the one praising this dude.
No, I
Yeah,
wasn't
he had a
applauding
male
your
bunk.
dad.
Yeah,
I ain't applauding nothing. I
his
tried
dad
to
had
stay
a
Talking to
away
my
bunk,
from
but
dad
he's a
like
real
a
man.
grown ass
I
man.
was saying you need therapy, bro, because you was telling your whole story and dogging out your
What's that?
dad and your
I used
family and
listen,
everything like that. You need
Dinus,
therapy for that. This ain't the
do
place for
I
that.
seem like the type of person who is
Why you
traumatized by my
keep
upbringing?
asking Dinus?
Yes, because
No,
Yes, you are.
your perception
You
of
are.
black people is really in the gutters. You say all black people are
y'all, the stuff y'all do every day on this
Who is
stream
y'all?
proves everything I say.
You just lost the debate right then and there about.
You got a divorced dude talking about the black community, bro. You can't
Bro,
even manage
what?
a household.
About the black community, bro.
Listen, bro, I've been married for a while
Black community
now.
been dead. Just like how you say. That's the
Oh,
one
see,
thing
there
I
you
agree
go.
with you on.
And,
That's one thing I kind of agree with you on.
comes out. Dennis, wasn't he just defending the black community?
So
Brandon, you
now
are a
he's
real
saying the
spread truth,
community
bro.
been dead.
I've been
Dave,
saying this.
pick
Like y'all
a
ain't ask. You
struggle.
gotta ask me that.
Dave,
He's still
pick a
asking Diners
struggle.
for affirmation.
Hey,
Stop doing that, Brandon. It's
gentlemen,
weak.
one mic. Hey, can I get 10
Yeah,
seconds?
hold on. Let go, AFR go ahead, and I gotta bring.
One of the more disturbing things about all of this, because obviously, y'all, AFR defends the white man or whatever. I just am an honest person, and I take my race outside of myself and I look at something for what it is instead of what I want it to be because of what my race is. See, y'all can't do that. But anyway, the thing that disturbs me the most is Rudyard Kipling made some of the most pivotal works when it comes to Africa. When I say works, talking about white man's perception of Africa, the fact that you guys haven't even read several of his books, let me knows the level of intelligence and the willingness to even learn to try to even compete with the white man, and you understand what reality is. So, like I said, you guys can't even take lessons. Last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna get off.
Wait,
I'm gonna land the
is this
plane.
in relation
The last
to
thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to land the plane. The last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to land the plane. Stop talking over me. Stop talking over me. Stop talking over me. Stop talking over me. The last thing I'm going to say, is that you can't even take a lesson from a great work called The Man Who Would Be King. Everybody look that up, watch the movie, read the book. It's something worth reading. You can take lessons from it. But the fact that you ignorant black
He
men
didn't say
like
that,
joke,
bro. He was talking about the Jungle Book.
Yeah, you made
and that's
and now you're
that's
telling me I'm
something worth
ignorant
reading.
because I didn't read a
That's
book.
something
You
worth
just told me
reading.
I didn't
You
read.
mad about the Jungle Book, bro?
Right.
Y'all low IQ is gonna kill
about,
us.
man?
Low
I'll
IQ
read
is
the
gonna
book
kill
now
us.
if it's that deep. Let me see what that shit's about. It must be something crazy.
This is
in there,
crazy.
bro.
You're
That
gaslighting me because I didn't read a book you just told me about. And dude was talking about the Jungle Book, and I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell is going on, man.
American's first rifleman's #1 step to success is read the Jungle Book, y'all. Cop that book.
Oh,
Too.
I guess that's what it is,
Actually
man.
learn who
Dinah's got that book for
Rudyard
sale.
Kipling is.
Okay,
Actually
so
learn who
Rifleman,
Rudyard
what's the name of
Kipling
that book that you like again? What's the name of that book?
Okay, first thing I want you to do is look up Rudyard Kipling. That would be very important. As a black person, if you want to understand something, look him up and then go from there. And this is not me trying to like talk down.
I know.
Knowledge a black person should have.
Kipling, I got it. Whew.
Yeah, read White Man's Burden.
Oh,
I
God.
read
The
that.
fact
I already
that
know
they
about
don't know,
that.
the fact that these dudes don't know who
I already heard
Rudyard
of White
Kipling
Man's
is
Burden, that book
shows
right
their
there.
low intelligence.
I'm sorry,
mean,
I couldn't figure out how to mix
they made a
polyester with rubber
Disney
like you
movie
to be a
off of his book.
Superman.
That was
I'm sorry, okay?
that was a
You're a
nice
great
book, man.
chemist.
Mister, you gotta
I
go
can't
read
mix
the Jungle Book.
polyester and rubber like you can and come out with a suit that's
Keep
waterproof.
cracking jokes
My
why
bad.
black people are dying globally
Oh, you
due
brought
to
up the
ignorance.
Jungle Book. How can you
Oh,
not
so
Keep
when
cracking
black people
jokes.
die, it takes away
sorry, I can't
comedy,
say
huh?
really?
When they die, comedy's dead too.
This guy's talking about all of this down around the world. He's getting so much radiation from that damn polyester, refraction from the sun.
This is why
Man, you absorbing all of
this is
UV.
why when black people get money, they don't live in the black community.
Suit. It's
Negroes is cracking jokes about
his
people in
brain.
suits while people are throwing trash on the ground.
Science, man. Let him talk about the science in that suit. Come on.
No, it just shows how unserious we are as a collective.
No, man.
This is
That
all. This is what it
polymer, I
shows.
guarantee you, the U.S. military, if we had that polymer that suit is, trust me, Kevlar.
Big Black, you got literally Big Black, you got set on fire on screen, and you still want to show out.
Hey, AFR,
in the magnetic energy of that suit. Excuse me.
AFR.
Yeah.
I just read a summary. I just read a summary on White Man's Burden, and it basically explained how white colonialists feel like it's the white man's burden to help all the non-civilized people like develop civilization. So do you agree with that notion, or what is your take on that notion?
God.
No, I'm just asking, bro. I promise I'm not being.
Why would you even ask me that?
Because I'm curious,
He wants
brother.
to know your perspective. It's simple.
I'm not even gonna actually. I'm not gonna answer it.
No, it's not rhetorical.
Read a book, you know?
No, you said
And I can even have a conversation.
AFR. I actually like you, brother. Like we
I know,
be on
but
the
it's
other channel.
ridiculous. Why would you even think I would actually agree with something like that as a black man in America that's a descendant of slaves? You really think I would?
The way that you explained the author was like you said if we want
Because
like
he was a good writer.
Bro, you FBA?
You don't have to like what he said, but he was a good writer. Is that bad
brother.
to say?
No. Look, it's cool. I'm not mad at you, gang. I'm just asking you a question. Like,
nah, I'm actually really offended you would even ask that. That's like really
I
offensive.
apologize. No, I
Why are you
apologize.
being so emotional, bro? Listen to Brandon. Don't be emotional.
Apology, man. He said he apologized, man. Come on.
Nah, I get
he's
it.
sorry for
I
offending
get
you.
okay, cool. I accepted his apology. Now will y'all shut up? Or y'all gonna keep jonesing and talking and acting like 10-year-olds?
10-year-olds. No, we're not gonna act like 10-year-olds.
This is the modern black man. This is the modern black man.
Finna heat up on YouTube.
Yeah, I bet AFI don't got a degree though.
No, I don't have a degree, but I can open up a book.
Good for you, bro. You learn how to read in 6th grade.
And I can do more than just Wikipedia. I can do more than the clip notes. Unlike some of you educated Negroes. I can do more than the clip notes. I can actually sit down and read and write. And form an opinion.
We're proud of you, man. We're proud of you. We're proud of you, bro. Kudos.
That's good.
What if I watched the movie Jungle Book? Does that count?
I watched that movie too. That counts, bro. That counts.
More jokes.
More jokes. Let me guys, one mind. Let me pass it to Chill Will. Go ahead, Chill Will. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Chill Will.
Hey, what's up, Dinah?
What's going on? Go ahead.
Can you hear me? I just got a question.
Go ahead.
I just got a question for Brandon. Bro, you did a show yesterday about how they grease up a man's butt in jail. You broke it down to the detail. I'm trying to find out how you do all of I just want to know how you do all
What the hell? That came out of left field.
Hold on, man. Nah, not over here.
I'm just asking how you do all of it. He broke it down to the detail, how they was going to do it, what they was going to use. I'm just trying to find out how you do it.
Hey, bro. Chill, Will. Hold on, bro. Not here.
Chill, Will. And then they bring up gay shit. And then they bring up gay shit. See, this is black people. This is black men.
Hey,
this is black men.
Hold on. He did a show yesterday talking about that. Go look at the show about Tahorka Bay.
Why did you bring it up? Why did you bring it up? Why did you bring it up? Because it's on your mind, homo.
Once again,
it's on your mind, homo.
To know that. If I would have known that, I wouldn't even talk to
I told him yesterday. I said, bro, that sounds really gay. I'm just trying to say, how do you know what they're going to use, what they're going to do, and how they're going to penetrate this man? That's all that I'm asking. It kind of coincides with it.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen, wrong channel. This ain't.
But Brandon's really quiet though. He's very solid. You gotta respond to him.
Nah, Chill Will. You're projecting, Chill Will. Chill Will, you projecting. You want some homo stuff right now.
Just go look at the stream yesterday. And I'm just trying to find out how do you know all this
you're
stuff?
bringing it up. Nobody was even talking about it, and you brought it up.
Once again,
rightful man, you might be projecting, bro. You're getting too sensitive on this issue. If you're part of the community, we accept you, bro. It's cool.
Man, I ain't a part of no fucking community. I'm a happily married man. I'm just trying to find out how the hell does another man know what they're going to do?
Because he watched the stream. He probably watched the live, and that's what Brandon was talking about. And he's saying it. Brandon is not refuting it. Why are you mad? Let Brandon defend himself. He's right here.
I'm just asking what man goes around and talks about how they're going to do that to another man.
I'm with you, Chill Will. I'm saying you mentioned it, and Brandon is not refuting it.
Dinah,
we gotta change the subject.
Dinah, can I please read something real quick?
No, we don't trust
Dinah.
Brandon, if it has anything to do with prison activity.
No, this is deep.
Prison activity, no.
Dinah, this is deep. This is for real. Dinah, this is for real.
We believe you. You can read.
Dinah,
we take it back.
This is an excerpt. Dinah, this is an excerpt. And this is why I would tell you, encourage everybody to read, because there's a lot of people who understand. I truly believe, Dinah, when this white man wrote this in this book,
I truly believe he was talking about black people because the way it just describes us so perfectly. Can I please
Stop
just get?
including me
Can
into
I please get?
your crazy
Can I
scenarios,
please
man.
get
Stop
45
saying we.
seconds to read this?
No, because it's going to
No,
discourage black
no.
people. It's
Dinus,
going to
please let
discourage
me
black
read this.
people. And
Read
that's
on
what you
your
do
own
best.
time, man. Read
You're
on
going to
your
Dinus,
own
discourage
time,
black
man.
people,
Dinus, just
Brandon,
We
and
let
we
me
don't
read
want
happy to
this.
that.
read, but
It's not offensive at
YouTube.
all. It's not
This is
offensive.
YouTube, man. Your suit is offensive. You
Dinus, can I read this, please?
Hey, let Brandon, go ahead and read it, Brandon. Go ahead,
Guys,
guys.
please.
No energy. Let Brandon go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
Okay, listen to this. It says, listen. Come on, bro. For
This
real.
is why I didn't want him to
That
read
Brandon
they
it,
can't
man. We
read.
didn't want.
Brandon
mute
can't
your
read.
mic, man.
We didn't know
It
he was
said,
gonna read
it
it.
said,
I gotta mute some of y'all. Let him read. Go ahead and read it, Brandon. Go ahead.
Listen. Listen. It says, listen, man cub, said the bear, and his voice rumbled like thunder on a hot night. I have taught thee all the law of the jungle for all the peoples of the jungle, except the monkey folk who live in the trees. They have no law. They are outcast. They have no speech of their own, but use the stolen words which they overhear when they listen and peep and wait above in the branches.
You
Their
have to
way,
stop this.
their,
You're
their,
likening black people to monkeys.
can
That's what it
see,
is. And
see,
it's
this is why
disparaging.
we
Just
can't
like I
get
said, it was going to
nowhere,
be
man.
disparaging. It's
Can you take
disparaging.
Elvis out, Dinus?
Monkey person.
Let the man finish. Let him finish. Go ahead, Brandon.
Dude, they have no speech of their own, but use the stolen words which they overhear when they listen and peep and wait above in the branches. Their way is not our way. They are without leaders. They have no remembrance. They boast and chatter and pretend that they are a great people about to do great affairs in the jungle. But the falling of a nut turns their minds to laughter and all is forgotten. We of the jungle have no dealings with them. We do not drink where the monkeys drink. We do not go where the monkeys go. We do not hunt where they hunt. We do not die where they die. Hast thou ever heard me speak of the Bandar log till today? No, said Mowgli in a whisper, for the forest was still now. Baloo had finished. Bro, if you truly read that, you will totally understand why other races do not involve themselves with black people. We don't even have our own language.
So black people are
We
the
take
monkeys.
buzzwords.
Black people are the monkeys in the stories, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's
how
why
we
I knew it was
act.
going to be disparaging
That's
because they
how
liken black people to
we
monkeys,
act.
and you agree with
Dinus,
it, Brandon.
Dinus,
You're
can
traumatized,
you
bro. You
stand
have
here?
self-hate.
Dinus, can
Yeah,
you
man,
stand
you
here?
got a lot of
Brandon,
self
what's the
hate,
Hey,
man.
difference from what
Dinus,
you did?
can you see the correlation that is made by
We
me?
can't,
What's the difference from what you did from a pastor reading a passage out of the Bible and using it as a metaphor?
There's no difference. So why are you so hurt?
Right, but that's
there
what I'm
is a
saying.
difference. Normal pastors don't have
Bruh,
rubber mixed in their
any
sleep,
man
and they're
who's
not
being
waterproof,
any man who's
so he
being
can
honest
pass
with
out in the
himself,
rain. He's a
any man,
universal pastor.
listen, if anything, what I would see it as is our condition is not unique. If a white person can write a book and make up a fictitious group and make them have our
Who
same
is our?
characteristics.
You keep lumping. You be specific. Talk about you.
Anyway, any
So when
man
you
who,
when you
any
read
man,
that book, you already taught about the monkeys to be
bruh,
black people,
all
right?
I'm
You already
saying,
liken it to black folks when you
Dinus,
read it.
all I'm saying is,
A white
why does
racist
that
man writes a book.
passage
Hold on, Brandon.
fit
A
us
white
so
racist man,
well?
Brandon. A white racist
It
man
fits
writes a
you.
He
book,
was racist,
writes a
so now
metaphor,
he
It
was a
fits you,
racist.
about his
bruh.
own racist ideas, and we're
Now,
supposed to use that as law.
Dinus,
Are you that?
now he
Are you
was a
that dumb?
racist.
Are you
Now
that?
the man was a racist.
I don't
Are
even know
you
who
that
this
dumb?
is.
The way you
It's
I'm
a
just
it's
happy
a
that he was
racial
able to
trope.
read.
It's a
I'm just
No,
stereotypical
happy D
trope
was
of black
able to
people being
read, man.
monkeys, and you put
He
it in
did
the
a good
book
job of
to
reading.
perpetuate that
I'm just happy
stereotypical
at that,
trope.
man. At
Dinus,
least
Come
can
on,
I
I'm
man.
tell you
happy
why
he
they
can
mad?
read.
Can I tell you why they mad,
I'm
Dinus?
not mad. I'm happy you
They're
can read,
angry
man. I
because
was
it
just
fits
hoping
us
that.
so accurately. Black people, Dinus,
No,
Okay,
black
Dinus,
stop
people,
lumping
he's
me
looking
into
for your
what you're
black
saying,
affirmation.
bro.
people,
Affirm that
That's
you think
you.
black people are
That's you.
monkeys.
black
Say it,
I
Dinus.
people,
can't
Say that
change
black
his
people are
opinion.
monkeys
black
because that's
people,
what he wants you to
And I
listen,
agree
don't
with.
know whose
black
book this is,
people,
so I ain't finna
We don't
argue
have
about
listen,
no
any
book
empirical
that I
evidence,
haven't
black
read.
people
so I
are
mean, you can't
totally
be that slow,
convinced
man.
that black people are totally convinced that they are some type of unique, never before encountered group of people. You are angry because you know that
Why does
that
your
sounds
voice sound
like
like
us.
it's like you're always getting like a diabetes shot?
Rob,
It sound like
Rob,
being sodomized.
Rob,
To be real.
does that not
Yeah,
sound like black
diabetes
people
shot.
to you? Rob, straight man to man, Rob. Does that not sound like the
Diabetes
way
shot.
black people act?
I haven't seen or read the Jungle Book, brother.
I haven't read
I
it.
can't
Glad
help
that
you.
you can read.
Well, if you
Brandon,
guys,
you've been to
you
other
guys have
He's
countries.
looking
Have
for
you seen any other
affirmation.
people
Donnie
that's
don't
better
answer.
than
He goes
black
to
people?
Robert.
listen.
You've been
I
to
don't
other
care.
countries. Have you seen people that are better than black people?
Why
And if
is
so,
it
why?
that somebody can write a passage that describes your group accurately?
But
Well, why do you think the monkeys are black people? Why do you think he's referring to
Because
black
we
people?
act the same way those monkeys act in
There
that
you
book.
go, Brandon. There you go.
I'm not
But
wearing no shiny
you
polyester
interpret it
suit.
like that. You
You
interpret
are.
it like that.
Wait, why is it that everybody that hate themselves want everybody else to hate themselves too?
Right, like
Hey, Dinus, Dinus,
you're the monkey. You're a monkey.
Dinus, do you truly believe, Dinus, do you truly
Leave
believe that
Dinus
I hate
alone,
you?
bro. Damn.
Do you truly believe that I hate you, Dinus?
We saying you hate
Of
yourself.
course not.
Why? So why are there black people who sit up and excuse degenerate activity and then try to make a joke about it when somebody calls it out?
Degenerate activity.
You said black people are monkeys and act like monkeys, and the monkeys are a reflection of black people in that Jungle Book. That's what you're saying, and we disagree with you.
Right, we disagree, and don't lump us
Tell
into
me
your
why.
thoughts.
Tell me.
No, we won't tell you. You
Tell
figure out
me.
where you have a problem at. We've
No,
been
you
saying
guys
it.
are like females. You try to shut down the
Asking us to be the
conversation when you
therapist,
can't
and we keep
disprove
telling you,
me.
no, we're not your therapist, bro. You need to go hire one, man.
Listen, man. All I know,
You love to disparage black people, Brandon, and that's a sad thing, brother.
Elvis.
All jokes aside,
It's
bro. For
Elvis
real, all jokes
disparages
aside.
his own country, but want to talk about me.
No, you love to because my country is in a bad condition right now. You know,
You are in
but
bad condition right now.
Oh, you see, there you go. You said people making jokes and all of this. When we're trying to be serious, then you try to crack jokes. Look, bro, everything you say on your platform or on this platform is always against black people. You attack black women, you attack black men, you call them effeminate, you try to
Correction,
emasculate
you're not a
them.
man.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You've just proven my point. So this is who you are,
You don't
Brandon,
act
and
like
I
a man.
think
You
this
act like a woman.
I think this behavior comes from a point of trauma. And
I
we've been
think
saying
you're
it on the show, even
transgender.
though we've been joking about it, but we're serious
I
about
agree.
it. Seek help. Seek help soon. Very, very fast. Seek it. That's all I gotta say to you. I'm not even gonna argue or get mad at you.
It's somebody who care, man.
Yeah, we care about you, Brandon.
And you got health care, dog. It's all you
You
got
don't even care about your own damn kids living in a safe community. Y'all want me to think y'all care about me. Shut
We
up.
do. We do.
Shut up.
We do, Brandon.
Dinus.
For real.
Wait, let me
All
ask
jokes aside,
Rob.
we do.
Rob, can you believe that someone who don't even care about their own damn community could care about somebody that they don't even know?
Why is he always saying?
You don't. Yeah,
What?
you don't
You
care
can't
about.
fathom
Well,
the fact that we care about you as a
no.
black man? You think
You
it's
don't
fathom?
care about me. You're just
We
lying.
do.
This is
That's
a
what
defense
black people
mechanism, man.
say to get
It's
you
a
off their
defense
ass.
mechanism. He's been hurt.
That's
Right.
what black.
No,
That's what
nobody
black
cares
people
about that. You
say.
can make fun of me from now till the
That's
end of
what
time.
black
I want you
people
to get the
say when
help.
you hurting their feelings. We
I
care
want you
about
to get the help
They
that you
try to play
need.
the sympathy card.
Do you think calling my country a shithole country is going to hurt my feelings?
No, I
way.
don't.
I've been here. No. So how do you think you're hurting my feelings? I'm being sympathetic with you and
You
trying
don't
to get
care
you
about
to
your
get some
country,
help.
Elvis. That's why you live here.
Brandon,
Hey, whatever you say, Brandon, I agree with you. But the point is, get some help.
Brandon,
Get some
you're a
help.
waste of time as a black man.
Delroy,
help, bro.
good thing you don't set the
Now you're going to
criteria for
attack the
being a
whole
black
people.
man.
Now you're going to attack the older
You're a
black
waste
folks.
of time of a
You
black
attack
man, bro.
You better be
You're a
glad
waste
you
of
stay.
time.
Demographic.
Hey, Delroy,
No,
you better
poor
be glad
excuse.
that you better be glad that you stay in the
It's
safety
almost
of
like
Dinah's channel. Because if you
it's
came in my
almost like
channel, I'll tear
Denzel
your
in
ass
Training
up.
Day at the end.
Oh
when
man,
he
all
was
right, y'all.
talking bad
Hey
about
y'all,
everybody.
we gonna end it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
I live in Atlanta, Brandon.
Well,
We'll talk to
we're
your
not
ass.
doing that. We're
Get
not
some
doing
help,
that.
bro.
We're not
My
doing that.
AR-15 will talk to your ass.
All right. Oh, come on, y'all. Come on,
He talking
Come
about
on,
you
y'all.
brought
Oh
me
man,
siding with the
nah. We ain't. Nah, come on. We ain't doing
Nah, straight female.
No, we ain't doing
Great
that.
female.
Hey, y'all, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that, y'all. We ain't threatening.
Not because Brandon's right. Brandon's right. Brandon's right.
I mean, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. That is Search for Huru. Peace.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, everybody.